me.
Wait, why? You killed a villager? Wait, that matters?
Yes, if you kill a villager, it pisses off the Iron Golem.
Since when?
That's been in
forever.
vanilla since like.
Wait,
we died. It's over. Oh my God, we're here. All right.
Alright.
Keep everything on the hot bar.
We don't need to go in. We just need to break the crystals and shoot the dragon. That's literally it. Let's do it. Let's go.
bro.
Let's
go.
fucking
Let's
do
go.
this.
Let's finally end this fucking series.
Let's just start destroying the shit.
I'm destroying.
Yo,
I'm already going. I'm already going, bro.
Oh, y'all are in there.
I'm already destroying all the crystals.
Wait,
Alright, we
you
can just
kill
kill it.
all of them?
Yeah, we just kill it.
Yeah, you cannot shoot it while it's perching.
So
It's
far
going
up
to
to
fly
not
at
look at-
someone the moment it's
Yes, it
done.
is.
Well, I don't think you got. I don't think you understand. I got a
Careful,
plan
man.
here, bro. This is a full
I just look
plan.
at-
Shoot
I
it.
got like a.
Take it. Shoot it while it's low. Shoot it while low.
Just keep
Just shoot
shooting.
it. Yeah, keep shooting now. Hold your
I will not be
shit.
up on-
Spread out. Keep running. Keep running. We kill it. We kill it here. We kill it here.
Shoot
my God.
it! Throw your shit at it, Grizzly!
Yeah! Oh my God! Get me off this game!
Get in the portal!
Oh my God.
Oh my God!
Wow, bro.
Finally,
It's done. It's done.
it's over.
We can stop.
We actually
We can
did it.
stop
We
playing.
can stop playing.
We are unshackled. We're no longer prisoned.
We can go back to other uploads on the channel.
I'm disabled, bro. I now have the power to bypass every line, park closest, get special treatment. Grown ass man being pushed around, die from embarrassment. I'm like, you know, let me stand up. Let me just start walking.
And then you fall.
So the night's amazing. We're drinking, right? We're at the bars. The vibes are up. Let's go to the Boston Park. Oh, we go there drunk.
God.
First, we do the slides, and I'm going down the slide. I'm like, yeah, it's just fun and all, but it's not that fun. The famous Boston Park, where the police officer went down and ate. We go there, I see a bunch of people on this like, it's like a rotating monkey bar, and people are hanging on to it, and they're being pushed around, and it looks like a lot of fun. I'm like, bro, I got that. I'm like, that's me. I'm like, I've been working out. I'm gonna put my strength to use. I'm like, if I fall, I'll be okay. So I climb it, right? I grab onto it. And I'm like, all right, guys, push me. I am going fast. It felt like I was about to get launched to the moon. I'm like, holy sh! I let go, and I'm like, should I just let my body fall, or should I try landing it like a superhero? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna land this shit. Oh my God. He was the first person to approach me. He was in like full father mode, bro.
All right, it's gonna be a short stream today. I just got to finish inking part 4, and then I'll probably end it there because I gotta leave around 3 today, so in about 4-ish hours. So try and finish this up as quickly as we can. And so yeah, let's just get ahead into it. Not gonna take too long.
Which was turned into a novel known as Stolen Tongues. So I don't know, which one do you
There we
like,
go.
Stolen Tongues or My Romantic Cabin Getaway with My Fiancé? Exactly.
I've said it before on the podcast. I'll continue to say I like Stolen Tongues better. I'll continue to say it. All
Yeah.
these titles that are like, my son keeps looking at me, you know, with his third eye. I don't know what to do. Stuff
Kick
like that. It's never good. I can't remember what we had. I'm sure we've had a good one that's had a title like that.
My wife is peeking at me from her corners. That's a good one.
It was, but the ending was kind of killed the vibe.
I'm just saying the title. The title.
Oh,
Oh, you're saying the story.
I'm saying the stories. Oh, okay. To not do
I
that.
don't know. I mean, this one getting turned into a novel has. I mean, I don't know. It feels like that maybe has some merit to it. That maybe
It does.
good. Because all the stuff that's been published has been really fun to look at. I mean, so this story is written by a guy named The Cold People, but his name is Felix Blackwell. And like I said, this got turned into a novel, so you can pick it up. I picked up a hardcover of the story, so I hope it's good. But it's on Amazon. We'll put a little link in the description as well.
I also saw some comments for it. Some people, or I think actually the author himself,
Yeah,
saying that they have edited and like changed the version for the novel, that it's
yeah.
superior.
Yeah.
So if this sounds interesting to you and like you hear the whole story, it's probably still worth checking out the book to see what's
Yeah,
different.
I think the book is more extensive. He probably cleans up some stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see. I mean, I still think that this is probably gonna be a fun read here.
I'm excited. I'm 100% excited.
I'm really curious to read the hardback version of it and just see what is different about it, and just see kind of, does it seem seamless? Does it feel like there's more added into it? I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see, but
Kick him, cripple. Kick him.
We're going to take a quick break from the episode to thank today's sponsor, Rocket Money. The truth is, everyone needs help with their money. I've paid at least a dozen assassins to finally give me a hunter at this point, and as you can tell from the episode, none of them followed through. Or perhaps for a less illuminating example, sometimes I'll sign up for a free trial and forget to cancel. cancel it and end up paying a year's worth of a service I don't even use. Well, today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is here to help. Rocket Money is the personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and overall manage your money better. I'm using Rocket Money to cancel all of my unwanted subscriptions. That's because Rocket Money safely and securely identifies recurring charges and with the press of a button, unsubscribes for me. I mean, you can make cancellations from the app, one simple button press, and then stop worrying about all those charges you didn't even know you were getting. I'm also using Rocket Money to lower my bills. Rocket Money can negotiate your own bills. From internet service to phone bills, all you have to do is upload a photo of the bill, and Rocket Money gets to work. And after you've used Rocket Money for some time, we can put together some kind of LLC or collective to hire someone to take care of Hunter. Kick him! Rocket Money has helped customers save up to $720 a year, with over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. To save more and spend less, join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money today. Head to rocketmoney.com/creepcast or click the link in the description to get started for free. That is right, for free. From there, you can unlock more features with premium, but for now, just try it out for free and see if it's right for you. Again, that's rocketmoney.com/creepcast to get started today for free. Thank you all so much for watching the ad. Thank you so much to Rocket Money for sponsoring the show. It really does mean the most. Hope you all check them out. Link is in the description. And now, we're back to the episode. Let's jump on into
This
it.
is a 10-part series in the original run, and then there's a thing that just says the Mystery Unravels, which is 11 through 16. I'm guessing that after the fact, he probably updated it for the Mystery Unravels, and that's maybe what's in the hardback as well. So I say let's probably just focus on the first 10 and just see how we feel.
See where we're going, see how we're feeling, see what the vibe
Yeah.
is. Again, I want to emphasize, I wasn't saying that before about the titles meaning the story's bad, to say that I think this one's bad. I hope this one's great. I'm saying that so that I sound smart if I'm right.
There you go. Historically, to be fair, you're right though. Historically, so far, you're right that the stories have been kind of eh.
My dead girlfriend keeps messaging me on Facebook,
That one's fine.
and we can't forget the thing in the basement's getting better at mimicking people.
Dare I say, one of the toughest and corniest reads, but albeit one of the fan favorite episodes.
There you go, one of the favorite episodes.
So I feel like
EJ Yaps. What software do you use? I use Clip Studio, Paint, the EX version, which is more expensive, and I use DaVinci Resolve for motion graphics, color corrections, and video editing, and compositing, motion graphics, and color corrections.
I will also say, thank you all so much for 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah, for real, what the hell?
It is wild. I know, right? Like some stupid little podcast of ours getting 500,000. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also, as always, if you enjoy the show, check out Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all those places where you can watch and listen. It means the world to us, and it just helps us, keep this thing running. So be sure to check it out if you're on a long drive. Isaiah,
Kick him, cripple. Kick him.
Hopefully there's either something in here to scare me or make Hunter cry.
Actually, hang on.
My fiance
16.
lives in California, but her family lives in Colorado, and they own a cabin
No.
at Pikes Peak, way up in the mountains. After visiting them, they recommended we go stay at the cabin for 2 days. We're avid hikers and jumped at the opportunity. Colorado is a very rich and Native American folk legend.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. I didn't know we were getting into this. Okay. Immediately, I'm like, all right, here it is. We're definitely getting into some weird, gonna be some weird, folk, monster stuff.
Yeah, well, I think I know what stolen tongues means now.
Okay.
Before, but I think I do now. Virtually every place you go used to belong to an indigenous community, and a few of them who remain keep the traditions and stories alive. Pikes Peak is no different. There are enough stories and gift shops to give anybody a sense that the land itself is alive. I don't know if it's anything to do with what is happening, but maybe someone here is from Colorado and could help us connect the dots. Faye and I are currently at the cabin. Did he say her name's Faye before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I believe so.
All right.
Or he said my fiance. I guess
My fiance,
Faye,
yeah.
but
Yeah, Faye, that's a...
I'm guessing
how
Faye
do
is
you
his fiance.
How do you feel about that name choice?
You don't like Faye?
Faye feels like... It's like naming your character Christian Grey, it's like a... It's a bit too much.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm just being a hater, but...
Yeah, that's it.
It's day 4, and we are planning on leaving today. But things have gotten very strange around here, and it looks like we're going to be here a while longer. We have enough food for a winter, and the heater is in stellar order. But the Wi-Fi is terrible at best, and there's virtually no cell reception. We feel isolated. I'll try to respond to comments, but the internet dips out for hours today.
So I'm almost picturing like a weird. So that's the end of the first entry to his journal. I'm almost feeling it's almost like one of those communities that's like a full Sasquatch town. Like their entire infrastructure is based on that.
It's
kind
about
of
Sasquatch, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like,
So
it's like Point Pleasant, West Virginia with the Mothman.
Yeah, exactly. Except now they're in Colorado and there's just no cell reception and stuff. And they did say that it is winter, correct?
I don't know if they
Or he
said
said
that.
we have enough food for winter. Oh, for winter. Okay, so
But even then, Colorado's super high elevation, so it's
just some snow. I'm just trying to get a sense of the environment. Like if I was in the cabin looking out the window, I was just picturing snow.
I'm imagining a Shining scenario being set up.
Oh shit. Okay, wait. So here's the next entry. Immediately the first thing that it said.
Yeah. The first weird thing that happened was the snow.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, good job, Hunter. Well, I mean, you were thinking the right way.
I tried.
You just got a little
excited.
You just got a little whimsical, got a little happy all of a sudden. That's what you get for being happy, though. There was no snow in the forecast, so we packed a light. But on first night here, just our luck, a blizzard pounded the whole area. My little Corolla is basically a brick of ice outside, and there's no way I'm going to try to make this. I don't know why that was funny. My little Corolla.
My little Corolla.
Yeah, I imagine like it's like a child-sized car, like a Fisher Price
time car.
outside. Yeah. There's no way I'm going to try to make a small drive to the town. I blame myself for trusting Colorado in spring. After a day, Thursday, of lovely hiking and sightseeing, some really unsettling stuff started happening. When we returned to the cabin just before dusk, we found an enormous dream catcher dangling from a tree about a dozen yards from the back door. Okay, did that get set up there while you were gone?
Yeah,
or was
we
that just
returned-
something you noticed?
We
that was already
found.
there?
Maybe they just found it, or it was the first time that they had been in that area. Because it reads a little different than Gregory 88, where it's like,
That's
oh,
what I
I
was
came back
thinking of.
and it was
Yeah,
just right there. So I'm picturing that they were walking because they've already kind of talked about hiking through the area. So I'm imagining that they're like, oh, I've never noticed this here before. But I don't think it's like directly attached to the house probably, or the tree outside the house.
It's like, it's kind of plausible deniability of if this
Yeah.
is malicious or not. Yeah, this wasn't the kind you're made. The kind you buy from a novelty shop. This thing was made from twigs and twine, and it's about 3 feet in diameter.
Damn.
Yeah, this is literally a Gregory 88 scenario. Absolutely humongous. Neither Faye nor I were stupid enough to touch it. We're veteran horror movie fans, and we know that's how you get cursed. If the snow melts a bit, I'll get back out there, snap a picture of it, and post it here. The night while we were eating dinner, we heard a bunch of noises in the woods outside. Twigs crunching, leaves rustling, etc. This is unusual because we saw some elk and deer on our hike, but the sounds were slow and purposeful. They stopped and started and were rhythmic, like someone was casing the area in a crescent shape around the cabin. I used my really bright tactical flashlight to look outside from the porch, but there was nothing. Okay, do you know that guy who's just so eager to use his flashlight?
Yeah, like the almost like borderline survivalist dude.
Yeah. That guy was like,
Look at that industrial grade flashlight.
I would say the power went out. Let me get my tactical flashlight out of my pocket. You know, it's actually 800 lumens, but it looks brighter because the way the candela is, it actually like puts a bigger beam onto the.
That was the end of that post, and I will say just from first. Not to derail the story too much, but already I like these people more than the Gregory 88 people because at least you have common sense enough to be like, I'm not fucking touching that.
Well, the Gregory 88 person was like trying to get killed because he's like, there's people touching stuff in the house. I guess I'll sleep alone here forever. You know, like he just was trying to die.
Just like no survival instincts at all. At least these people are. They seem capable. They seem like they're wanting to actually live a normal life. Is what it seems like.
And everything so far is totally plausible. You know, you're on a trip with your wife, and then like, that's kind of weird. I heard something outside. Like, it's not reason to run. It's just like
no. I mean, dude, the amount of times you've been like, I'm sure you've been camping or something, and it does feel like something is lurking around, maybe watching your tent or something. But at the end of the day, you can easily justify like, oh, it's just an animal doing something, and you know, even though it might send a little shit up your spine, as soon as you wake up the next morning, you probably forget about it.
Did I ever tell you about when I took Kayla camping to like a haunted area? Okay, so one time, my buddy had this piece of property in North Carolina. We were gonna go camping on, and we had so many like legends about the place because like one of the guys who camped there said that he saw like this we nicknamed it the Roamer, that we saw like this the kind of Bigfoot-esque thing walking around. Someone else said they heard crying in the middle of the night, stuff like that. So it became this thing that everyone who stayed there had a ghost story around it. And I had told Kayla about all of this prior, and I completely forgot about it. And I was set up to go, man. I like the river there. We were gonna spend a whole weekend. I was gonna fish. We were gonna set up campfires. We were gonna have a cute little hammock. It was gonna be such a cute trip. And then on the way there, she's like, "Is this the place with the all the ghost stories?" And I should have just been like, "No." I should have lied.
No.
But instead of like, "Yeah, but it's fine." We don't, but immediately her mood changes. We get there. She's like sitting in the car. She's like, "I want to get out. I want to get out." We go to sleep that night in the back of the car, and I wake up at 1 in the morning, and she is crying.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, what? And she's like, I thought I heard something. I'm like, what? She's like, I heard noise. So I have my night vision, which I should have been stupid. I should have just turned on a light so she could see. But I was like, well, I don't want to. It's a peaceful night. I don't want to like light up the woods. So I'm walking around the car with my night vision on. Like, there's nothing out here. I can see everything. There's nothing. Put the helmet on. See for yourself. And she was like, I'm just scared. So we set up with her crying until sunrise and then drove home. So.
Oh my god. That is brutal. You've been so you're like, oh my god, what is that? Oh god, what is that? It's horrible!
No, what I should have done is I would have been like, I'll go find it, and then I just don't come back.
Yeah, don't come back. You come back the next morning.
Kick him, Crip.
Go walk and get donuts.
Dude,
She's just like fossilized in the car from being so afraid.
Dude, I think she would have forced me. I think
100%, yeah. I figured my wife, yeah, there's no way. I would have been up shit creek for sure. Yeah, fuck.
And what's funny is I did it. Like, to me, the ghost stories are whatever. I have ghost stories about everything. I'm used to scary stuff. So when we get there initially, I'm like fishing. I'm like in the river and stuff. I'm having a good time. And she's just sitting in the car, and I'm like, what's her problem?
How caring.
Yeah.
Arnold, if you're just gonna sit here, I'm bored as fuck, babe. I'm gonna go fishing.
And then we're sitting around the fire, and I'm like making. I mean, I'm making an egg or something. It was great. And then she's still like upset. I'm like, what's your problem?
I would say that's very, the very man thing to do in that situation. I would say. I feel like that's the boys' way of handling things. You're still hung up on the fucking demons walking around the woods.
You're still mad about the Bigfoot demon? Look, if he's crying, that means he's a wolf. I'll probably beat him
Yeah, he's
up.
probably a fucking pussy,
Are
honestly.
you gonna finish those eggs? 'Cause I'm pretty hungry. Can you give those to me?
Actually, babe, would you mind going back to the car and grabbing something?
Yeah, I need you to go walk back to the road. Like, when I talk about this campground was in the middle of nowhere. I mean, this was a piece of property like 5 miles from anywhere. It is dark outside,
Oh yeah,
right?
like pitch black, right?
Yeah, overcast at night. Like, aside from the fire, you can't see 10 feet
Yeah,
away.
no
right?
moonlight,
Middle of the
nothing.
woods.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, absolutely horrifying conditions. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, see, I like my eggs scrambled at a campfire. Normally I take them over easy, but, you know, when I'm sitting around, there's a mood to it. There's something about... I brought this little jar. It's all the spices I use. So it's got, like, my oregano and my salt and pepper and stuff. And she's just, like, shaking.
Babe, did you see that 8-foot tall gorilla walk around earlier? I didn't know we had gorillas. That's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, so I normally like them scrambled. By the way, babe, don't turn around. If you look into its eyes, you become fossilized. So anyway,
Exactly.
I really
Like your face. Just like that episode of Avatar, Last Airbender. Have you seen that, babe? She's like, gone.
You know, more so, it's not really that it contains any supernatural properties, just that the sheer terror of its features are indescribable to the human mind, and you'll go crazy. So anyway, I like my bacon a little juicy, you know, not super raw, but a bit crisp to the edges, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so I'm a great boyfriend. So anyway, I totally relate to our protagonist here being like, what's that noise? Oh, well. Yeah, anyway, who cares? So are me and you gonna get a little busy? Making a move in the midst of it. We stayed in all day on Friday. And just cuddled, hung out, played some of the board games we brought, and some of the Super Nintendo games they had in the cabin. Donkey Kong Country 2, I considered stealing because it's the greatest game ever made. It snowed again, and after dark, we started hearing more noises. Around 1 a.m., Faye woke me up and told me she was hearing a voice outside.
Ugh.
I'm not kidding, this is the exact scenario.
It's gonna be fucked up when I find out that you're Felix Blackwell.
Yeah, I just wrote this story.
Yeah, you wrote this.
I strained to listen, and I thought I could make out the sound of a man crying very far away. But his voice was drowned out by the wind, so I wasn't absolutely certain of what I heard. We went back to sleep, but again, around 4:45 a.m., I heard him more distinctly, closer. It sounded like he was calling for help, but he would dip into another language that I've never heard before.
What the fuck?
The way this is written is like, yep, so 4:45 a.m., definitely a guy cried for help outside, but then he started talking in German or Arabic or something,
Yeah,
and I don't
exactly.
understand that, so I just figured, you know, let it be, maybe he's got friends nearby.
It was about 5 in the morning. I heard him say help a couple times, but I think he spoke Spanish, so I just said I just better let him be.
I opened the door and said, por favor to you two, just, you know, let the elements, you know, have their way with it. You know, let the... This is actually you with Diego, now that I think about it.
No, I would have rushed to Diego's help immediately.
Yeah. We called the ranger station at the bottom of the hill using my cell phone, and they told us to get up there and check it out. We never saw him, and I doubt they ever came.
Interesting. So they were able to get reception. I wonder if that's gonna, if later in the story, if somehow the cell phone thing is gonna be depleted, because they're able to call that, then they probably can't. Or he's also
it's a lie.
issue that they can't. What was that?
It's probably a landline. If they have cabins in a park, right?
Or I meant
Call
he's
the
using
ranger
his cell
station.
phone to call the people down on the hill, right?
Oh, you're right. You're right. I didn't read that. Using
But
my
what I
cell
think,
phone. You're
what I
right.
think they're setting up is like, oh, we called them to see if they would go help these people, and they doubt they even showed up or whatever. Which is probably setting up later to where like, why the fuck would they even come help our protagonist? You know what I mean?
Well, they know what's going on. The ranger station knows what this is.
Ooh, you're probably right. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're probably like, yeah, definitely we'll go up there. I'm not.
Yeah. You heard the guy.
Tall dancing monkey that's in the woods. Fuck that.
Oh, you all heard the guy crying in Greek, huh? Yeah, we'll be there.
Hezzy, don't move.
9-foot tall monkey. 9-foot tall monkey that tickles you until you speak Spanish.
He's looking over at the other ranger like,
Just watching a Rosetta Stone DVD.
we've got to learn to talk to these.
Miyamo as gorilla.
That's a gorilla. On Saturday, shit got really scary. Oh yeah, by the way, since I just had to read shit, I saw a video on YouTube like yesterday called Windigoon Swears for 4 minutes, and it's just a compilation of me reading cuss words on the show.
Yeah, apparently you're very loose-lipped on the show.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare
People
you be
love
so?
that.
Yeah.
It snowed again in the morning, and I stopped getting service for most of the day. Faye and I watched movies and tried to Skype with her family, but that didn't work. She went to sleep early, around 8, while I did some photo editing on my laptop in the living room. She woke up crying hysterically. When I asked her what was wrong, she said she had a dream that she was lost in the woods outside, and something was following her. I cuddled with her until she fell back asleep, and eventually I heard her.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
To be honest, this is just I'm cringing.
Diana Pookie 10, hello, hi, how are you? It's going to be a short stream today, so I won't be streaming for too long, but try and just need to get some stuff done. Thank you very much. Woo! Thank you for the follow.
The big boys and girls out there are gonna get it because my ass, if I remotely touch somebody, I'm so hot. All right.
Yeah, we're probably going to end around 2:30.
I'm like, what were you talking about?
Yeah, between probably 2:30 and 3, just because I have a previous engagement at that time. So I'm gonna attempt to finish this inking part.
Every time you turned around, I actually was throwing up, and I had like.
Yes.
I was like, this is my first impression with my friend. I have.
Yes. We are close. You're also drawing Clueless? Hell yeah. Let's do go.
But I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. You got through it fine. You are built like a football player. You're not like super fat. You're just like you're bulky. It's completely different.
All right, man. All right.
Look,
all
okay,
I gotta
yeah,
say,
you know
all I
what-
gotta say is I just don't want to cuddle with people. All right.
You know the differences. You know the differences between you and someone who's morbidly obese. If someone who's morbidly obese wanted to get strong, it would take a long time of like losing weight, you know, gaining muscle, losing weight, gaining muscle. If you just started like powerlifting, you would be a machine. You would be the scariest dude I've ever met.
No, I've been doing the only thing I can actually physically do is sitting Kegels, and that's what I do.
I'm tired of you. I can't. Whatever. Sure. You're stupid, fat, and can't do it. Is that you want to? Is that the lie you want me to tell to make you feel better? To fit your little.
Friday Night Funkin' making the character something. I'm aware of it. I know it has a bit of a reputation, but
What was I? The things you don't
nice.
Like, you don't like talking
Yeah.
to people at gas pumps. You don't
What a
like.
crime.
You don't like cuddling.
What a crime.
You don't like. What was another one we brought up? I mean, there's
Veggies.
someone mentioned up. We haven't said that before, but sure, throw that up there. Any guy who does not like
Hell yeah.
grilled zucchini is an enemy. All right.
Dude, actually, I love grilled zucchini.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's very good.
But yeah, guys, someone give me a list of like.
I posted what I had in art, but you can look at it. Which Discord, sir? Oh, you talking about general? Here, let me check it out real quick.
Faye woke me up around 1 a.m. She was absolutely beside herself.
Here we go.
Her face really unsettled me. She told me that she heard the man outside again, but she recognized the voice. She was absolutely convinced that it was her grandfather's voice and that he was wandering around outside begging for help.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Jesus.
Faye's grandpa died when we were seniors in college 4 years ago. I told her that she was dreaming, but then
Hold
I
on.
was too.
Oof.
I never met the guy, so I wouldn't recognize his voice, but it did sound different from the night before. It sounded older. I had to do everything I could to keep her from running around in the woods looking for him. Eventually, she realized that the possibility of it being with him was absurd. So we put a movie on at a good volume, fell back asleep. My cell phone wouldn't make a single call.
Droid server. Okay.
What do dream catchers do again? Is it just literally from spirits?
Art. Here we go.
Filter out bad dreams.
It catches bad
Marcus
dreams.
Red.
It catches bad dreams. Because I'm wondering if this creature is
There it is. I see it. Nice.
saying read minds feels kind of lame, but just
I like how Puffer it just has that. I like Puffer's design.
So, yeah, either that,
Okay, right here.
can kind of, you know, roll through the voices of the dead or something like that.
Nice.
people that were there before. There's probably gonna be multiple dream catchers out there in the force then, because I'm guessing that whoever put that out there, that was definitely a defense mechanism.
Yeah, like you said, Milo as gorilla.
Tight.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
Miyamo S gorilla.
Miyamo as gorilla. The people know. People know that, you know, this thing's out there, right?
Is there,
So
is
they're probably-
Okay.
a scary story about a 9-foot tall gorilla that tickles you until you speak Spanish is insane. It's a fucking scary monster. All right, I'm gonna put that out there. I hope that the monster in the story is scarier than that because I've set up a big monster. All right.
The just going back to the Spanish thing is so funny. The idea that there's a point at tickling at which you learn a new language.
It completely dive. I mean, like to the point to where you don't speak any.
Told me to make
language
Pez enjoy the boyfriend. Yeah. Speaking of that, no, it's not in this one. It was in yesterday's stream. I did the one where he's like, "I'll crack you."
That'd be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, monkeys are scary, bro. Actually, so my wife works with monkeys, so like I'm used to like seeing the African greens or like the capuchins or whatever.
Sure.
Dude, baboons.
Oh my
Every now
God.
and then, I will see a picture of a baboon. I'm like, that's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, especially like I forget what kind they're called, but they're brown with like black tails and stuff. Their eyes sometimes will look like a mannequin's eyes. It messes with me.
Oh, it's like pitch black. They look honestly,
Yeah,
like little
yeah.
fucking.
Yeah, I mean,
People drew demons in like Renaissance paint things.
yeah.
Like a mannequin's eyes, it pales and stuff. Their eyes.
Yeah, I don't catch their streams that often just because of
Honestly, like little fucking
things and whatnot.
demons in like Renaissance paintings and stuff.
But yeah.
all look borderline. Especially where they bend over like little imps and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
But so far in the story, because that was the end of that post. Okay, so now he's establishing.
Are those the end of post, or is that just like line segments? Because it feels like this is all one thought.
I think that to me, it seems like a guy journaling something.
Yeah, like
So it seems
different
like, okay, so that's the end of
sections.
this night, and then he comes back and he's recounting his day, or he might be recounting instances. So to me, I'm like, oh, this is like a journal he's writing during this vacation. Is what it seems. And so far in this journaling, they've had a relatively normal day, and then almost immediately the snowstorm came in. They've been hearing things outside the house. This voice has become so frequent that now it's even like you can even like our protagonist, the guy, even he was like, yeah, I heard the voice too, but it sounded a little different, a little more weird. People have been screaming, and then also he's also established that the people aren't coming up. Like either the roads are too bad, but I think you're right in the fact that they probably know what's going on. Especially if there's like superstitions and stories around it.
Oh,
They probably
absolutely.
definitely know.
100%. What happened last night, Sunday, was the thing that is sent me over the edge. Essentially, the same thing happened around 1 a.m. At which point I was still awake.
Wait, no.
expecting the noise to happen. I heard a voice. This time, it was a woman's. Thankfully, it was distant enough that it didn't wake Faye. I walked into the bathroom and cracked the window open just a tiny bit. Frosty air that came through that crack seemed like a death sentence to me as a Californian. Nobody was right outside for long enough, not without like serious military-grade winter gear. And yet, someone was wandering around out there, stepping on twigs and crying. I am a reasonable, skeptical, sometimes arrogant agonist, but I'm telling you, The voice sounded exactly like my mother's. My mom is alive and well and living in Southern California, so my brain instantly cramped at the sound of her voice out here in the Rocky Mountains. I would know my mother's voice anywhere. I think we all would. And I'm telling you, I'm about 90% sure it was hers, which is way too sure to not scare the shit out of me. I grabbed my light and went outside with a blanket wrapped around me and my hiking boots on. I circled the entire cabin and looked around. There was snow pushed out of the way in a big, meandering pattern that snaked in and out of the tree line, like someone was drunkenly shuffling around. Maybe they were injured. The path went right up to the bathroom window and then back into the woods.
Oh God.
Oh!
Right up the bathroom window and then back to the woods.
That gave me
right
chills.
There, looking at him.
That gave
right
me
there.
chills. It was right where he cracked open the window to listen. It was like if you would have looked up out the window. Dude, that messes with me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. The idea of like you were that close to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Each time the voice called out, I shouted.
Mom? Who's there? Who are you?
And each time the voice receded further into the woods. I'm pretty certain it was trying to coax me deeper and deeper into the forest, away from the cabin.
Yeah.
I'm still alive because I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna die like some dumbass in a bad horror movie. I went back inside and made sure we were locked down tight. Since I can't call the ranger station, I'm posting this instead. I'll keep you updated.
So it does seem, man, it makes me almost wonder if there's multiple of them. Like if it's luring him to some kind of area. Because at the end of the day, if they're isolated, right, and if this thing was like that malevolent force, why wouldn't it just break in and kill him? So I'm really trying to figure out piece everything together to like why does it need it to go somewhere, right?
To kill him, probably just wants to bring him back in the woods so there's not evidence or something like that, I guess. But you'd think it could kill him right there.
It looks so crispy. I mean, I guess.
Almost that they found these grisly scenes before, and that's what people, you know what I mean?
I think I'm gonna.
Maybe, okay, give it some credit. Maybe it's saying that, maybe it's a spirit that, like, you have to kind of, like, fall for it a bit for it to kill you, or something like that, you know? Maybe it's not outright, just kills you instantly kind of thing.
Oh, sure, I can see that. I could also see, it would be kind of sweet. I don't know if it's going to go this way.
Yeah, some of it is kind of inspired by Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Hallucinations to people, and there's like an immobile creature that like is trying to be fed, but it can't move.
More so in the sense when it comes to the really cartoony moments.
That would be very cool. I don't think it's implying that, though,
No, I
because
don't
of
think
the,
it's gonna be that, but
because of the snow tracks. But yeah,
That'd be
that would
sick.
be cool.
But yeah.
Just a weird malevolent spirit.
That would be a fun horror concept, a thing that can't move, almost like a tree, because then it would have to like, figure out what to say to make you come to it.
Yeah, it's bribing you in this way. Also, I mean, just the idea of willingly going. It's kind of like the feed the pig thing, where it's like you're willingly getting inside something's mouth and it eating you, or it could grab you if you get close enough. But still, I just like the idea of a immobile threat that is trying to tempt you to come into its vicinity so it can feed. God, that'd be sick. And that's the end of that little post.
Yeah, and then he adds some edits. I'm 90% sure this is going to be a skinwalker.
Thought I heard something.
So all my theories are kind of based around that, but it could be changed. It could be also built off of the lore. So who knows?
And is a skinwalker? Is it just somebody that's mimic? It's just a creature that can mimic people.
So a skinwalker in like Navajo culture and stuff like that is
turn to an animal too, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the more traditional version is that's a person, more specifically like a witch doctor that has given themselves over to evil spirits, and it can put on the skin of whatever it kills and then become that creature.
Yeah, that's right. You've told me that.
But the lore is expanded so much in the modern age that sometimes it's an outright spirit, sometimes it can steal anyone's voice, dead or alive. Sometimes it has to kill them, sometimes it doesn't. Like there's different variations of the tale. So
right, I feel like the only thing I've ever seen of the Skinwalker is the shitty show Skinwalker Ranch, which is terrible. But then there's a show, or then there was like this clip I kept seeing on TikTok of a guy like looking through a sniper lens, and it was like I can't tell if it was from a movie or what, but he hears this scream and he sees a Skinwalker in the or a guy screaming for help, and he's like naked standing in this field. And the guy like looks up from his scope, he like looks back in, and then the thing is like on all fours running at him. The guy gets up and runs away.
I haven't seen that before. That sounds awesome.
I'll have to try to find it. If I can find the clip, I'll be sure to put it here so you guys can see it. But it's a creepy clip. People say that's the best part of the short or the movie or whatever. Yeah.
It's Monday, and we got a hold of Faye's dad. The weather's supposed to clear tomorrow, so he's going to come pick us up in his truck and help get my car down the mountain. I'll keep you all informed. One more night in this place, trying to get some photos up. At 9:30 Monday. I've been able to get on LodgeWise today. I wish I knew more about electronics, but I'm a history teacher, so I don't think I can fix the Wi-Fi or predict when it'll work. I can send and receive emails and some Reddit posts, but I can upload some websites or view photos. Faye hasn't been feeling well since noon. She developed a stomach ache and has been intermittently throwing up. We both ate the same thing, and I feel fine, so I'm not sure what it is. She sometimes gets like this when she gets worked up. Although I'm an agnostic/atheist, she is very Catholic and is pretty convinced that something supernatural is going on. No need for alarm at that moment. She does not have a fever, and I'm keeping her hydrated and in high spirits. She seems to be on the mend. Went to sleep about an hour and a half ago. Some noises to report. There's cackling, repetitive vocalizations in the forest, probably 100 yards out. The tree line starts at about 20 yards out, so the sound is coming from much deeper. Some movements spotted just behind the tree line at dusk, but could be elk, deer, etc. Couldn't see very much. Keeping all the curtains closed.
So-
Sure, run up the front and back door, and I'm checking on Faye every half hour. Her Her dad will be here in the late morning.
Yeah,
to pick us up.
I think I'll do.
And you are correct. So I promise I'll provide an update as soon as new post tomorrow. Should anything significant happen.
That is the end of part 1. Which, you know, man, I like the end. I like the end of that part 1 because I love the idea of them ending. I like the idea of this first part ending with, oh yeah, my husband or my wife's dad's gonna pick us up out of the, you know, pick us up out of this whole thing, get my car out. It's just, it feels like such a beautiful setup of like that feels like that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna go as according to plan. You know, and I always love little setups
What
like
could
that.
go wrong? Oh, wait, I know why the thing had to lure him out of the house.
Why is that?
The dream catcher.
Oh, to get out of the vicinity of maybe that
It
protection.
protects the house. Yeah, the evil spirit cannot step through the house. Yeah, that's why it kind of lure him out.
It makes sense too because I doubt if it was being able to protect stuff. There's no way that they could just rip it off a tree, right? Like that logic doesn't work.
No, of course
It would
not.
be able to touch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can't, spirits of evil cannot interact with like blessing stuff of good. It can't just get rid of it. Yeah. Interesting.
I like this so far. This is fun.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I like part 1. I'm ready for part 2.
Yeah. Numero part 2.
Cool.
Part 2. All right, here we go. Sorry for the delay. We're
Hold on.
ourselves. Sorry for any formatting
Gotcha.
issues. I'm
Okay.
doing this on my phone. Chase had picked us up in his truck. He brought his buddy with him, who is now following us in my car. A lot of things happened last night.
Hezzy, don't move.
I won't share because I'm not sure how to interpret them yet. I'm not even sure I understand what happened. But here are the most important things. I also managed to get some recordings, which I'll try to upload when we get home to California in a few days. I tried to stay away from this night until 1 a.m. because over the past few nights, this is the approximate time the noise has changed.
so
from
close.
branches cracking to voices.
Hezzy,
I fell asleep on the couch with my laptop open,
Alright.
waiting for the Wi-Fi to come back. I think this was about 12:30 a.m. I woke up right around 1:15 to a muffled voice. In my sleepy days, I struggled to figure out where it was coming from. I thought it was just outside the living room window, so I sat there quietly, trying to make the words out. It was a woman's voice, and said things like,
A few days. It's not mine. I'm not alone. Okay?
I got up and peeked out the curtains and didn't see anyone. But then the voice said,
It's my parents' house.
and I knew the voice was FaZe. Oh, that gives me chills. Oh my gosh. Like she's right next to you, but it sounds like her, you know? That's good. As I mentioned earlier, my fiance had an undiagnosed sleep disorder and has extensive sleep talks and sometimes sleepwalks. So she has had pronounced night terrors since she was a little kid. I'll post a story on that someday. I walked into the bedroom to find Faye, sleeping on her tummy as usual. She didn't say anything else as I did. Wait, hold on. Is he saying now that this is her sleep talking?
No, I think that. Well, let me see.
I think he's saying at this point he's still hoping it's her sleep talking.
Yeah, I think that's what I think it is. Is he saying like I hope it's just her kind of mumbling to herself?
Two things really disturb me about the situation, though. The first is that she appeared to be having a conversation with someone, which is actually quite common for her. But the person she was conversing with was interrogating her, asking her questions about herself, me, the cat, etc. Second, in her sleep, Faye was imitating another voice. It wasn't hers that she was speaking with. She was altering the pitch and tone to sound like a different person. My modus operandi is to not wake her up when she has sleep disturbances. There's a story about this. Expect one someday. Instead, I gently rub her back and hair, which calms her, and puts her back to restful sleep. I did this for a few minutes, but then there was another noise, off in the distance outside. I got up and walked to the window to listen, and I think this was the first time that I really felt scared enough that I felt like we were in real danger. First of all, Hunter, as the certified hater of fun on the channel, do you find that gross that he rubs his wife's back and calms her?
No, I think that's respectful and nice. I just don't like fucking cuddling, man. Don't know what I'm supposed to tell you. You know, it does sound like to me though a bit. Do you think I'm almost interpreting her sleep talking? Like, yeah, she does it. Like that's a thing that she does. But I almost feel like she's talking with the thing outside.
Yeah, I think that's what it's talking about. There's also where she was sick earlier. She might be something's trying to possess her potentially.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, I don't want to jump to that conclusion too yet, because also people can be scared and like.
We're so close. Hezzy, you want to taste?
Actually,
Navajo spirit that does. I mean, a lot of them do, but there's one that's like a skinwalker, but that possesses you. I know the skinwalker spirit. Or wait, hold on. The Chindi. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I think a Chindi is the miasma left behind after a person dies, leaves the body with diseaseless breath. Maybe this isn't what I'm thinking of. Believes that contact with here it is. Traditional Navajo believe that contact with the Chindi can cause illness and death. Chindi are believed to linger around the deceased bones. So, no, this sounds like more like a the unclean parts of a spirit. Maybe not. Maybe that's not what I'm thinking of. But yeah. Anyway, there's spirits that can cause possession in the tradition. Navajo aren't super associated with Colorado, but I think they're like this is clearly Skinwalker, like Dreamcatcher stuff, like it's using symbols of it and things like that. So maybe it is some Navajo spirit that can possess. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, just theorizing. But yeah, I think it's some kind of possession or something. So anyway, he hears something outside. Feels like he was really scared. It was a child singing in the dark. I couldn't really make out much of what she or he was saying, but I'm certain that it was a child, like ages 6 to 8, trying to sing a song. The snow had abated for a while, and the stars were no longer bright, so I could see all the way to the rim of the forest, about 20 yards out. There was a figure standing there, just past the first trees, back facing me, looking up at either the moon or the tops of the trees. It's so
Nah, that's a bit too thick.
It was a tree stump or something. Within a few minutes, it was no longer visible. My skeptical nature compels me to be reasonable and say my eyes were playing tricks on me. When I turned around, Faye was sitting straight up in bed. I don't like that.
Oh God.
Eyes closed. She does this a lot in her sleep. She craned her neck and said something like,
Alright.
Don't let him inside.
she was still doing the weird voice. So I woke her up.
Yeah, damn right. I fucking wake her up.
Bro,
Shaking
I'm-
baby syndrome with that shit. They don't.
As you-
That's that time. I just no, I'm like kicking her. There was something Kayla did. Oh gosh, what was it? She said something like, "Why are there chains?" or "Why do I have chains?" or something like that in her sleep. And I was just like, nope. Just like I started shaking her super hard, like, "You're awake, you're awake, you're awake."
Oh God, dude.
Yeah, I don't care for that.
As you want to taste?
I had my youngest sister. She used to talk in her sleep all the time. Like she'd have whole conversations. And one time we were all, I think we had friends over or something, or we had family over, so all of us had to sleep in the living room. And for no reason at all, at like 2 in the morning in her sleep, she just starts screaming.
Yeah,
like
fuck that.
like full from the gut, like, you know, a high-pitched woman scream. And I'm up and I immediately like hit her, and she wakes up and she's crying. She's like, "Ow, why'd you hit me?" I'm like, "You were screaming." What was it?
As you want to taste
mean to me, and I got in trouble for it.
Jesus.
I remember that thoroughly.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit.
Yeah, not a
It
fan.
just it creeps me out too much, and I'm like, okay, haha, we're done with that. Thanks. Also, everybody who ever wakes up, they always get super pissed every time. What the fuck? What?
Yes. I dated a girl one time who, like, she would sleepwalk. They lived in a 2-story house. She would walk all up and down the stairs back and
Oh
forth.
God, no.
Completely
thank you.
asleep.
No, thank you, sir. No.
One time she went to her parents' room while her parents were asleep and goes and opens their door and standing in the front says, "I have a speech to make." And they wake up, they're like, "What?" And then she goes, "Never mind." And then turns around and starts to walk away. So the mom goes up to her, is like, "Are you okay?" And she wakes up. Like,
My buddy's brother used to sleepwalk really bad. He would do something similar where he would go into people's rooms and just stand there. It was fucking horrifying.
yeah.
So his little brother would put Legos in front of his door, so he stepped on them. And there'd be times though where he would step through them, and like that wouldn't wake him up. Like the pain. If anyone's ever stepped on a Lego, it is painful.
Yeah.
He'd wake up and be like, "What the fuck is going on with my feet?" Because he'd like crumple on them. But yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Dude, I'm not. It's terrifying. I don't like it. Anyway, we'll get back to the story. But yeah, Faye and I sat in the bedroom with the lights on, talking about what we should do. Try to get online to send an email to her parents, but of course it doesn't work when you need it. We agreed to stay in the same room and try to fall back asleep. At one point, I got up to get her some water. She hadn't vomited in several hours now and was feeling a lot better. And out the kitchen window, I saw flashes of pale light. They weren't like the flashes you see when someone walks through the woods with a flashlight. They were more like if someone had a lantern that they could slowly turn on and off. I flicked on the porch lights to the front and
So-
inside the house, hoping that it would discourage anyone from trying to approach. But as I walked back to the bedroom, I saw the distinct outline of a person through the window curtain in the living room. They were pressed against the glass with their hands on it, trying to peer inside. As it was dark in the living room and bright outside, I could clearly see their silhouette. I shouted and approached the window, but the person ran off before I pulled the curtain open.
Ugh. The idea of someone pressing their like hands up against to like get a better look inside is so creepy.
I don't know. Maybe I just like. Maybe it's where I'm alone right now. I don't know what it is.
You
But
get a little creepy.
something's got me a little creeped.
I have somebody else in the studio with me right now, but I'm just kind of like, I have that fake window behind me. And I keep kind of like in my OBS recording, I keep kind of like peering over at it because there's also like a little head on that's like by it. So I keep thinking someone's looking in that window too. It's just kind of fucking with me.
I've always had the nightmare of like you're walking through the house at like 2 in the morning, and then you're just like, and they're like pressed against the glass, like, you know, like.
Almost like some home intruder stuff. Like, oh, are they asleep or something? Yeah.
Okay, I'm a little wigged out right now, I'll be honest. Face slept sound, but I continued to hear voices outside. Different ones. On and off all night until dawn. I wrote several of them down. I couldn't sleep, so I came down.
No, actually, I have
I
a
got
better
the
idea.
bedroom door open so I could hear Faye if she started talking again. Voices would go away for hours and then start right back up again. At one point, I fell asleep because I was awoken by the sound of a light switch flicking on and off. From the couch, I could see the light from outside going on and off in a pattern of 5. I can't explain why this disturbed me so much, but it did, and I imagined some kind of horrible creature standing in my house somewhere, flipping the switch up and down and smiling. Wait, hold on. So he's in the room with Faye, right?
Right.
And he's hearing the light switch from another room in the house?
Yeah, but I thought you said that it's from the front porch, right? Yeah, the couch. I can see the light from outside going on and off in patterns of 5.
Yeah. The light, okay, the front porch light. Something's on the porch flicking the lights. Okay. But no, then he says, I imagine some horrible creature standing in my house.
Oh, interesting. So he hears the.
He must be in the bedroom with her.
Yeah.
And
I'm
the light
guessing
switch that's going off is whoever's at the front door.
Yeah, that's turning. Because what I'm imagining is he's saying that like, oh, there's something inside turning the porch light on and off from inside the house is what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
I think you're right. Probably right. That's, I don't think that, okay. First instinct was to check on Faye, and I nearly had a heart attack when I saw that she wasn't in bed.
No God.
I started calling her name and pacing around the house, looking out the windows to see if she was outside. When I looked out the kitchen window, there she was, sitting on the hood of my car about 30 feet out in the driveway. Back to me, staring off into the forest. She was absolutely rigid. just the way she sits up in bed when she's asleep. Faye has sleepwalked all over the house back home in California. I found her in the kitchen,
Hold on.
but she's never gone outside. I shouted her name from the kitchen. The second I did, Faye jumped off my car and dashed into.
Oh my god.
Faye jumped off my car and dashed into the woods at full speed, a full sprint. She never looked back at me. I started flipping out, screaming her name over and over. I scrambled to grab my boots to go after her, but the second I pulled the front door open, Faye called out my name from behind.
Oh my god.
Yep. She was standing in the hall, looking confused, asking me what was wrong. Apparently, she had been in the bathroom in my masculine crusade. I'd forgotten to check there. Jumped out of my car and into the forest, and honestly, the first thought that came to my mind was,
You clever motherfucker.
man, talk about a way to get him out of the house, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Man, so crazy. And that's the time, too, that it doesn't say anything. It just darts. Because I feel like also if it would have talked there, he would have been like, why does she sound so strange?
It would have thrown off the illusion,
Mm-hmm.
versus him thinking she's sleepwalking into the woods. Needless to say, we stayed up the remaining few hours until dawn, intermittently writing down the voices we heard, which faded away and became less frequent with the passage of time. I'll try to get the recordings up in a few days. For now,
Here we go.
we recalled some of the voices from previous nights from memory. I just figured you'd like to know what was being said throughout the duration of this lovely cabin experience. A return to Colorado, let's screw Pikes Peak. The question mark indicates words that were very unclear. So these, I'll let you do all of these. This first set is in a man's voice, vaguely familiar, but couldn't put a face to it over the past several nights.
Hello? Oh, God. Look at it. Look. Hello?
Guys, you want to do a taste test?
Get out. This thing in the dark. I'm lost. Watch you. Wolmai. It's very dark. I see those lights. Oh, come down there. Don't smile. I see you.
I didn't like those.
Oh, the ghost smile is weird.
Yeah, so that reminds me. Okay, so one of the main ideas was like Skinwalker stuff or mimic stuff in general is that it can like copy, people it kills or like their last words and stuff. So a lot of that could be the last words of someone who was attacked by it, right?
Yeah, like the weird last things that they learned from people when they stole their voice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They see in the dark, look at it, stuff like that. I see those lights. Okay, the next set is from a woman's voice, sounding age 20-ish. This was all heard last night.
Lay it on the ground and burn it. Turn it.
I don't like that.
Dude. I don't like that at all. The monotone, not melodic at all. So weird. Just like
Bro,
la 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 la.
Stop. I'm actually
creepy.
I'm actually kind of scared right now. I don't. Just the idea of like, you can't even process what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
It's just like it's so uncanny.
She talks in her sleep. She's talking to me now.
I don't like that. I don't like
And
it.
it's
Can we read something else?
threatening, malicious voice. How creepy is that?
Can we do something else?
No, this is our job. Sorry.
All right. Okay. The next set is for. I don't want to give Hunter this voice direction. A child sounding about 6 to 8 years old, indeterminate sex, and this was
Yeah,
all.
when they're young enough, you probably wouldn't be able to 6 to 8.
Yeah.
So crying and whining, just like. Which also, dude, kids laughing, scary. I don't give a fuck if it's like joyful or not. I'm always like,
Well, imagine you hear.
oh, in the middle of Colorado, fuck that,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, also think about it this way: you hear the singing and stuff like 100 yards away, and then you hear the laughing in the house or something.
Mm-hmm.
No. Absolutely not. No.
Oh, so me I do. What do I do? Eat, eat, eat. I am a vacant, naked soul. Me I do. When do we go inside? When do we go inside?
Sounding like a robot trying to mimic a child.
What? So I wonder if there's like weird, like almost like, when do we go inside? Go inside.
Ugh.
Like, just kind of weird, like frequency thing there, maybe. I don't know.
When do we go inside? When do we go inside?
The next line too is voice of my mother. A few nights ago, I love this. Laughing, joking, she had a recognizable Bostonian accent. Stop! That's my Bostonian accent.
Thank you.
Look at the windows. Did you see it?
Your mom telling you to look out the windows.
So great. Yeah, look at the windows. And the next one is voice of
I'm
Faye's
actually, hold on,
grandfather.
can we chill for a second? I'm actually like, in my head, I'm so there, and I imagine him like in a dark cabin, you can hear like the wind and snow, and like, I just imagine if like he hears his mom go,
Wee woo.
that he'll look at the window and there will just be this huge like eye.
Let's just take a second, just go right, and then just put like a soundscape of wind, snow, just like sounds and stuff, and then everyone just like picture something staring, looking at you inside the window. This is the kind of vibe we get. That would be terrifying, especially with a voice that's coming from like your mom or like children, like any. Oh god, fuck that. And the last one here, we're almost done with the second one here.
Yeah.
The voice of Faye's grandfather, which was a few nights ago. Lots of indiscernible groaning and calling for help. So I imagine almost like pain, like he's like,
Yeah.
help, help, help. His body's still on the ground there. Never found them, but they're there. Right here. Right here. Oh, they found it. They found it. I'm standing in the same place 20 years.
And finally, by the way, I forgot to check to see if the Dreamcatcher was still there out back. You're welcome to drive out there and look for yourself.
You'd have to imagine it is, or hopefully it is. I feel like if it was still there, I'd feel pretty good. I'm wondering though too, do you think that there's any possible way that the people, which also by the way, everyone, that's the end of part 2, going into part 3. Is there any possible way that the people that are looking into the house could have possibly made the Dreamcatcher? Or people like checking on them in a weird way, but they don't want to interact with them, and a way of getting cursed or something?
I had that thought, yeah, that it could be, but I don't think they'd be getting that close. Okay, maybe the lanterns were. The lanterns might have been.
Well, that's what I'm wondering is, oh, that's them walking up to see, or maybe even check on the Dreamcatcher or something. And that's them like looking to see like, oh wait, there's people here. Because maybe they didn't even know that, because maybe they saw the car out front and they're like, oh wait, what the fuck, there's people here. He's looking at me.
The issue would be, why were they that close?
There's also the thing of, well, I don't know, way of protecting themselves from it. But then also whenever he was like, whenever he looked at the window and the thing ran off, maybe they're like, they don't want to talk with this person in the hopes that like the Skinwalker might take their voice or something. Like I just think there might be some kind of curse.
That's true.
So I don't know.
All right, well,
Part 3.
Yeah, part 3. I'm honestly, this is like, to me, but I feel like I use Wendigo imagery for stuff and things like that because, like, I know the Wendigo is and the Skinwalker are the same thing, but like the modern Wendigo adaptations, as it's used, like as it was used in Pet Sematary and stuff like that, like the kind of the Americanized, modern version, or whatever. Sure. Or I guess I should say Westernized, modern culture, or whatever. It adapts a lot of those, and it's always scary to me. It always has such a, it never loses the weight of it. Yeah, the versatility of it's pretty insane. It never loses the punch. You can always do something with it.
It's also not just one kind of imagery too. It's so like, I mean, I guess it's versatility, but still, it's just has like it's such a cool concept.
Yeah. All right. So that night, So that night, I sat down with Faye's mom Laura in her bedroom while her dad was watching the news downstairs. Her mom was so upset at the stories we told her. I mean, she was visibly disturbed to the point of being in tears. She kept apologizing to Faye and hugging her. Laura told us that they purchased that cabin from their good friend Jennifer, I think, who moved to Nevada about 20 years ago, and that Jennifer and her husband had complained about all sorts of weird experiences while living there. Her husband Tom, like myself, was fond of hiking and exploring the woods, and collected a ton of arrowheads and other neat trinkets he found on his travels around Pikes Peak. But Jennifer started having dreams about Tom being dragged off into the woods from their bedroom. She had all kinds of horrific nightmares about him being skinned, pinned up in the trees like some kind of macabre artwork. Jennifer said that while Tom was at work, she would occasionally hear the voice of her daughter, who died in childhood of some kind of bone cancer, calling out, "Mommy," from the edge of the forest. Jennifer's doctors claimed it was the medication she was on and changed her meds. Tom got a new job in Vegas, and they basically noped out of there. On a lighter note, Tom took his own life in the garage 2 years after they moved. No note or anything. That's great. That's so cool and awesome.
Kind of feel bad for Jennifer. First, their child, and then Tom, just inexplicably.
I think where this is going is that you take a part of it with you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, they're not going to go back to that cabin.
It feels like
we've got 10
curse
parts,
aspect.
so yeah, it's like a curse aspect. And I also understand why the mom wouldn't. It's like, oh, you bought it off your friends and they had like nightmares there. Okay.
There it is.
Like, oh yeah, we used to be in the cabin up there, but it was really weird. So I don't know. We're just gonna leave. And then I don't think that you would immediately interpret that like, oh, this is crazy. Instead, you're probably like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, we like hiking. I mean, it's already established too that like, so it's like, might as well.
There it is.
Also, that you're good buddies. I don't know.
Anyway, Laura, Faye's mom, and Greg, Faye's dad, only used the cabin as a getaway in summers. Laura never experienced anything beyond weird feelings while she was there, and she chalked that up to all the crazy stories Jennifer had told her. Greg, however, who suffers from PTSD-related nightmares occasionally, experienced exacerbated sleep disturbances in the cabin. Over the years, he became reluctant to go there and claimed that all the things he'd seen in Vietnam came back to him while he slept there. You want to know one of the craziest stories I've heard from a Vietnam vet?
What's that?
This is unrelated, but while we're talking about terrors of war, I think this is interesting. There's a guy I know he worked at this gun shop.
There it is.
He was a riverboat gunner in Vietnam, and he did some deployments to set up ambushes or whatever. And he had completely forgot about the story where one time he was waiting on patrol outside the village, and he was using a little nail that he had found just lying in the rubble outside of the village, and he was cleaning the dirt from under his fingernails, and he hears a noise, and he was laying on the ground next to the M60, the big belt-fed gun. He was cleaning his fingernails, and he hears a noise, and he looks up, and 5 feet from his face, there is a guy standing there holding a rifle, like a Viet Cong, standing there just looking down at him.
Oh, God.
Just holding the gun. And he says that the man said, "Are you going to shoot me?" in perfect English. And in reaction, he dropped the nail, pulled the gun, shot the guy. And while telling me the story, he said, to this day, I don't know if he spoke English or if I heard it in my head.
That is fucking insane.
He had completely forgotten about that story. Never remembered it.
There it is.
Never bothered him until 40 years later, he was helping his son build a barn on his property, and then midway through, he picked up a nail and started to pick dirt from under his fingernail, and it all came back to him at once.
It's insane what the human brain can just store away.
Yeah,
You
just
don't even-
completely blocked off until that moment. And he remembered it all like it happened yesterday. Yeah.
Also, to go back to the story as well, the dad having those
There it is.
nightmare issues. Do you think that's do you think it's just something gene-wise that he passed down to his daughter with hers, or do you think there's a do you think it could have affected them?
Trying to think.
Maybe the dad's getting it just because maybe it just targets whatever the weaker link is at the time, because the dad has those memories from Vietnam, at least he's talking there, and she has religious beliefs and suffers from like sleepwalking and stuff like that.
The other owners too, it seemed like Jennifer was maybe the most mentally stable and like the most kind of strongest willed person maybe.
Yeah. Maybe it just picks a target, you know? Allegedly, some of the people he saw get killed would come back to talk to him in his dreams at that cabin. The last time he stayed there, he woke up in a dream to find a few of them sitting in his bedroom with him, maimed, rotted, etc. Perhaps he mentioned to Laura that he also heard their voices in the forest, crying, begging, screaming for their mothers, etc. And guess what time he always heard them?
Yeah. Do you think that some of these memories or some of these souls or ideas could maybe get trapped in the forest as well? We had the old man before who was like, I've been standing here for 20 years. Do you think that any of these things could like be aberrations that can manifest physically in the space out in the woods?
We don't know enough about it yet. We don't know if it's just repeating the words that were said.
Right.
But yes, I think it's very possible that it could be just repeating words of spirits, like, you know, the lost, or it could be maybe the ghost, or sorry, maybe the monster itself is trying to tell them something using the voices, right? Maybe something did happen at this land 20 years ago or whatever, and it's using someone's voice to say that. Who knows? Laura told us that she honestly did not believe that there was anything really wrong with the cabin. Faye was extremely pissed and let her have it. Kind of ended our visit on a bad note. Later that night, I was up reading, and Faye was sleeping next to me. She always falls asleep before me. That girl could fall asleep on a pile of rocks. She started mumbling in her sleep, so I listened carefully. Here's a few things I heard her say.
Never. No, I wouldn't. Oh my God. Boy, his name? We don't know you. No, it's Felix.
So she's talking to something again.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 hours later, she woke me up by nudging me in her sleep and saying,
Oh shit, sorry. Tell the man in the hall to leave.
no. This set me over the edge, so I go to the bathroom and get some water. I didn't find anything strange. Very hard time falling asleep, though. Bro, if my wife was sleep talking, she'd like tell the man in the hall to leave. I'm like, well, I'm not leaving till sunrise. I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to sit right here. That's what's going to happen.
Oh God.
What? What?
No, I'm just saying, like, tell him, just looking at all this stuff of the back and forth, and just like, I'm gonna sit here till you're just saying, I'm gonna sit here till I leave. And just
do that to me. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm gonna kill you.
There it
I'm gonna
is.
hit you with a bat. We're talking about this. I'm amped up. I'm scared, and you go, oh gosh, and then you go crying on me. Shut up. Don't, dude. I'm so mad. Hunter, this was supposed to be a Creep TV episode. We were supposed to have a goofy fun time.
This story rolls so far, though. I'm stoked.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's good. Okay. This morning we heard back from the guy who went up to the cabin checking for gas leaks or carbon monoxide. He asked him a few scrupulous Redditors. The guy mentioned that radon is a really big problem in some of these old places in the mountains. He's some kind of super badass handyman with all kinds of equipment, so he wrangled up one of the Pink Rangers, and they went up to the place together. Apparently, there were tracks all around the house. A dozen pairs of them. Like, a large group of people had been wandering around looking in the windows. I don't like that. All of the windows and doors were sealed the way we left them. When they got inside, some stuff was moved around. Silverware drawer was emptied onto the kitchen floor and turned upside down. Power was completely down. The weirdest thing was that there was water all over the bed and on the floor, but our guy checked for leaks in the ceiling and the bathroom pipes. None. Nothing had been stolen from the house. Not even food. Some of the clothes in the bedroom closet were strewn on the ground, but nothing stolen. Like, maybe someone was trying them on or smelling them? Oh, no.
Definitely seems like something came in from outside. It was standing on the bed, maybe, and it leaked up. Like all the water leaking through there seems like maybe it was melted snow.
Dude, I'm actually kind of freaked out right now. Do you get what it means? I think it means by smelling them that it got their scent.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Also, too, I'm wondering. Yeah. I don't want to speculate too much, but yeah, I'm curious to see, especially with these conversations she's having with whatever random entity in her dreams. Is it the thing that was in her house? Was she like? Did she in her dream? Was she in the house talking to it? I don't know.
The ranger said that there were legends about the mountain, about things that sort of act like people, but they come out of the old band of mines. Greg's friend couldn't remember the name the ranger gave them. It was in a native language. What if it's like, what's the name of the mine? And he's like, oh, Baraska.
Steven. Oh, yeah, yeah. What's the name of the mine? Something Baraska, but the sign's messed up.
Just says Steven.
Yeah, it just said Steven.
I asked Greg to ask the ranger about the sound I heard, specifically the Wachu Wachu Wolmai Wolmai. And he said it's a widely recognizable chant, but he doesn't know what it means. Anyone here have any idea? So no radon, no carbon monoxide, no gas. Place is all electric. He checked the hole, but said it's unlikely that there would be any all the way up there. Did say it's possible that there's some kind of electrical problem, and that this can sometimes cause people to feel very unsettled, maybe have hallucinations. He has some kind of Geiger counter or a gadget that detects issues like this, but it was broken when he tried to use it. Electrical problem that causes hallucinations?
Yeah, I heard that too, and I was like,
about.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I don't think that's right. I think they're lying to make you feel better.
Yeah, probably.
We're gonna keep a close eye on Faye. She's still checking up about this. If there's anything like Alright, so here we go. Here we go. Our first update, which, guess what? We've begun hearing voices outside our home. We're good at this. Faye is really upset and feels that I might have exacerbated these strange circumstances by giving them widespread exposure online. I'm gonna go dark for a few days and see if that helps. Don't worry about us. We have a few close friends looking out for us. They know the entire story. Hi everyone, another update I imagine. I just want to make a quick update, as promised, because Faye and I are flying back to California shortly. Faye's back to normal, feeling great. I watched her eat a huge chicken parmesan yesterday.
Skinwalker W. Speaking of Skinwalkers, what's up? We're listening to Creepcast about Skinwalkers. Let's go.
Eat it up, baby. Eat it up.
There you go. Alright, just making sure you're feeling yourself. I'm just checking to make sure you're not a skinwalker as well.
Yeah.
The first thing I should mention is that Faye's father was very reluctant to talk about the cabin or the weird experiences we'd had there. He kept trying to change the subject, and was generally in a bad mood, which is pretty normal for him. He's a really grumbly Vietnam vet and has been in the army since he was young. His personality is exactly what you'd imagine it. But yes, it was.
You said what's wrong with the cabin. Why would you let us go up there in the first place?
And his response was,
Talk to your mother. Into part 3. Ooh. The mystery keeps unfolding. I like it.
oh no, do you think that's a mystery stuff, or do you think that's just an old man who doesn't want to talk about it? Being like, oh, where's your mom?
I feel like, yeah, he's grumpy, but I feel like these things, the Vietnam vet obviously
Yep.
has, reasons to be grumpy, or that's just their personality, but I feel like to be that blunt about asking your mother. Also, too, the mom was like, yeah, I don't think anything's weird up there. Seems like she's trying to cover her tracks a bit, is how I'm reading it.
Do you think he might be Faye might be possessed?
Well, that's what I wanted to say when you said, do you
Suddenly
want to say
felt
anything? When you said, do you want to say anything? I thought you were referring, like, question
No,
there.
I was just making a joke
I
about
think,
overeating.
to me, it almost felt like, that post felt way too positive for the turn of events that had been happening. So that's why I was like, oh, this is the part where, yeah, she suddenly has maybe...
Going from hearing voices outside to suddenly like, oh, she's
like,
better
oh,
now.
it's fine.
That felt kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, are you ready with that to go through part 4?
Part 4.
Part 4. Over the weekend, my fiance and I stayed in her parents' cabin up in Pikes Peak, Colorado. I made a no-sleep post about the disturbing events, which is what we've read so far. It transpired over the course of a few nights. Many people have messaged me for an update, but I stopped responding because things have gotten worse since we returned home to California. Well, it's time I say what's going on here. I'm sorry that this is long, but I wanted to document everything. Faye and I flew back from Colorado on Wednesday afternoon. She slept the entire flight, despite the noise, which amazed me. I can't sleep on planes because
How's it taste?
or they're staying other than the cabin. God, dude.
I swear to God, if I get another one of these like AI viewers, Twitchmax.com, like what the fuck? Okay, hold on.
Which is great news. I like to imagine at this point she's like a werewolf.
Yeah, she's completely changed. Well, what's weird too is like I'm picturing in movies like
It's insane.
You know, have you seen Devling? At the end of that movie, the little girl when she's possessed by the demon is like scarfing down all that food in the fridge. Almost like an insatiable hunger, like a creature hasn't eaten in a long time.
How long?
That's what I'm picturing. I mean, especially like a whole pizza. It's
How
like,
long?
oh well,
Fantastic.
It almost not that we've had anything with her appetite, but it almost feels out of character, like uncharacteristic of her.
Maybe she's possessed by something that's doing it. I like the idea of demons having, like, not just demons, you know what I mean, spirits, ghosts, whatever. Having, like, this insatiable gluttony, you know?
Oh, sure.
They constantly have to consume all the time, you know?
Gluttonous, evil creatures, like, it's never enough. It goes in with the key. It goes in with the, like, the evil, like, there's, like, you know, why do you choose your victims? It's just evil. Like, there's never enough victims, you know? It's just a gluttonous kind of act altogether.
So she wolfed down pizza. I mentioned this in my original post. Faye has an undiagnosed sleep disorder. She has pronounced night terrors, sleep talking, occasional sleepwalking. This disorder lies dormant 90% of the time, but it tends to flare up when she's under a lot of stress. If we're moving, if she's changing jobs, or if a relative dies, I can expect a night of horrifying talking and odd behavior. Needless to say, our experiences are
Fantastic!
on edge. Although she's in high spirits, she's still afraid at night. Time too. That night after pizza, she fell asleep on the couch while we watched Wedding Crashers. Around 10 p.m., the movie ended, and I turned the TV off. So I brought our plate to the kitchen, passed by the stairwell. I don't like this.
It's great.
Bro, I'm upstairs.
How's it taste?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, you have a full-size Steph looking at you.
I'm like wigged out now. I don't like it. I won't leave the gun on me. Gun I always pull out. The gun that makes me safe. My safety gun. It's not here. I'm whatever. Just the idea. I don't like the idea of someone in the house. You know, it just.
Yeah, it wasn't something. It's just a
You still?
whole invasion of privacy.
Yes, I am. Still inking today? Hell yeah.
And heard a faint noise from upstairs.
Good news is it should be over, or I'm gonna try and. Today's stream is gonna be a lot shorter. It'll probably end around 2:30 or between 2:30 and 3. I'm gonna try and finish this. Just because I have a previous engagement I need to attend to around that time.
This isn't really unusual for her.
So.
Said a few funny things, etc. I woke up again around 4 and heard her talking. But this time she was doing something she's never done before. Been together for almost 5 years, and not once did she ever whisper in her sleep. Now she was whispering with her back turned to me. For a second, I thought something was lying on the floor at her edge of the bed, talking back to her.
Ugh.
Bro, I'm like, I'm just tweaking a little bit. It's okay. I swear, I keep seeing my door. The dogs are locked up. It's not the dogs this time. There's like, it's just the way the door shuts. There's a shadow directly in front of the door. And I don't shut up. Shut up with your
No, yeah.
stop talking. Quit. Let me stop. you're a loser. You're a little punk. That's what you are. This disturbed the shit out of me, so I sat up and leaned over her, trying to listen in the dark. The only thing I heard her say discernibly was, "Shh." I asked her, "What are you talking about?"
Did you need anything? I mean, I have to, I usually have to get these done within usually 2.5 to 3 days anyway, specifically for the inking. So yeah. Because I like to keep it on a weekly schedule. It keeps me, I enjoy the schedule. I don't mind it.
Oh my god. Her, like, especially I imagine, like, somebody, like, running back in and just immediately laying down. So creepy.
Hello? What if your wife got up to go to bed in the morning? Hello?
Fantastic! Fantastic!
Oh, man.
That's what makes me feel better. Do more of that. Do some more riffing. I need it right now. Do more. Talk about getting molested by the
Actually,
ancient
you
spirit.
raised up a good point, though. Are you under the assumption that this is the skinwalker that's with him?
No, I don't think it's made it this far yet. I think it's just the spirit possessing her.
I love your art style. Thank you very much, my friend.
I think I'm going to make me feel better. Because in my head right now, the skinwalker's the scariest thing I've ever seen. So, to make me feel better, I think I am instead going to begin imagining it as did you know that SCP that everyone sexualized?
About what do you eat during streams? I usually don't eat during streams. Yesterday I did eat something, but that's only because I was streaming for like a very, very long period of time. I usually won't eat on streams. I'll usually just wait. And usually what I prefer to do is eat after a workout because it feels like, not that I've like earned it, but it just tastes better after a workout. After, you do a good, hour of like either weightlifting or cardio. Like I remember, I think it was Tuesday, I did the elliptical for like an hour and I managed to get 4.5 miles on it. And I think I came back, had some Japanese curry with rice. And, oh, it hit really good.
This is good. I have to talk about something else. I'm getting weirded out. There's this SCP that the whole concept is it's like a mind virus thing. Hold on. SCP-1471. That's it. Go ahead and look it up. It's this mind virus thing that it'll show up in images with you, and it gets closer every time you take a new picture. And it's supposed to look like a scary, like werewolf, like Skinwalker-esque thing, but everyone's like, oh, it's something that wants to be near me and never let me go. So immediately, everyone online, they goth mommied it. Yeah,
sure.
And so now to make me feel better, Mallow, that's the name of it, Mallow. I'm going to imagine that this creature is Mallow, and that's going to take the edge off of, because I'm getting too amped up right now.
I'm in the nice sweet pocket here. Like it's creeping out. I feel like it's keeping it's good, man. I want to keep.
Hello?
We're gonna keep going.
Fantastic!
All day Thursday, thinking about why Faye was still acting weird. I was the one who found the dream catcher and got close to it. I was the one who interacted with the voices in the cabin. And then I remembered something. On our last night in Colorado, at her parents' house, Faye got back into bed around the same time, 5:45 a.m. I barely remembered because I was half asleep, but the image returned to my head. She'd been getting up really, really early for a few days. So last night, I set my phone's alarm to vibrate, and I put the time to 4:45 a.m. In the middle of the night, Faye started talking again. This time, she was doing the same thing she did with the cabin, changing her voice to sound like someone else. For 5 years, she sleep-talked a bunch, but has never whispered or changed her voice until recently. She said a few things, which I tried to commit to memory.
He's still in the trees. It's time.
Hold on. If I can pull up her previous sleep-talking segments. Are any of these a conversation with herself?
That's why I don't.
Where were you?
I'm wondering how much of it too is also people. It was
No, not
some of the
yet.
stuff. It was some of the stuff of the younger kids. The younger kids did the indiscernible male or female child did the la la thing. I think it's a mixture of the child and the old man. Maybe
Maybe.
is what I can't tell if it's just like hopping between those things.
Because it's all her. It's all her doing this, so it would be her.
Oh no, I know it's her doing it, but I'm wondering if it's just correlating with the voices we've heard before. So I don't know if the spirit is like going between those things through her.
I don't know yet. Well, maybe we'll get another piece to it that kind of clicks it together in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
About the same time, there was noise outside, which sounded like an old man grumbling to himself about something. We live in NorCal in a really busy town. So when we look at our bedroom window, there are tons of trees across the street. It was. The reason I keep pausing is I keep looking at my door in my mind. It was very dark, but I'm fairly certain I saw a man walking behind the first line of trees. He was too far away to be the one grumbling, but it is very unusual to see anyone over there at this time of night. In fact, I've never seen anyone there at night. Okay, I'm moving the screen over to the black monitor so I can just do the looking outside required me to open the curtains, which lit up our
How long?
I looked back at the bed. Faye was lying there with her neck craned toward me. I don't like this, bro. Her eyes crazy wide and fixed on me, and her mouth was open. Dude, she issued this really frightening, gurgly, drawn-out groan, licked her tongue around. It looked like an epileptic fit in slow motion. Faye has definitely opened her eyes in her sleep, but never like this. She looked like a murderer.
So is she just like, is it like almost like a la 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 like la 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 thing like flicking her nose, just like
I imagine more like a snake, but at a normal speed, you know, like it's trying to get to you almost. Because it says, it's like because he looks outside after he heard the noise, right? And then he looks back and she's like, like staring at him.
neck craned, so like bent, looking at him, eyes wide. Her mouth is just open, and her tongue is flicking. Her mouth is wide open, and her tongue is flicking. So it's like like that. And then she has a gurgly like sound coming from her mouth.
I got so scared, I called her name really loud and woke her up. She was confused and asked me why I was at the window. I lied and said I was just closing it because it was cold. I didn't want her to know I'd heard a voice. We talked a bit, but I'll skip that because this is getting long. My alarm woke me up at 4:45 a.m. and I lay there awake, waiting for Faye to get up like she has been the past few nights. She breathes very rhythmically when she's asleep, so I can always tell how deep she's under. Around 5:20, she sat straight up, swung her legs out of the bed, and tiptoed down the hall. I followed behind. When I say my fiance tiptoed, I don't mean like a child on Christmas Eve. This was robotic, alien, inhuman. She moved like a meth-addicted ballerina zombie. A meth-addicted ballerina zombie.
Stiff. I'm almost picturing like an animal walking upright for the first time or something.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Mama?
Yeah.
You remember the way that thing ran?
Yeah.
I picture that, but slower. I just stood there in our bedroom, poking my head out into the dark hall. Faye looked down the stairs, still standing rigidly on the balls of her feet, swaying to and fro slightly. She did some weird shit. She touched her face slowly for several minutes, touching the banister, touched the wall, flicked the light on and off a few times, all the while maintaining her perfectly regular coma breathing. Then she reached an arm out in the motion of a bicep curl, stretching her fingers and wiggling, then curling them, her hand and her arm back up to her face. I watched her do this motion for about 4 minutes. It looked like she was testing the limb, as if she never used it before. Then I realized she was actually communicating with someone on the first floor of the house. She was making a come hither motion. With full confidence that Faye was sleepwalking, I walked into the hall and leaned over the half wall that overlooks the living room. It was totally dark down there. I couldn't see anything but the clock on the cable box. Faye stood there, waving, smiling, making gestures, then touching her face, pulling gently on her hair. Carefully ushered her back to bed, talked to her softly, trying not to actually wake her. She didn't resist, she never does, and went back to sleep without another word. Dude, that is so menacing.
It is so creepy. It kind of reminds me of the parts of Paranormal Activity in the first one when Mickey gets up and brings the camera downstairs and he's like looking for his wife, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just that part. It definitely looks like something has possessed her, and I'm still. I mean,
It's great.
I'm not fully convinced that this
All right,
isn't
bro.
still just this isn't that skinwalker thing. I still don't know.
And, but you mean like she's gone?
Like
totally
the physical,
water?
like the actual Fae is gone, is what I'm wondering. I don't know.
Potentially, but then I don't know why it's acting like her the rest of the time. You know?
I don't know.
I, think it's a
I don't
spirit.
know.
I think it's a spirit myself, but dude, there's something about, gosh, that whole scene. The way it's
And
described,
that was genuinely unnerving.
like beckoning towards like a pitch black, like a void, right? Because as he describes it, it's like past space where you just can't see anything. You're just standing there like
In the darkness,
doing like a come here,
smiling and like basically just, I mean, almost enjoying it, like this body. Like it just looks like she's just like overcome with herself. Pretty creepy. That's the end of part 4, though.
Okay, well, no, there's one more line. It says, I have zero clue what's going on. I told her this morning what she did, and now we have a doctor's appointment for her at 3 p.m. today.
I don't think the doctor's appointment's going to do much. I'm going to be
I don't
honest.
think that's, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not hopeful of the healthcare system at this time. Maybe another one, but I'm scared, dude.
Part 5.
I was having a fun time today. There was like an easy day, and I'm like, kind of freaked out a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so.
Looks at part 5. Looks like we can skip the first paragraph and just go to the second one because it looks like it's just a little recap.
Okay, part 5. I took Faye to see her doctor yesterday, and we hesitantly explained what was going on with her. I left out the paranormal stuff because I didn't want to get put in a ward. She seemed really concerned about Faye. Ordered a blood test, gave her a physical, asked her about diet and drugs, medications, etc. Faye and I are both non-drinkers, non-drug users, and neither of us are on medication. She wants Faye to be evaluated by a psychiatrist next week. For now, she gave her a sedative at night and some anti-anxiety medication. She wants us to get some fresh air and get out of the house, so we're going on a hike today. A Redditor named Dixie Dix brought up the possibility that the child's voice outside the cabin asking, when do we go inside, might not refer to inside the cabin, but rather inside of Faye. What a great thing to suggest. This poor man. This really worries me because it corroborates some of the strange behavior she's been exhibiting in her sleep. I contacted the park ranger, who's pretty sympathetic to our situation. I'm going to get in touch with some of the members of his tribe. Some of the members of his tribe who have experience with spiritual guidance and medicine. He's convinced that Faye and I have attracted the attention of the ones who come out of the mines. Lucky us. More on that later. That's so funny. It's like you call the park ranger. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, ghost in your blood, yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one.
To be sure, though, the park ranger is of native descent, correct?
A million percent. It's just funnier in my head if it's like a Wisconsin man.
Like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, we can get you in touch with the spiritual healers down here. Don't you
Oh
worry.
yeah. Don't worry. Call up some buddies of mine. They got mind possession all the time. This happened to my buddy Frank's wife last week. You know, we had her fixed up in a jiffy. Oh yeah. Just the cat that it's described. We called him sympathetic, so you know we're getting in touch with the doctor of the tribe. Get the spirit, those that have mind out of my wife's body.
I'm kind of wondering if the people of the spirit are going to be like, you cannot come in contact with us.
Yeah, they're like, oh, where did you say you live again? Okay, cool. And then they just like kill them.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. We're just like, yeah, we could have helped you, but you're just too far gone. Like that's like the ultimate nightmare. Someone being like, yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, how about with your demon vibe? Hey, we all got one, don't we, bud? Haha. All right now. You kids be safe. Some Redditors have recommended that I test Faye, see if it's really her. Yesterday evening.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some more coffee.
One more meal there.
Be right back. Oh. Okay.
Medium tri-tip, house macaroni and cheese, and a bottled root beer. mean, that's a very childish order, but that's also, I think, exactly what I would order at a steakhouse.
Right, so that's pretty good if I'm being honest. It does not sound bad.
Faye only ever orders one meal there too. Barbecue chicken sandwich with mac and cheese and a salad with ranch dressing. She gets a barbecue chicken sandwich every time she goes to a steakhouse. And a Coke. She drinks Coke only. Her blood's mostly Coca-Cola. They took a long time deciding what to order and ended up ordering a New York strip. I jokingly told her to order for me too, and she said,
I don't know what you want.
oh no, she also ordered water instead of Coke. Usually we have arguments over how much Coke she drinks and how I'm always trying to get her to hydrate better and just drink water. This was really unsettling me. At the end of the night, when we were walking back to my car, I kissed her temple and asked if she still liked it when I called her Noodle. She said, of course. I've never called her Noodle in my entire life. Her nickname has always been Monkey Toes. Long story.
Gross.
Shut up. Pet names? You don't like pet names?
Nah, dude. Nah.
Someone add that to it. Whoever commented the list I asked for earlier, add that to it. Make an
I'm
addendum.
not about to call my bitch Monkey Toes, all right?
Swear.
I'm gonna call her Angel or Pretty Face. Pretty eyes.
Angel. I call Kayla Stinky all the time.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I'm like, oh, look at
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
This threw me off. Okay, so
Really, it's intermittent. Like it's kind of swaying back and forth.
it is. Also, that's not like a foolproof test. Like, oh, she didn't get the same thing.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
a
that's-
lot's changed. Maybe she just wants to get something else, right?
To be fair, if you do it every time, it is odd to the point. But it seems like
It's great!
I'd be like, oh yeah, I know, I just want to try something new. But it's not foolproof.
If you do think she's possessed, how creepy is it to just like go about life? You know, go out for a date night, go home, cuddle on the couch. You know, like how weird is that?
Very. I mean, I would probably not be in that relationship anymore. That would be. I'm no longer dating that person.
Well, I mean, they're married, right? Or fiance.
Even better. You know why? Because then, guess what? Divorce. You think a demon understands the litigious
Guess
aspect
what?
of a divorce?
A divorce?
I'd be like,
newsflash.
hey, here, sign this crazy thing. It's a fucking post nup.
If you find out right now your wife's divorced, what are you doing? What's next move?
If I found out that she's possessed,
Yes.
I'm gone.
No, that's your
I'm gone.
wife. That's your
gone,
wife.
dude.
You talk
I'm gone.
big talk.
Till death, because guess what? Till death do us part. And for all intents and purposes, that bitch is dead.
No.
Dead to me, dude. Ain't no way. Mm-mm.
I
I've
would
seen
still,
enough.
I would still love my wife. Okay, and I would still.
It's not your wife. It's the shell of your wife.
I would still cuddle her, even though you hate that, and I would wait for it to go away because I love her.
That's fine, dude. You do that. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna say Vegas. No, I'm kidding. Hey, sorry that I'm a feminist like that, man. I'm a feminist.
One thing that's been on my line lately is the song the little kid was singing outside the cabin. For those of you who don't know, in the middle of the night in this cabin in Colorado, we heard a child's voice come out of the forest singing an eerie song. I've been catching myself humming it almost every day. It's Guy Bear.
Show me I do.
I asked Faye if it meant anything to her, and I sang it to her while she was sitting on the couch. After a few repetitions, she sort of went blank. Like she, like she was hypnotized. All right, maybe you have to get rid of her. And just wobbled back and forth ever so slightly for about 8 seconds, then snapped out of it and said,
I don't remember that. So do you think that? Okay, so I'm guessing that's like some kind of spell or something.
well, it wouldn't hurt the spirit because it was the spirit that was singing it.
No, I'm saying that if that's the host, right? So if he's singing it to Faye.
Great.
The spirit used to kind of like infiltrate her. I'm wondering if that disrupts the curse that she's already under.
Oh wait, counter theory. You know, we talked about maybe there's like people coming to check on him and stuff like that, like a group of people who knew what was going on. Maybe there was a child out there who sang that song and warded off or something.
It could be like a local, like maybe the local tribe that was trying to help her.
Yeah. Last night when shit hit the fan. Oh, this is sorry. Now it's hitting the fan.
Now it's hitting the fan.
Yeah, sorry. Everything was like
it felt like a fucking diarrhea tornado this entire time, but okay.
Yeah, it's apparently about to get worse. I haven't gotten a full night's rest in over a week now, and it's starting to make me feel over emotional and crazy. Faye started murmuring in her sleep.
Great.
I couldn't understand much of it. She sat up in bed, put the sheets on her legs like she was going to get up, but I grabbed her arm and asked her what she was doing. She said, her eyes were completely shut. I asked her. She sat there for about 2 minutes.
It's great!
Just sitting straight up. I asked again, and she replied. And 10 seconds later.
And a woman at the bottom of the stairs.
All right, Hunter, let's roleplay. You're in this scenario. What's step one?
First off, I just want to say 2 minutes is forever. I mean, actually think about sitting there in silence for 2 minutes.
120 seconds.
Holy shit! Like, you know how long that'd be? I think I'd probably.
It's great! Alright, bro, we're pulling out the class.
I'd probably start saying that. Hey.
That's your defense mechanism.
Yeah, and then when she turns around, like, there's someone at the stairs, whatever. I'd say, right. I'd kiss her temple. I'd open the window.
Ugh.
Chalk up the house as a loss on my taxes, and then.
Ugh.
Not even the comprehension of being left inside.
Alright, bro, we're pulling up.
I'd kiss her on the forehead and I'd say, hasta la vista, baby. And I would just open the window and scurry my fat ass out there.
I mean, the hey is really funny. Imagine like something really unsettling happening. Like, yo, hey, yo.
Hey.
No. I remember as a kid like getting really scared at something. Like say there's a snake coming at me or a spider, right? And I'd just be like like I'm trying to like yell at it. Yeah. I think that's what I'd start doing. I'd be in bed, and be like yeah. Dude, what if she was like the woman's at the bottom of the stairs, now the top, now the hallway, now the door, like.
They're here. I'm gonna reread this line, then let's keep going. Get a woman at the bottom of the stairs.
Of course, this made every single hair on my entire body bristle. I got up, went downstairs, turning on every single light as I went, carrying my buck knife with me. Nobody was in our house. Looked in every single room downstairs and even in the backyard.
You lying bitch! What if he yelled that from downstairs?
He kills her. He stabs her to death.
Yeah, all right, fuck it. You're dead.
That was it. When I got back to the stairwell, I heard someone stomping around upstairs.
Oh, God.
Someone had turned the light to the upstairs hallway off.
Oh!
I stood at the bottom of the stairs looking at the and listened, but the noises stopped. So I walked back up into our bedroom and got back into bed. It was likely that Faye had gotten up to go to the bathroom, sleepwalked a bit in the room, went back to bed. Fell asleep pretty fast, but woke up again a few minutes later.
The classic. All right, bro, we're pulling out the classic. Raise your arm.
So I looked out. Faye, she staggered down the hall towards me, then stopped, turned around, and walked back in the other direction. She did this 7 or 8 times.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The hair on my arms actually started to raise a bit right there. That fucked me up a little bit.
The walking?
Yeah, or just this repetitious thing. Like I'm just picturing it, and like in the darkness, imagine watching your wife like staggering, stop, and then turn it like back and forth.
Like she's almost pacing. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fucking insane. Like it's so unnatural. Ugh.
She was walking in almost the same way as the night before, standing really high up on her toes.
Like
Her
hooks.
legs, I didn't even make that connection yourself. Why did you say that? I hate you so. Oh my gosh, go die.
Yep.
Her legs totally rigid like they were made of cement. Her arms completely limp and flopping back and forth. Oh gosh. It was extremely terrifying seeing her move like that. She was totally graceless. It's like someone was testing out a human body for the first time. What does that look like? On TikTok.
So I was actually doing it. It looks like the fucking Harlem Shake. That's what it looks like, her walking around. That's exactly what it looks like.
Arms limp.
Yeah, just being thrown back and forth, right?
You were kind of right what you said about the animal earlier. It's like a goat trying to walk.
It definitely is, yeah, 100%. Rigid, whatever, not using, especially if it's an animal that's like, I walk on all fours, if I wouldn't know what to do, they need to be really stiff with their arms, or they wouldn't know what to do, they would just like let it flop around.
It doesn't understand you need your arms to kind of balance.
Yeah,
movement
balance.
naturally. Yeah. At the same moment, I heard a noise through the bedroom window, ran over to check. This guy should probably kill himself. I'm just being honest.
This guy is a brave son of a bitch, dude.
I think he's just stupid at this point. Like, I'll take my knife. I'll go fight it. You know, honestly, if my wife was in this situation, I would hope I would be this, like, by her side and not right off the house as a loss, thinking someone was really at the front door. You can see down the front entryway from our bedroom window. Off? Oh, no. Off in the distance, about 30 yards out, somebody was walking back and forth in the exact same way that Faye was.
Wow. Okay, so like I'm assuming like puppeting her, like, right?
I'm like about to cry. Oh my gosh, that is so awful. Imagine that, looking out the window to the woods and seeing someone doing the same movements.
Don't like that.
He was humming loudly and intermittently singing. The song sounded like the one I sang to Faye earlier, the one the child sang outside the cabin. I made this YouTube video explaining what happened.
I clicked it, but it's not there anymore. There's a hyperlink in the story for people who don't know, but the video's gone.
Basically, I ran back into the hall, woke Faye up, and brought her downstairs, opened the front door to get a better look at the man.
Raise your.
Today, at the behest of a few Redditors, I asked Faye if she'd ever been to that cabin before we visited. I don't know why, I never thought to ask her this before. She said nothing about when we stayed there for several nights. She was hesitant to answer me, and eventually admitted that she had been there once. She was 14. She and her parents went snowshoeing up the mountain. A few hours later, I emailed her mother and asked the same question. She told me Faye had gone to the cabin multiple times as a child, but stopped going when she went into high school. Can't figure out which one of them is lying to me. Because so many people have questions about Faye. She has agreed to do a filmed interview. If you post questions to her, we'll film her responses and post them here within a few days. I haven't told Faye this, but I think I'm going to go back to the cabin. I'm going back to the cabin and meeting with the ranger. Okay. He wants to do some ritual for the dream catcher we found. If it's still there, and he says he will bring his friends and try to cleanse the house and the surrounding area. This will cost me like $500 just to fly out there, but if this shit gets any worse, it might be worth it. It might be worth $500. It might be worth $500, but I won't die of whatever this demonic possession is.
Yeah, exactly.
Edit. A Redditor sent me a private message telling me to investigate the guest room to see if Faye was doing anything in there. Turns out she was. She had written the number 5 in the window with her finger. Only saw it from the condensation from the cold this afternoon. Turn it backwards so that someone standing in our backyard can read it. Well, I absolutely don't like that. Don't like any of this.
I love that ending part, especially because it's in chapter 5 of the story.
Raise your arm.
That too, and remember the thing in the hallway back in part 3 or whatever that was flicking the lights on and off was doing it in intervals of 5.
I'm 6, baby. I'm so hooked in, dude.
I honestly cannot think of a time I was this freaked out about one of our stories.
The only time I can think is I remember when in Pen Pal, the river, like the boat section, was pretty crazy. But this is very unnerving. Very, very good.
The ending of Pen Pal, I think, got me that bad. When the
emotionally emotionally, yes, but just that part where it was dark and there was somebody walking on the outskirts of the river, like watching them floating down the river, whatever. That was crazy, and there's like the old woman. But this one, I gotta say, so far, this is by far the scariest story we've read. It's gotta be.
I saw like the author and stuff like that saying he didn't like this way the story turned out. And that the book was better and
Here's the
stuff
thing.
like
I'm
that.
curious. Right? I'm curious to see how does the ending turn. I mean, it's all all this shit always boils down to how's the ending. You know?
Well, I mean, even if the ending sucks or whatever, like what we've gotten so far,
So good.
is so viscerally terrifying. I don't think an ending can take away from it. You know, like even if something turned out to be done, the idea of like you said, the movements and the beckoning.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, just the perfectly. So far, I mean, we'll get more into it at the ending. I don't want to bog it down. I'm so fucking stoked on part 6 of 10. We're already over halfway.
Okay, my wife's gonna be home in exactly 1 hour. I'm telling myself that now so that I don't have a heart attack. I cannot tell you how much y'all have supported this podcast over the past few days. Faye feels so good knowing that people are constantly asking about her health, and I feel like a few of your suggestions have literally saved her life. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't even know where to begin. So much has happened in the last 2.5 days. The sedatives and anti-anxiety meds the doctor gave to Faye worked during the day, and she's been less stressed. However, at night, her behavior is still highly unusual. Taking the overwhelming consensus of predators seriously. I went out and purchased a bunch of childproofing materials for the house to prevent Faye from harming herself or going outside while sleepwalking. I could not afford a bunch of cameras. Sorry, I'm a teacher. I bought these knob covers that little kids, and hopefully sleepwalkers, too stupid to figure out. Outlet covers in case she tries to jam anything into them, and I hid the kitchen knives. I also brought in Spiritual Healer after very carefully searching for one. In my opinion, that 99% of them are frauds and hucksters. This woman did not charge us anything, and she was recommended by close family. She's the daughter of a Shushone tribal leader. I think my dog just barked. The long and short of it is, she believes our house is not haunted. However, she says that Faye feels very off. She said she couldn't get a good read on her at all, and that there is, quote, a dark cloud over her. I'm still suspicious of this woman. I took her to a random upstairs window and told her that I had seen something outside near the edge of the woods. Which is true, but I pointed out the wrong window. She quietly examined the other windows upstairs and said that our bedroom window, the correct one, gave her a terrible feeling. She said he watches from here. She can hear him whispering at night. We told her everything. She was horrified by our story. The look on her face unsettled me so much, it was like she'd never heard of anything this bad. She went out of the room and had to collect herself downstairs. The woman prayed for several minutes, sang a beautiful song in a language I can't even begin to describe, and saged our entire house. She put some kind of crushed herbs on the ground in front of the 2 doors that led into our home, and she told me in private.
You are dealing with the Hollow Ones.
She said its name, her ancestral language, but I can't even come close to remembering or spelling it. She said that one is infatuated with Faye, will do absolutely anything to get inside our house. The process takes time. I don't know if I should buy any of this, but at least she didn't sell it to me.
I would immediately believe it.
I would immediately be like, yep, hollowed one, sure, sounds great. I've heard that word before. That sounds like, yep, I agree, lady. Whatever you said, I'm buying. You know what this kind of reminds me of? It's funny, you mentioned the whaling earlier. But remember how in the whaling, the whole thing was, it was that, it was the kind of where they thought was just like a Japanese guy that was away from everyone.
The Chinese dude. Was he Chinese?
I thought, isn't the movie set in Korea?
Yeah.
I thought they thought he was just a Japanese guy.
Oh, you're probably right.
And then, because they're like, oh, he has a bunch of like cultural religious beliefs and stuff, and that's what they blame it on. And then at the end, it turns out he's a demon.
Yeah, he's the devil, pretty much. Or he says he's the devil, but a lot of demons say that.
Yeah,
this is also giving me a lot of hints of the first Paranormal Activity movie of like, woman has weird thing happen to her when she's a child. Even the demonologist comes over and they're like, hey, seriously, don't fuck with it. Comes back, he's like, hey, I can't even be in here. This thing is pissed. It really wants to, you know what I mean? Yeah. It is giving some of the stages of that too. It's really fun. The introduction of people outside of the house is just really, really fun.
That reminds me of Hereditary.
Yeah, almost like cult member kind of thing.
Yeah. Only I think it's one person, and their amount of power is man, this is good. Gosh.
One undescribed person. Like they're always too far away to really know what they look like.
Yeah. We also had Faye take a pregnancy test, as recommended by many Redditors. The woman said it was a good idea. Good news, not pregnant. And the woman stood in the bathroom with her like a prison guard, so she couldn't mess with the test. We then thanked the woman and she left. That night, we attached a little jingle bell on Faye's Christmas themed lingerie. I'm sorry, I'd pass. I think.
The what?
The little jingle bell lingerie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. That sounds horrible. I'm not interested. We attached the jingle bell to a hair scrunchie and put it around her ankle. I'm such a light sleeper, there's no way she'll be able to get out of bed without waking.
I don't like that. Definitely gonna get a lot of fucking weird jingles here.
It's like you don't hear anything and then it's really quick or something.
Well, yeah, or just exactly, you're sitting there and it's just, you know, and you like are following it around like.
I'm always terrified of the idea of something running at you, especially from another room.
Oh, right? Dude, well, yeah, especially in the dark.
Yeah. So imagine you're just like laying in the bed and you just hear like the tiptoeing getting really quick. Yeah. Tiptoeing quickly freaks me out. Just like everything the story is going on is like instantly to make me afraid. I hate it. Faye fell asleep really fast from the meds. I'll look alight in a few minutes. I lay in bed thinking about the 5 she wrote on the window in her sleep a few nights earlier, and the reason that it meant 5 a.m. and not 5 days, as some Redditors had speculated. This makes sense because she's been getting up at that time to sleepwalk every night for 4 nights now. I just got scared to death by my reflection in the OBS studio. So 5 nights now. Since the 5 was written backwards facing the backyard, I reasoned that it was a signal to whoever or whatever was was out there. She's going to try to let him inside. I eventually fell asleep, and I had a horrifying dream. Something came into the house through the sliding glass door to the yard, walked up the stairs into our bedroom, sat at the edge of our bed, rubbing face foot, staring at us. It was completely wreathed in shadow. I couldn't see it at all except for a silhouette, just like the video I posted about what I saw a few nights earlier. Woke up soaked in sweat, couldn't fall back asleep for a while. I want to see that video.
Yeah, I know. I clicked again. It led to something else, but now
Hold on,
still
let me see if there's a what's the name? Stolen Tongues, right?
Stolen Tongues or my romantic getaway.
Yeah, whatever. Man, I hate that that's gone. Oh, well, maybe there was ever something there, but I imagine there was.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I'm like, oh, I wonder if he posted that to where people were like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah. I'm gonna hope. I hope so, so that I'm not missing out. 5 a.m. And I was looking Jingle Bell right up. In her sleep, made it something she's never done before. Hunter, she stood up on the bed, rigid as a board, and stared out the window. I shouldn't really say stared because her eyes were closed, but she was alert, watching, listening. She remained there like a statue for at least 5 minutes. Also didn't move, just watched. Then she slowly raised her hand and started waving at something outside.
Oh God. Oh.
What's up?
My skin crawled when she did that. She definitely knew someone was there, even with her eyes shut.
Yeah.
Faye then, Hunter. Faye then
All right.
stepped off the bed and darted to the bedroom door, trying to get out into the hallway, but the childproof dog kind of stopped her. She couldn't figure it out in her sleep. She did another thing she's never done while sleepwalking. She got, dude, I'm gonna freak out. I don't like this. She did another thing she's never done while sleepwalking. She got extremely angry and started pulling on the cover. She shrieked and growled like a trapped animal. After about 30 seconds of this, she woke herself up. She started crying really hard and within her nightmares. She had seen a man without a face walking through the halls of our home, whispering her name and looking for her. I sat up and talked with her for an hour, and then we went back to sleep. Dude. Hunter. Buddy. Dude, this is, I think this is the scariest thing we've read on the show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, I've been in chills this whole time, and just like, I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, something about anger. You know, it shows you something trying to scare you, or something, you know, someone being afraid or whatever, but anger is such a scary emotion to face from like an indiscernible monster like this, right?
Yeah,
like something you don't understand.
Irrational hate, basically.
Yeah, and something, not only that, but something that's so strong that it could theoretically do whatever it wants, or it's so powerful, right? Like anger from that would be terrifying. The idea it like can't get out, so it's ripping stuff up. And she saw a man without a face looking for her. Like she couldn't come out to the hallway to be possessed by him, so it's like,
yeah, it seemed like it was right on the hallway. The childproof doorknobs saved it. Crazy.
Oh my gosh, dude, okay. When I woke up again, it was around 10 a.m. And Faye was gone. The bedroom window was open. As I walked downstairs, I saw her in the backyard reading. Every single window in the entire house was open. Dude, it was like 55 degrees outside. She told me the smell of the sage made her nauseous. Ah, that's the demon. That's the demon. That's the demon. Made her nauseous, and she wanted to get it out of the house. I couldn't smell anything. I suggest that we go to the church downtown today to speak with the priest. She's Catholic, but she refused. So I had my buddy Kay, who is a very, very devout Catholic, come over with some holy water and his crucifix. Apparently, Kay told his priest what was going on, and the guy very reluctantly blessed the water and told us to call him. Faye was irritated that I'd done this without her permission and waited outside while Kay said, "Dude, if my wife was doing this," and then she was like, "I'm just mad that you got holy water, bro. I am tying her in duct tape and dropping her off at a nunnery." Okay.
You know what's fun about all this, dude? I'm already across the country. I've already talked to the accountant. The house is, like I said, I've got that written off.
What wife?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gone. All right, I've been gone. See, people are gonna judge me earlier on the story for being a bad person. Then they're gonna read this shit and be like, "Oh, boy, there's no way in hell." I'm not gonna get to that spot.
I was like, "What do you mean? Oh, she did it like the priest? That's weird. I was gone 3 weeks ago."
Yeah, my ass is in Maui right now. My fat ass. I'm drinking a pina colada. Couldn't be more straight. I've had the best sleep of my life.
I'm leaving her. She's still on the mountain up there. She's dead, but whatever. We live and let live.
I mean, like, yeah, especially because he established pretty on that she was a pretty stern Catholic. So being upset by crucifixes in the house is just such a red flag, dude.
She's full of the devil. She waited outside while Case up a few little crosses and his big crucifix around the house. Faye refused to have any holy water put on her. She kept saying, "I'm freezing, don't you dare." She's gonna be super mad when she finds out I put that shit in her shampoo and conditioner bottles. That's the first smart thing he's done. I mean,
Like what?
He's doing the smart thing. He's done horror movie logic good this entire time, to be fair.
Yeah, aside from removing himself from the situation, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
he's dumb because he's not Maui with a pina colada, but still.
Right. For horror movies, he's playing it well of like getting the priest involved and stuff.
He hasn't done a lot of stupid things. Like you said earlier, it's like, I'm not going to follow that thing out in the woods. Or like he's very, very level-headed.
She was in a really nasty mood all morning, but after we went out for lunch, she was feeling better and agreed to film the interview video and answer questions from Redditors. While filming, I noticed that she wasn't wearing her engagement ring and realized she hadn't been wearing it in several days. Asked her where it was, and she said it was in our luggage, which we've now only partially unpacked. Later when I checked, it wasn't there. I'm worried about this for a few reasons. I'll post a video as soon as she watches and approves it. She's self-conscious. Shut up. Post it. Expect it within a few days. I've finally begun moving some more of the photos from the cabin onto my laptop too. I cannot bring myself to listen to these voice recordings yet. Since this is getting overlong, flash forward to last night. I got up about 1 a.m. to pee, and I knocked the bell scrunchie off the bed. Egg had taken it off and was gone. I got angry and scared at the same time. I found, bro, yeah, your wife's just in the hallway doing the tiptoe, like, rigor mortis dance. Yeah, so normal. I found her sitting on the stairs, looking down into the dark, spreading her arms open like she was... spreading her arms open like she was trying to get a child to climb the staircase for the first time. She was smiling with her eyes closed. As I usually do, I gently got her up and walked her back to bed. When I laid down next to her, she leaned over and with her eyes still closed, said, "They're gonna kill you." And then licked my face.
Maui pina coladas.
Wasted away.
But our, my wife, I love her, right? My ass on a plane, I'm like, take me down to Kokomo, but not too fast, cause then we'll take it slow. Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I want. Come on, pretty mama.
Like the priest is in your house. There's blood everywhere. The police are holding him off. They're like, "What happened to the husband?" And you're just on a plane. Like,
Aruba, Jamaica.
Some people,
Ooh, I want to take you to.
Some people.
Yes, it better way at Margaritaville. Or meet up at tall edge or make it
a hurricane for I go insane. It's only 12:30. The idea of ditching, like, biblical levels of running away, like Jonah levels of like trying.
Yeah, I'm seriously going to. Anytime I watch any of these like movies now, horror movies, I'm just gonna think about a person listening to fucking the Beach Boys, whatever.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older?
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older?
But they're gonna kill you because it's not alive anymore. Something possessing her, right?
Yeah. No,
so the thing inside of her says they're going to kill you and then licks your face, bro.
Kokomo. That's the only thing I can say. Kokomo.
I called her parents today to arrange a flight back to Colorado. They're paying for it. Her mom, Laura, admitted to me that something had happened to Faye as a child at the cabin. What
a fucking bitch. Honestly,
I would be like, you know what? You're going in the same house with her. I called you over this in confidence, and you lied to me.
God, dude,
you knew something was happening, and you lied to me. You kept this from me. This is my life and your daughter's life.
Sorry, I have to admit something, but something did happen to Faye as a child.
Why didn't you tell us?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I literally called
Jamaica.
you at...
Ooh, I want to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama. Yeah, she's like, well, I've left him several voicemails, but he won't call me back. Take me down to Kokomo, but not too fast because my wife's possessed.
It's like an edit of a horror movie where it's like all scenes with the mom like, I've never told you. And
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
you're just like TV static shakes to like, but yeah, what a loser.
Oh,
I
wait,
hate her.
read the next line.
That is where her sleep disturbances started when she was 5.
Interesting again.
Well, I figured that when he was like, once we figured out that she had been at the cabin prior, in my head, I'm like, okay, that's probably why she has sleep problems.
Oh, sure, but I'm saying even the thing of like when she was 5 is pretty interesting.
Oh, I didn't even put that together. 5, yeah. The natural number for all this. I've had enough, and they can tell. I mean, yeah, duh. Man, imagine calling me like, something's happening, I don't know what happened. She's like, she was there in high school. Like, shut up. What? Are you with the demon? Is that why you're hiding it?
It would be a fucking rock'em sock'em boppers.
I'm beating her mom,
I'd
absolutely.
fucking beat the shit out of that crazy old bird. Are you kidding me? Holy hell.
I spoke with the ranger at Pikes Peak again, and he's arranging for me to meet with him and his buddies from their tribe, who knows the entire history of the area and all the hauntings that other visitors have reported. Faye will be staying with my 2 best friends, RJ and Jay's fiance. Hey,
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
about putting them on 3 people, that seems like a bad idea.
Well, just I have an immediate feeling like it's gonna be, I'm there, I get a call, hey, she's gone. Because that's the thing too with these things, like not to derail their story too much, but people I don't think fully appreciate the severity of things. You know what I mean? So they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll watch her, but they're not really going to watch her like especially our protagonist has this whole time. You know, I don't know, and especially we've seen her get angry, and now she's saying like, I'm gonna kill you. If somebody threatened me like that, I would not put that person on other strangers where they could potentially be hurt too.
Yeah, it would not be the same thing, especially when people don't know what's going on. I'm gonna
There you
open
go.
the office door.
Hey, Pops.
It's where the clouds are moving by the sun, but there was a shadow cast back and forth under the door, and I'm about to fly out of my chair.
I'm gonna open that door, Isaiah.
Hunter, it's a door. It's not gonna help me.
Isaiah, yeah, it is a door, but it's at least it's one last layer of defense. Steps in the hallway, they're gonna be coming towards you. Now you might have a door that has to open, so you can be alerted.
Can we not talk about footsteps in the hallway? And instead, look, I know it's a shadow from the sun, but I'm just open the door, I'll be fine. I feel better about it. Okay.
I'm just saying, fast footsteps just running down a hallway or something.
Whatever. Okay. My wife is gonna be here in 40 minutes, and she's gonna open the door, and I'm gonna die. Okay.
That's true.
Heart attack.
That is true.
It's gonna send me to heaven. Okay. Okay. RJ, I've known all three of them since high school, and they're completely informed about the event, so we'll guard her with their lives. I don't believe that. In short, I'm going back to the cabin for life. But well, with the Rangers, right?
Yeah, I think you just need to not with Faye.
Without her, yeah. I'll update soon, but no matter what happens, I am not going to drag this out any further on No Sleep. I've polluted this place enough with my problems. Well, we know that's a lie, because there's 4 more parts of the story. Edit. Folks, I won't be at the cabin alone. I'm meeting the Ranger and his friends there. His 2 friends are from his tribe, or nation, sorry, I don't know the correct terminology, and they're healers. They know all about Pikes Peak and the ongoing situation. I'm not going out easy. Update. Drop Faye off at my friend's place. I'll take care of her. Heading to the airport now. No idea when I'll get back. We'll try tonight if I'm not too tired after landing. Update. Oh no. Update from May the 26th, or April 26th at midnight, Colorado. I'm at Faye's parents, exhausted. Talked to her parents extensively. Got word from my friends. Faye started feeling really ill, wanted to go home. They've moved the whole posse over to our house, which has been saged, blessed, protected, covered in holy water and crucifixes. And she is allegedly doing much better now. Richard and Jason's fiance Allison are all sleeping over for 2 nights before Faye is all right. Heading to the cabin tomorrow morning to meet the Ranger. No, absolutely not. She's like, oh, I want to be back at my house. She's like, I'm actually much better now that I'm where the evil demon thing knows I live. Yeah, whatever. I wonder if we went back and looked at some of those conversations, if they make sense now. We don't need to worry about that right now. Another mistake from 9:45 p.m. Even 1 hour to go to the cabin. Sorry for the typo. So this is 27 by accident. Another update from 5:15 p.m. Spotted bullshit Wi-Fi. Snowing like crazy up here. Met with the Ranger, investigated the cabin. Nothing unusual inside except a lampshade removed from a lamp, which he claims was not like that when we came in here a few days ago. His friends will be here tomorrow morning. I'm alone for tonight. Why would you be alone for tonight? Why would you be alone for tonight? Are you stupid? Are you a stupid idiot? Are you a stupid dumb idiot, man? Why on God's earth? You were with someone, and you're like, I'll stay alone in the cabin that started all of this. I hope you die. I hope you get killed by... Why on God's earth would you be alone? Okay. I went outside for just a minute when it was still light to grab some things from the truck and heard 2 voices. Making short videos with my phone, we'll try to upload. And then an update from the next day at 9:12 p.m. So much has gone down. I am so terrified and sleep deprived. I'm writing a huge post right now with everything that's happened. I will post it tomorrow morning because I know I can't finish it tonight. I'm gonna fall asleep in my chair. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh man, end of part 6, going into part 7 now. 7 out of 10. We're getting here.
I hate it.
I still don't think it's totally unreasonable. I mean, I think that, especially, he did clarify as well that nothing was different besides the lampshade being off. That being said, I'm not saying that I advocate for it, but I think that it's just, I don't know. I mean, he could have been like, hey, can I stay at the park with the Ranger's house? But who
Can I stay in the floor of a 24-hour Walmart? Literally anywhere else other than the cabin that caused all of this?
That's true.
No, can I leave my car in your driveway? Yeah. Can I just, is there a 24-hour Taco Bell? I'll just sleep in a booth. Sure, great.
I would gladly go to sleep in a 24-hour Taco Bell.
Anything other than that. Oh my gosh. You're right. The devil in her. Act like it. All right. We're part 7 now, right?
Yeah.
All right. It has been an interesting few days. I have so much to say, so I'm going to try to be terse. Sorry that's taken so long to report. I really am trying. All of your questions and analysis of these events have really helped us through the struggle, and some of your observations are what brought me back to Colorado. I landed in Denver International Airport 2 nights ago and stayed with Faye's parents in Arvada. While there, we all sat down, and I basically forced them to tell me what was going on. Redditor pointed out that Laura, Faye's mom, appeared to be lying or hiding something. Another Redditor asked me if Faye had ever been to the cabin before, since her family owned it for almost 3 decades. I never even thought of this. When I asked Faye, she said no, and that her parents just used it as a getaway a few times a year. Faye's mom told me she'd been there multiple times when she was little. This time, Faye's parents told a different story. They claimed this was the truth. Faye had been to the cabin as a toddler a few times, and when she was 5, something happened to her. While Greg, Faye's dad, and Faye were outside playing in the snow, Faye wandered off towards the edge of the forest again. She was following a voice. Other than snowman and keeping his eye on her, there are only a few dozen words upon her. Allegedly, Greg heard Faye talking, answering questions, but he couldn't hear anyone else talking. He started walking towards her to bring her back, and he heard her say,
Faye. No, it's Faye. I can't see you.
A moment later, little Faye began shrieking and crying. She went stiff as a board. Greg had to pick her up and haul her back inside. She was almost catatonic and go through bouts of total silence or inconsolable hysterics for several hours until Greg and Laura decided to go back down the mountain and take her to a hospital. Greg claims he never saw anyone in the woods and never heard any voices speaking to Faye. Doctor thought she had an epileptic seizure, and to this day, Faye does not remember ever going to the cabin. When I took her, she acted like she'd never seen it before. Okay, Laura is part skinwalker.
So you think that she's just been possessed this whole time?
Well, no, I'm being a little obtuse because Laura's, Faye's mom. I'm saying that Laura is the dumbest person. Like, you saw such a strange experience like that led to your daughter's sleep condition she's had her entire life. You somehow think it's fine for her to go back years later. When they ask if anything's wrong with the house, you say no. When they get back, they say, yeah, we had extreme sleepwalking. There were things in the woods. The same thing that happened to your daughter years prior. And you're like, yeah, the previous owner said something about that. Oh, I don't know. That's weird. Then they go home. Your son-in-law calls you hysterical because your daughter, his wife, is going through something. And you're like, yeah, she visited a few times as a kid. Or in high school and stuff. Yeah, she's a horrible person. Absolutely.
Unless she's still holding on to shit that maybe hasn't been
Even then, she's risking this.
She's gonna be terrible no matter what, but I'm just wondering if she has ulterior motives or something.
Do you think that what was happening there when she started crying as a kid is she says, "Oh, I can't see you," and then maybe it steps behind a tree or something? You know, it reveals itself to her, and that's why she starts screaming.
I think so. I'm sorry, I'm thinking. I'm like, I mean, possibly. I don't see why else she would scream. You know what I mean? Unless she just saw something horrible. It's like I can't see you. It's like childlike wonder, and then when the child actually sees it, then it's like fucked up.
Yeah, that's why I think.
Yeah, I mean, probably right. Do you think the child that all has been echoes the child she heard before was Faye as a kid?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
That's an interesting idea.
Actually, I should ask him.
It's all Faye's voice all the way back then. I believe it. Yeah, I believe that if Faye did remember being traumatized as a child, she never want to go back. So I really think she's blocked out the whole experience. When we visited a week ago, I thought it was her first time going. And Laura and Greg said,
Okay. Cool. What is this?
watching him sleep. You know, we'll let our kids go there. I hate them. In the morning, Greg let me borrow his truck, but refused to go to the cabin with me. I hate both of them. He told me when I left, we let you kids go up there because we honestly wanted to believe there's nothing actually wrong with the place. And we decided to test you all out.
What a fucking weird guinea pig kind of experiment is that, Greg? You fucking moron.
We wanted to believe, so we sent you all there. Now our daughter's possessed. You can take my truck, but I'm not going.
Unfortunately, we were proven wrong, I guess. But you kids have fun. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, what a loser. And then he's like, "Oh, my daughter's being possessed. Well, I'm not gonna go try to fix it. You have fun with that." They used us to validate their denial, but I don't hold them responsible. You should shut up. Oh my gosh, you absolutely should. I never have believed any of it if I were them. And a frightened child do not have haunting make. What? Oh, this one location that you knew from previous buyers was like nightmares all the time. Your daughter talked to someone in the woods and freaked out. You can't go back because of it. Like, just sure, we'll send it back out there and then lie to them, repeat it. I hate these parents. Oh my gosh. I arrived, but you know what? They're not as evil. They are as frustrating to me as the Hall of Famers. Yeah. So at all times, like a Blue Jay. That's why I feel towards them right now. They feel like Blue Jay. I arrived at Pikes Peak around 1 p.m. yesterday, and the ranger met me at the cabin. We investigated the place and didn't find anything unusual, except that a single lampshade had been removed from one of the lamps placed on the couch. We checked out the nearby woods. I was kind of surprised to discover that creepy stream catcher was still there. He told me to not recognize it, and it was not something that these people made. I don't know. I went to mess with it until his friend showed up. He told me he returned with them in the morning and left. Why leave there? Why did he left there?
I don't know.
That night, Greg told me that he'd hidden a .357 Magnum in the closet, so I retrieved it, and a really dope-ass purple bathrobe. This has been me many a time, like bathrobe and a gun walking through a house, and I'm very scared. It's all a little bit. Don't worry, I know how to shoot and how to be safe. Right around sunset, I walked out to Greg's truck to grab some things I neglected to bring in earlier, and I heard two distinct voices chattering in the woods. It was snowing like crazy, and why would you risk being snowed?
Where am I going?
Okay, take back. He was horror movie smart up until this move. Up until staying at the house by himself. It was snowing like crazy, and the wind was howling, but above the storm, I heard a gruff, masculine voice and a younger, adolescent male voice. They were both yammering incomprehensible gibberish from two different places. I hurried back inside and locked the door. Drive away. The stuff they were saying was pure madness. It made no sense.
Up there in the trees! Take! Walk on down there! Go ahead!
I just sit there imagining psychotic cannibals jabbering with their tongues hanging out and eyes rolled back in their skulls. Figured I'd come out of the woods as soon as it was dark.
Sorry to interrupt you. Some of the stuff that they're saying too, I'm also trying to keep remembering that it's people from the mines.
Where am I going?
Also some of the voices from some of the mine workers from maybe back in the day.
Yeah, I think again this is the last voice we've ever told by him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. It just scared me to death. Because I'm reading and you're like, wait,
Hold on, sorry.
what's that? Yeah. Behind you. I tried to reach out to Faye back home, but my phone wouldn't get any reception in the cabin. The storm was too strong. Why would you go back up in a storm? I tried to play video games on the SNES, but I was so distracted by all the sounds outside. Every single noise the blizzard produced caught my ear, so my imagination manifested all kinds of horrifying creatures slinking around out there in the dark. When I finally went to bed, the wind died down a bit. Why would you go to sleep? When I finally went to bed, the wind died down a bit, and I heard a few more voices. There was a distant, high-pitched wail that echoed across the entire mountain. There was a child crying, saying something like,
It's so deep, you can crawl forever.
I bet that's talking about but his voice sort of glitched. It would suddenly become deeper, as though a grown man were doing an impression of a little kid. Ooh, I like that. I also heard someone hacking and vomiting and crying, begging for help. Didn't fall for any of it. That's an interesting one. What?
That's a good man. He just said I didn't fall for any of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's also at the cabin, so he fell for something, right?
I think he has to find some kind of source for something. So I don't entirely blame him for being there. I mean,
I a million percent blame him for sleeping by himself alone in the cabin.
I guess that's true. I guess
Without
it's
hesitation.
yeah. I don't know.
I like the idea of it's like a guy trying to sound like a child. It reminds me of do you remember when we read I'm Search and Rescue Officer? Yeah, it was that one that's like at first she thought it was a cat, but then it sounded like a man sounding like a cat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man, impersonating a cat. Yeah, which is just so much creepier. Yeah, it's so fucking weird, man.
I'm 28 years old, and this is the most afraid I've ever been in my entire life. Even with Faye, I feel like there's a lot of instances of that here, but even with Faye walking around like a fleshy marionette and calling out to a presence in the dark of my own home. Boy, this is the most scared I've ever been, even with my wife being the demonic flesh puppet around the house at night. Around the time I was getting into bed, approximately 12:45 a.m., there was a gentle tapping sound on the window in the living room. It was soft, like a neighbor who was reluctant to bother me. I stood there in the bedroom with the door open, holding my breath, trying to figure out if I'd imagined it. And I heard it again. So I crept down the short hall and peeked around the corner, just in time to see a figure walking past the windows and towards the front door. The curtain strong, I couldn't make out anything but a big shadow. Then, he knocked on the door. It was a gentle knock. A man's voice called out softly. I just listened intently and tried to keep silent. Eventually, he knocked again and said,
After 6 hours.
he was speaking through clenched teeth. He was either extremely cold or extremely angry. Gosh, that gives me chills. The extreme.
Oh, I should probably do that.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that runs through me. I very carefully stepped back into the bedroom to grab the gun. But the damn place is so old, doors creaked. I only tapped the bedroom door as I passed, and it squealed like a dying pig. Then the man outside said, just
Okay.
I know you're there.
For just a moment, in my lethargy, I considered the possibility that this was one of the ranger's friends, or maybe somebody else who lived on the mountain. I was never going to open the door, but stupidly, I figured talking to it could hurt.
No, wrong one.
I say it because I immediately stopped believing there was a human being on the other side of the door. The moment I opened my mouth, I said,
Who the fuck is it?
as assertively as I could. The second I stopped talking, whoever it was out there repeated my question while mimicking my voice accurately. You stupid idiot! You gave it your voice. It almost sounded like an echo. And then he said,
May I come in, please?
his voice was a little shaky, but it definitely sounded like me. Unnervingly similar to me. But he was still clenching his teeth, so I could hear the difference. Gosh, he's like, his eyes are huge, bulging, furious on the other side of the door. I pointed the gun at the door. It was dark in the house, so he couldn't see what I was doing through the curtain, and said,
If you don't get the fuck out of here right now, I'll blow you in half.
for those of you who don't know what FUD lore. For those of you who don't know what 57 can do to a person, a slice of the chest essentially makes you into a human milkshake. Cringe. Cringe boomer gun talk. This pistol has stopping power. It can penetrate through steel. 357 will rip you in half. It's what they use for bear. Okay, sorry. We both just stood there for a dreadfully long minute. Sorry, I thought I heard something. I'm actually losing my mind. It started testing out my voice, groaning, whispering, muttering. It said a lot of things, but I only remember a few of them.
What's your name? What's your name? A little cabin for the weekend. For the weekend. They're lying. They're lying. The ones out there. La, 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 la. You aren't alone in there. And I'm not alone out here.
All right.
What's your name?
Oh my
I gotta.
gosh.
That's where you go. I'll find you. Either way.
Oh my gosh. Dude, you're not alone in there, and I'm not alone out here.
La, 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 la. Like he's just like all these like mouth sounds, mouth feel.
Like he's figuring out how it works, how his voice works. You're not alone in there, and I'm not alone out here. You go up in the trees or down in the hole. That's where you go. Dude, this has successfully kept me on edge for this long. I'm actually like blown away by how well the horror is working right now. I'm thrilled. The sound of my own voice making these horrific noises and phrases set every inch of my skin on fire. I can hardly describe the physical sensation of fright this intense. It was almost like having a bad fever, hot and cold and wet and sticky all at the same time. I shouted for it to leave and said I was armed. I considered firing off a round, but that's a decision you can't take back. And my number one rule is to only fire when I'm certain I've got a target and a clear reason. I think you have both of those right now. I'm proud to say that I can use my voice a lot better than whatever it was that mimicked me. I'm a soft-spoken guy, but I came down like a hurricane, screaming.
I will fucking kill you!
He replied simply, in a softer tone of my own voice. Then it went back to babbling gibberish, knocking politely on the door over and over and over. After another minute or two, suddenly stopped. The last thing he said was,
There she is.
Then he kicked the door. I mean, harder than any human could possibly kick a door, and ran off. The boom was so loud I couldn't believe the door didn't implode in its frame. The person or thing bounded down the wooden patio and off into the snow. I swear on my life and honor, it sounded like a horse or some other huge four-legged animal charging off into the woods. The child's laughter rang out, and then everything was silent. Okay, for one, bravo, dude. Are you there right now?
I'm hooked.
Do not do this to me. Do not
no,
go
I'm
silent
hooked.
on me.
I'm just processing stuff, and I'm like just eager to read the story. I'm like,
I am too. I will say the guy kind of pissed me off a bit where he's like, he's trying to make himself sound tough with like, I'm a soft-spoken guy, but I came down like a hurricane. It's like, you're talking to the devil.
Yeah, I mean, there's like,
I promise you.
there's some kind of like cringy Marvel quippy stuff or whatever going on here, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, I look over. Now, the idea of it running away from the door on all fours like a horse, that's terrifying. Like, as soon as it's like, I know where she is, and it like immediately turns back into like its beast form to run off, you know?
Yeah. Or I even just picture the guy getting on his hands and like the door.
Well, here's what it looked like in my mind. So he looks like maybe he's not a perfect copy, but he looks looks humanoid, right? And when he goes, I know where he is. Rather than falling forward on his front, he whips over backwards on all fours, like a spider walk, and starts galloping that way. So as he's galloping, it kicks the door. You know?
It would make sense too if his limbs bent that way, like a horse or like
After
something like that.
Yeah, like he doesn't need to keep the illusion up anymore, so he just like throws himself back. Yeah. Needless to say, I remained in a cat-like state of delirious paranoia for the rest of the night. The storm picked back up, and I did not hear anything else. I spent the whole night debating whether the thing at the door was talking about Faye. I tried to convince myself that it was just yammering more nonsense like all the voices I've heard up here, but the way it spoke that sentence haunts me even now as I write this. It's my voice. My voice. It's purposeful and restrained. Yeah, sorry, its voice, my voice, was purposeful and restrained. It chose the words carefully and knew exactly what to say. Oh, I bet I know what it's doing. It's gonna go back and find her and use his voice to lure her out.
I mean, yeah, it seems like that, or even the friends being like, "Hey, I'm out here. Let me in.
Let me in. Let me in. Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about what Redditors have been saying about Faye being some kind of doppelganger. When I first saw the nude woman in my car, I thought it was a trick to lure me into the woods. Where the voice is like, oh, did it say she was nude earlier?
I don't remember that, but maybe she was. Oh, I think, yeah, because he's like, it was so cold out. I think that he was like, oh, it looked like she was naked or whatever.
I thought the real Faye stopped me from leaving the cabin. Many of you have pointed out that the reverse could be entirely possible. Given how the Faye I took home to California is behaving, given how she's failed all my tests, given how her engagement ring has been missing since we got home. So I sit there for hours, considering whether I should go out into the woods during broad daylight to search for my fiance. No. Of course it's a stupid idea. Now I understand why people in horror movies do idiotic things. If I'm not looking for her or for answers, why am I here? You wait on a group of people who know what's going on. I need to know what I saw that day in the driveway. I need to know if there are many voices or just one, and I need to know how to get all this back to normal.
So I think because we're coming up on the ending of this, I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen on the tomorrow part of this is when the ranger and his friends come.
They better. I listen to music on my iPod and desperately try to distract myself by reading news articles online until they break. Most of them wouldn't load because the gods of the internet have cursed this cabin. I'm gonna kill this guy. I think I've hit my limit with him. Around 4 a.m., I got up to get some food from the kitchen, and I opened the window curtain a tiny bit to see if anything was going on outside. A ton of snow had fallen. I rode in the forest, dozens of yards out, see a distant figure standing perfectly still in the moonlight. He was facing away, staring off into the darkness of the woods. I checked on him every 20 minutes since then. He never moved. When the sun rose around 6:15 a.m., he was gone. I never saw his face. Alright, so hold on. Remember how that whole scene where she was being puppeted by the guy outside?
Sure.
Remember back when they were at the cabin previously, he looked out and saw someone staring up at the moon, and then he looks over and his wife is sitting up in bed?
Mm-hmm.
And then she was being puppeted all the way back then, and then she saw the guy sprinting, or he saw what he thought was the mimic sprinting into the woods in the form of his wife or whatever.
Right.
Is something trying to assume position of him now? Trying to assume, like...
I mean, that's what I'm assuming. I feel like there's more than one. But there's got to be more than one, is what I'm under the impression. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
They've never once referred to it as it. Well, he referred to it as it, but every time we hear quotes of like people who are killed, it's like they're in the trees, they're in the hole, stuff like that, yeah. Today, the ranger and his two buddies came to the cabin as promised. They were instantly likable and warm. One of them, T-Way, is a medicine man in his 60s and was especially cool. The other was his son Nathan, who was probably just a few years older than him. They told me all kinds of interesting stories about Pikes Peak and surrounding areas, and then proceeded to tell me a disturbing story that they believe explains some strange activity on the mountain. For the sake of brevity, I will relay this in my next post. Let's go. The ranger gave me one of his facility satellite phones to stay in contact with him in case of emergencies. He was to call Faye, but she didn't answer. So I called Jason and Richard, who are presently caring for her. Apparently, Faye had become inexplicably outraged after taking a shower because of the holy water.
Yep.
Threw an enormous tantrum and locked herself in our bedroom. She refused to eat for the rest of the night. Allison and Jason slept in the guest room. Richard slept on the couch downstairs and worked late on his commissions. He's a digital artist. He told me that around 1 a.m., same time as I had my visitor, Faye ran downstairs into the kitchen, eyes closed, and started drinking out of the sink faucet. Then she turned around and stared, eyes still shut, Richard, like he said at the breakfast table. She said, Felix. To which he replied, he's in Colorado, remember? And then she said,
we said I'm there to die.
Then she sat down right there on the kitchen tiles and went back to sleep. What's the worst thing? I'm instructing my friends only to wake Faye if she does anything serious, so they observed my rules and got her back in bed without much of an issue. For all the crazy shit Faye does when she's asleep, at least she never gets violent. The guys put her back into bed easily. The next day, Allison bailed on the whole project. Good girl. Good on her. Good man. She said she was awake all night, listening to Faye whispering to me. Faye told Allison about how there was a man in the house, and he was asking about her. My flight home is the day after tomorrow, so I'm going to have to figure all this shit out real quick. I'm going to turn it. It's nice and bright outside. No voices. Good night. P.S. As soon as I get home, I will put up the Faye video. I know I keep saying this, but I really did not expect to suddenly return to Colorado. I swear I will put it up, and then that will be the end of it. I resent myself for turning this into such a long and ridiculous blog of my experience.
End of part 7. Let's just keep rolling right into 8, dude. I'm hyped. I'm so hyped.
All right, on to 8. T-Way is an incredible storyteller. He told me that Pikes Peak and the surrounding area was inhabited by the Ute, the Manitow, I'm going to mispronounce some of these, the Arpajo, Pueblo, and the Anasazi, and other Native American groups at various times. In the 1860s, when the gold rush was in full swing, many Indians were violently displaced because of mining operations there. They were torn away from their sacred lands, which was catastrophic to their cultures. T-Way stressed that, historically, Americans have not understood the significance of land and names to Native Americans, and this is critical to understanding the supernatural presence on the mountain. Christianity, Hinduism, Islam are, quote, universal. They can be practiced anywhere. You can pick up your whole life and move to Kentucky or Scotland or Istanbul, and you'll still be whatever religion you are. Your God still hears your prayers. He still intervenes in your life. But Native Americans practice land-based religions. The land they inhabit is a part of their creation stories. It's not that the land belongs to them, it's that they belong to the land, and both are in a symbiotic relationship with one another. History is embedded in the landscape. A person is reminded of specific lessons and wisdom when they see a part of the land. The mouth of this river has a story attached to it. That fallen tree has a story attached to it. A battle was won here. A chief died there. Peace was made between tribes with a feast here. When the group is forced out of its homeland, the people lose their history. What's worse, they leave behind the place where their dead are buried. Since the dead are bound to that place, the Indians who left no longer have spiritual connections to their ancestors and thus to their gods. Their medicines and magic no longer work. They forget the names of sacred places. The names of history and wisdom are forgotten. The tribe's spiritual power evaporates. Dude, I gotta say, that one line was so menacing to me. Your God still hears your prayers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That was like a ton of bricks. What a heavy phrase. Not to say that everything that's described for Native religion is accurate. I have a good friend who's Navajo who, despite traveling, still like holds to the religion, but he stresses like the importance of the land, the importance of returning back to the reservation. There's such a significance to it that you don't see in a lot of other religions. But man, that hit hard. Your God still hears your prayers. T-Way said that when Pikes Peak was taken, a group of disgruntled Utes descended. Is it Utes or Ute? I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not sure either. Honestly, I have no idea.
I think it's Ute, so I'm going to keep going. But apologies if I'm wrong. They descended on the miners and slaughtered a bunch of them. Because a complex network of alliances and peace treaties, these Utes were punished by another tribe. They dug holes in the ground and slit the Utes' throats. They then buried them upside down in the holes with their legs sticking out of the ground so that the wolves would feast on their calves. That was supposed to be the end.
After 6 hours.
Legend says that these dead Utes rose from the tainted ground one day. Because their flesh had been filleted from the hips down, they looked like walking skeletons. Oh, they hobbled into the Arapahoe camps and took women and children back up the mountain. They forced them deep into one of the mines, never to leave again. Howls of women and children have been reported on the mountain for over 100 years now. Gosh, it's so good. The Utes and Arapaho engaged in blood feuds, sometimes called mourning wars, for years over this. They exchanged curses, executed and skinned and tortured each other. They stained the one sacred earth on Pikes Peak with rivers of blood. I was pretty mortified by this story. I just kind of sat there with the ranger while T-Way and Nathan blessed the cabin. They burned sage and tobacco inside and outside and used crushed herb dust to cover their hands.
Oh, mess!
Through small fingers and hands to the top, front door, inside and outside. They bundled sage, cedar, hawthorn, told me to burn it if anyone tried to get inside.
Oh, masterpiece!
Then, they provided me small pouches full of herbs and rest objects to wear around my neck and in my pockets whenever I went outside. Nathan gave me a totem that he wears around his neck, told me to give it to Faye. Then they sang a really incredible chant in their language. Lasted about 15 minutes. I was blown away. I love these guys. Then we went outside. I showed them the dream catcher, and they told me they never seen anything like this. The dream catcher is made with 3 branches woven together with hair, and it has old yarn or wool strings, glass beads crisscrossing the center in a pattern. It is old and handmade. T-Way told me not to touch it or move it. If you find an object of power and do not know who made it or what it protects, you should leave it alone. I asked him if it could be evil, and he said maybe. I got them up to speed on everything that has happened. I said that a lot of my friends, Redditors, but I didn't explain that, suspected that the Fae...
I wouldn't either.
Suspected that the Fae at my house in California was a duplicate, and that the real Fae was somewhere in the woods. T-Way and Nathan disagreed with each other on whether that could be, but we searched the woods looking for signs of my Fae. We found nothing. I told them about the missing ring, and they said exactly what many Redditors have said. The Fae loved the ring, and it was powerfully symbolic to her. It could be used by a bad spirit to harm her. Told me to find it at all costs. They also told me that if Fae indeed were still here on the mountain, she was certainly dead. And the moment we've all been waiting for. T-Way named the creature that was tormenting us. He said his people call it Atong Anotakua. Atong Anotakua, also known as the Imposter. So I understand that saying the names of Native American spirits is, like bad karma. You're basically inviting them in and whatnot. But my name's Vinegar, so I've already, jumped the shark on that by long means. So I'll be the one to say it. I'm already dead anyway. Bad spirits inhabit the land everywhere, and sometimes they get the opportunity to use a tragedy like the Pikes Peak Massacre to commandeer a human figure and walk the earth, partly mortal. Interesting. In the case of the Imposter, they collect animal and human parts piecemeal wherever they can and stitch them together. Oh. This is why they walk strangely, vocalize strangely, and when they never show their faces or come out during the day, they cannot pass for humans.
That's awesome.
Oh, they make they make puppets out of stuff they find, piece it together. The reason they can't come out is because they don't pass. Oh, I asked T-Way why I always see someone facing away from me at the edge of the forest, and he said it's because it does not want me to know its identity. But eventually the imposter would come for me, wearing face, skin, and teeth and hair, and trying to convince me that it was her. When I asked him what he wanted, he said,
Nobody knows.
he also told me that there is power in names, many Redditors have stated, and that I should not speak its name, especially not to it, because that could provoke it. Of the voices I was hearing in the forest every night, T-Way said,
They practice what they hear for decades. Makes it easier for them to hunt.
yeah, just because they mimic stuff. Whew, boy. T-Way, Nathan, and the Ranger left at sunset. What? My sweet color child, come here. What do you mean they left at sunset?
I would be like, would you guys like to stay? Well, I guess they're probably like, we don't want to be here at sundown.
And you know what I would say? Me
Bullshit.
too. I'm coming with it. Where do you live? I'll sleep on the floor. I will clean your toilets. I will do whatever you need me to. Get me off this mountain. Get me wherever. Whatever you need me to do. I'm your guy. I will be your best friend. I will rub your feet. Just. And if they say no, get me that Taco Bell. I talked about
They're like,
earlier,
well, could
right?
you drop me off at the closest Arby's?
You just had an incredibly long detailed explanation of why you shouldn't be here at all. There's bad spirits. They're from the mind. Get away. Save your wife. And you're like, well, I guess I'll camp out here another night. I mean, they put. Hold up. Well, I guess I'll camp out here another night. I guess I'll maybe hope the dream catcher isn't demonic. Maybe I'll drop in this bath. I mean, I have a robe after all. I have a gun.
All stuff I just have to cut out for the podcast.
No, you're not cutting any of that out. You're leaving all that. You don't have this. You know how scared I am right now? I'm gonna call my wife and be like, do not open this door.
I would definitely send a text. It might give you a heart attack.
Can I? You wanna know something really funny? Caitlin just messaged me. It said, can you send me the 2-sentence horror story about the IKEA meatballs? I can't find it. Hold on. Where's Kayla? I'll just keep on. Hello, you're on the podcast right now. You're on Sleep. Okay. I'm just reading a story with Hunter right now, and I'm so scared I'm going to cry. So, can you please, when you get home, not open the office door? Okay, because I'm so scared that like I'm shaking and I have goosebumps, and I've talked about you opening the door for 2 hours. If you open it, I will probably pee my pants. Okay. So please, or text me and be like, I will open it now or something. I'm just so scared. Okay, just please text me before something happens. Okay, I love you. Love you. Bye. We're good. We're locked in. All right. They left at sunset, and I spent the rest of the evening thinking about it. So I figured a lot of things out. Around 9 p.m., something started. I used the satellite phone the ranger gave me to call Faye. She actually answered, and I was just lying in bed reading. We had a great conversation. Yeah, with that demon! I told her I missed her so much and that I was up here trying to solve what was happening. I told her I wanted to have a family with her. She said, she said that she was feeling better and had actually gone a whole night without sleepwalking.
Oh, master!
After about 15 minutes of talking, I started hearing sounds outside. I heard footsteps crunching in the dry snow. I heard a voice. My voice. It said things like,
Insomnia. Miss you. See you soon. He was just standing outside listening to his call.
yeah, now it has a whole catalog. Say whatever it wants. The thing had been standing near the window, mimicking my conversation with Faye. I told Faye I'd call her back later and hung up the phone, then went silent. The thing walked around the cabin slowly, trying to figure out if I had moved, mumbling and repeating a few phrases as it went. Finally, it came and knocked on the door. Its knocks were gentle, just like last night. I was a little bit less scared because of all the blessings T-Way had put on the cabin, but I still held onto the gun just in case it shut it down. He spoke to me in my own voice. The first thing he said was,
Hole fills no blood.
so yeah, that amped up my fear quite a bit.
So yeah, that
So,
amped up my fear.
yeah, that amped up my fear quite a bit.
I'm not gonna let it deter me.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Faye, it's right behind me, isn't it? Faye, you're gonna want to see this. So yeah, that amped up my fear quite a bit. Every hair on the back of my neck bristled. Do you know the feeling of being so scared that your vision turns like hyper real? Hyper real. Everything looks like a realistic video game. So everything. That's a weird way to describe it.
Yeah.
So everything looks just slightly off. Then it knocked on the door and said,
Hello? May I come in?
I simply said,
No, leave.
Then it knocked for another 30 seconds or so and said,
Hello?
I lied and said,
My name is Daniel. Now leave. You can't come in.
the thing started knocking harder, a lot harder, non-stop, and said,
What is your name? What is your name?
I was terrified to hear my voice coming from the other side of the door and to hear rage building in that voice. Rage. I said again,
My name is Daniel.
but the thing kept yammering and asking the same question. Occasionally said,
Oh my word!
The hole. Down in the hole. What is your name? May I know your name?
Okay, so I'm interested here. The hole's referring to the hole the bodies are in, right?
Yeah, I'm
Probably.
guessing it's the upside down holes. Is what I was thinking.
So what about the trees?
I don't know.
That has an issue, right? Yeah. Then I had an idea. I'm really good with fake accents. When I was 12, my first language was German. My dad immigrated to Boston about my mom. I started speaking in a thick accent, talking about my day, and then started shouting in German. I feel like he's giving it way too. He's trying to trick it. I feel like that's a bad idea.
You're just giving it more and more stuff.
Yeah. I recited a poem I know by Hermann Hesse, Die Frana von Ravenna Tragen. My visitor went silent and stopped knocking. I could tell it was just listening. So then I started shouting in a British accent, reciting lines from V for Vendetta, my favorite film of all time. Well, that actually explains a lot about this guy, now that I think about it. He does strike me as a V for Vendetta guy. I shouted, "Thank you," in every single language I know. I once committed to learning it in 100 languages and stopped around 20. My unwanted guest just sort of stammered a little bit, trying to mimic me, but failed to do so. I was no longer speaking in any recognizable pattern of tone. Eventually, it just started growling the sounds Faye and I heard in the forest when we first stayed at the cabin. It started scratching and pounding on the door. I grabbed the sage bundle and torched it with my lighter, then waved it all around the door frame. I don't know if that thing outside could smell it, but it walked off the porch all pissed off, growling, and ran off into the night. This time, I ran to the window trying to... Very dark, and Morgan's form disappearing into the trees. This guy's getting brave. Like, oh, let me see if I can see it out the window. And then what happens when you pull the curtain back and it's like, pressed up against the glass? Well, I mean, okay, that works in the story. I feel like in an actual supernatural scenario, trying to trick it with different languages is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, well, I guess it's just more so not. I guess I mean like the non-form. Like it's basically like not form any kind of structure with your voice or whatever, because it's just all nonsensical.
I think I figured a lot of stuff out. I think this entity is mimicking me because it's going to try to convince Faye that it is me. It is rehearsing my voice and then whispering to Faye while she sleeps, talking to her in her dreams, trying to get her to look inside of our house. I think it wants to convince her that I am the imposter, not it. I think I also figured out why the voices go crazy at night and why they're getting closer to my home. These guys aren't trying to scare me, they're trying to deprive me of sleep. When I'm psychologically and emotionally drained, I'm weaker. If I'm delirious, I'll make a mistake. Their, or his, attempts to get me will be easier. I'm still trying to figure out how controlling Faye like a puppet in her sleep and all this. I know what I saw. There's a man standing outside our house, walking the exact same creepy way Faye was sleepwalking, the exact same time. I'm also still considering the possibility that I already made a terrible mistake and that the imposter has already won. When I went outside on the first night at the cabin with Faye, trying to see where the voices were coming from, I left the door unlocked. Oh. User and friend butt said that was the moment that Faye was replaced by something else. I just don't know what to think. But for now, I'm going to sleep. And then he has an update of, I think, one day later, where all he says is, "Well, I found the ring."
Damn, dude. Man, this is hurtling so I'm so fucking hooked in. So that's the end of 8. Now we're going into 9 out of 10. We only got 2 parts left. Well, there is the Mr. Unravels part, but I think we're just gonna focus on the My Romantic Cabin.
Unless it's an insane cliffhanger or something.
Yeah, then we just can't wait, but we're already almost 3.5 hours in.
You know people love these long episodes. Have you seen the Left Right
I know. I'm just saying that you never know.
You never know. So, update for May the 2nd. I'm out of the cabin and safe. Do not go to Pikes Peak looking to be a hero, looking to find the mines, or looking for me. You will die. Avalanches, radon gas, mine collapses, etc. Do not be a fool. Edit, I took down the photo of Faye because someone started sending me creepy messages about it. I should have known better. Wait, is there pictures somewhere? Are we missing pictures anywhere?
No, I think that even if it was, it's edited and gone. What I like to think is that these things are in between stories and stuff. I think it's, I don't know. I think it's on something else.
There's so many new developments, it's hard to figure out how to cram it all into a 3,000-word no-sleep post. Morning after I woke with my fiance, Faye, on the satellite phone, and then was visited by the thing that mimics our voices, I got a call from Richard and Jason. In case you don't remember, they're the 2 best friends. They're staying at my place, taking care of Faye while I'm gone. They're the only people I trust. Richard stays up very late and sleeps in the mornings, kind of like what I'm doing now. He does this for 2 reasons, to work on his art commissions and to make sure Faye doesn't stab everyone to death and burn the house down in their sleep. But, hey, Hunter, if I just called you and was like, I have to go on...
All our work!
Hold on. This would be vacated. I'd be an alley with pina colada.
What if I got like 3 of you guys, like you, Caleb, and
even more so no.
Why even more so no? You have other people there. That's better than alone.
There's no way, because then I feel guilty about it. I would feel guilty leaving. If I'm by myself, I get to just be like, well, there's nothing I can. My hands are tied.
Oh, so you want to have a failsafe you can leave for when she's active.
Exactly. But I would never put myself in that situation. So
I would do it for you.
That's fine. Well, you'd have to because I'd be gone.
Well, yeah, someone's got to take care of her. Ain't gonna be me, idiot. I'd be gone. She listens to these, you know.
Yeah, I know. She knows. If it was the same for me, it'd be the exact same thing. I feel that's a beautiful understanding between us.
I just started speaking and you went no. The guys report that she is behaving quite normally and feeling good, being productive during the day. But then at night, she is unpredictable and weird. I feel like her soul is being cleaved in half. Two distinct sets of behavior drifting further from each other every day. Around 1 a.m. that night, Richard heard the voice of a young child, mumbling incoherently. He's up to speed on all the unusual experiences that have plagued my fiancé and me, so he immediately got up to investigate. He looked out the kitchen window, which faces the same part of the forest where I saw the man moving face sleepwalking movements. Richard didn't find anything, so he walked a circle around the house and realized that the sound was coming from our bedroom window. He went inside and woke Jason up and stood outside the bedroom door, listening. He claimed they heard the distinct sounds of a child whispering and softly singing, and I bet you can guess which song. The song played I heard outside the cabin on their second night, sung in a child's voice. Both of these dudes are super ripped climbing enthusiasts, and they said that they had never been so creeped out in their entire lives. Jason knocked on the door and said,
Faye, who's in there?
He promptly heard the child go, shh, and whispered something inaudible. Richard pushed the door open and said that Faye was standing in the corner of the room, in the dark facing the wall. She was standing up on her tiptoes, dragging her hands and nails down the wall and talking to herself. Their back turned to the guys, she said,
Oh, their skin is so perfect. Which one? Put him down the hole.
Nope. Richard saw something out the window and hurried over to it. Jason stepped inside the room, reached out to put a hand on Faye's shoulder. She pulled around quickly and covered her face with her hands. Her eyes were open, which is unusual for when she sleepwalks. Then, these are the exact words Jason used.
She started speaking the voice of a little kid.
She made whining and crying sounds, rocked back and forth on her feet, cradling her arms as though she held a child. Then, she turned around and started scratching at the wall again, still whispering in the kid's voice, saying things like,
It's Faye. I can't see you. Are you up in the trees or down in the hole?
that was her voice. That's what she said all the way back then, right? It's Faye, I can't see you.
Yeah, also I think it's interesting she's covering her face, trying to hide her identity.
Yeah. I think the possession's taken over all the way at this point.
I think it's, like, the analogy he used of, like, every time it happens, her soul is being drifted farther and farther away. I think it's, like, who knows how much longer she has.
Now she's, like, more the imposter than she is now.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Then she started singing again. Richard ran down the stairs and out the front door, barreling towards the tree line. Richard's a G, dude.
Hold on.
I'm gonna get you! I'm coming for you! From the window, he had seen a small child walking around on its tippy toes, flailing its arms up in the air. On the phone, he told me he could hear it singing while he watched it from the window. Richard got about 20 yards away from the kid and took off running on the balls of its feet, heading straight into the trees. Richard stayed in pursuit and went in after him. It was too dark for him to follow, and he lost the kid after a few moments. Wandered around for a few minutes, searched the area, and eventually heard the voice of an adult male. Rich says he walked a few steps deeper into the grove and saw a huge man standing about 30 feet away, completely naked, looking up into the trees. No, absolutely not. Dude. There were lacerations with dark pock marks of some sort all over his body.
That's
Now,
good,
Rich
bro.
was about 6'1", 210 pounds of bulging muscle, and he said this dude was way bigger than him. He said the man was perfectly still for 30 seconds, but then started rolling his head around, cracking his neck loudly, started making gurgling and mumbling sounds. I guess Rich was paralyzed with fear because he claims he stood there for an entire minute or more before running out back to the house. As he turned to get out of there, the man let out a long hello, and as he did, his voice transformed. It became my voice.
Oh, interesting.
Richard said the thing in the woods called out with my voice several times as he fled, wailing.
Please help me. They're gonna kill me tonight.
Jason says that he did not hear or see anything out of the window, only Richard running back inside, ghost white with fear. He said Richard actually cried. While they just watching, wide awake, a little smile on her face. Yeah, so Faye's gone, and the thing in the woods is stolen,
That's good, bro.
and it's now, they're in the final stages.
That's good, bro.
I think so. I also think that all these sleepwalkers, or all these skinwalkers are all of the dudes. So, like, how many did they say? 5? Or they didn't, I guess they didn't give
Just
it
set a group, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so just 3 to 5. Seems like they're all kind of in cahoots together doing the stuff, and like maybe the head one or like one of them is in Faye right now.
Yep, I'm looking at the story. Yeah, it doesn't say how many, just a group of disgruntled.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's each one of them, and they put together skin and people piece by piece. The next morning, they took her to a psychiatric appointment, first she's ever had, and I will hopefully hear back on that soon. Kills me that I'm not there with her now. Put her in a home. Put her in an asylum, a loony bin, whatever you want to call it. Just get her away.
Right.
I'm still stuck at Pikes Peak. It's like this. Good. I'm glad you are. You deserve it. It's like this place doesn't want me to leave. The ranger station shut down the entire road network on the mountain because of the huge blizzard that rolled in, and there are avalanche warnings. My road out of here is completely iced over, and one part of it is a snow collapse and a mini avalanche. Shut up, I'm from California where God pays attention. That's a funny line. That's actually a funny quip in the middle of everything. Like, yeah, this place has snow and avalanches. Shut up, I don't know about it. God actually cares about me where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'm in contact with the ranger station. His name's Greg, just like Faye's dad, so that's why I avoid referring him by name in these updates. And he assures me they're working on getting the roads cleared every time it stops snowing. Missed my flight, but thankfully they gave me a voucher, so now I can just roll to the airport whenever I can. I have enough food to feed an army, and the electricity here is surprisingly reliable, so I'm warm. Wi-Fi dips out for 5 to 10 hours at a time. Working on Donkey Kong Country 2 and Secret of Mana on the SNES, and writing about my experiences here in my spare time. I also slipped on the icy porch steps and fell on my side, so I've got enormous bruise and it hurts like a bitch, but only when I breathe, so I got that going for me. So I've got that going for me.
Yeah.
Users. Oh, there's not a lot you can do with those. Like, this honestly, I'm gonna buy the book as soon as we're done here.
No, I'm so curious to see what's changed.
Yeah, and to see what a second draft of this kind of story would.
Because there's no way that like the way he's saying redditors and stuff, that's probably all changed.
Yeah. User Sweet Rosemary asked me if the cabin had a basement, and I never thought to check. Outside, under the snowpack, and halfway covered with old chocolate, found a little locked door. The key was in the kitchen cupboard, and it turns out that there's a decent-sized cellar under the house. Down inside, I found a ton of creepy shit. You didn't think about there being a basement, a whole nother floor? Okay,
I'll be completely honest, I didn't even think about that the entire time I've been reading
You're
this.
not at the house. You're not at the house where there's a basement. And then, like, if there's a door outside, all right, whatever. There's a bundle of long, black hair, several dozen jars of some rotten mutant-looking shit, and tons of old books from the 60s and 70s, and lots of porno magazines.
Yeah.
It seems like these demons from hell like to get up to no good. There's also lots of sticks and yarn. All of it's drawn this way to make a dream catcher like one hanging in a tree.
Shout out to HEB. I mean, shout out to us.
I've been thinking about something that user wait time is lame said to me the other day, which was,
That's good, bro.
Not a dream catcher at all. And he's right. I'm not an expert on Native American symbology or artifacts. It just looks kind of like a dream catcher to me. So I've been calling it one all this time. T-Wade, Pueblo friend of the Ranger, didn't call it that. Just saying leave it alone. I'm wondering if that thing attracts the imposter instead of keeping it away. You can mark the house. I kind of want to move it for one. Kind of want to move it for one night to see what happens. the recklessness of that phrase. You know, what's the worst that could happen? You know? My dog is barking at something. I'm about to shoot someone. After all, T-Wade blessed the entire cabin, so I feel quite safe. I have a 357 Magnum in case leaves don't protect me. I'm gonna kill this guy. I'll just shoot it. No one's ever thought about it. So
naive.
Yeah, what an idiot. In case leaves don't protect me. Good luck, dude. At about 9:30 a.m., there's a knock on the door. I grabbed the gun, suspecting another encounter with the imposter. It was lightly snowing and glooming, so I figured the sun was
That's good.
The creature wouldn't be willing to come out of the woods. Then I heard familiar voices, talking cheerfully. I looked out the window, and to my total surprise, it was T-Way and his son Nathan. These badass guys had hiked up from the ranger station in the snow to check on me. Let them in, and they made tea. I cannot tell you how happy I was to see them. Okay, do you trust them?
Yeah, I do.
You don't think it's the imposter?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. T-Way brought me his own dream catcher. It was one he made specifically for me, and he told me I should hang it beside the creepy one. It's very colorful and ornate. I can tell he spent a lot of time on it. It's even got 2 beautiful hawk feathers dangling off it, which Nathan says represents freedom and unboundness. He reiterated the importance of finding the engagement ring Faye had lost, and blessed the house again. I tried to get them to stay longer, but they had to get back down the mountain before the storm picked up. Told me I should come with them. Yes. Yes. We all knew I wouldn't. Yeah, because they're like, oh, this guy's stupid. This guy's a big dumb idiot. If I left with them, I'd be leaving Greg's truck. What? If I left with them, I'd be leaving Greg's truck, and I never found what I came back for. Okay, the second line's fine. Why even mention the truck? We hate Greg. Greg is part of the reason this all happened. Well, I can't leave John with you. I never found what I came back for. What? You're not finding anything. You're sitting in the cabin. He said goodbye, and T-Way hugged me. I wish that guy was my grandpa. Okay, watch it turn out that, like, the 2 hawk feathers, like, make the dream catcher have, like, an opposite effect. Like,
so actually, it opens you up for tons of crazy other stuff. Sorry about that. I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, so remember how dream catchers, like, keep bad things from happening? Well, this is a reverse dream catcher that ensures only bad things happen from here on out.
You're going to poop yourself. That's what is bad happen.
Yeah, and that's if you get off easy.
Good, bro. That's really good. Shout out to. That's good, bro. That's really good.
I took a nap after they left. I figure out how to sleep without being interrupted by the damn voices in the forest. From 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., it's pretty quiet outside, so I nap on and off. Something really bad happened this time. I woke up opening the bathroom window. Oh!
Oh, shit.
Damn, dude. Bro.
He's hooked. They got him.
Hook, line, and sinker. He's on it. Okay, so for one, okay, this is entirely his fault. There's no reason for him to be on the mountain. There's not. He's not smart enough. He's not doing anything other than sitting around the cabin. This is his own fault. I've never sleepwalked before in my entire life. Faye's been sleeping next to me for 5 years, and she says I don't move, I don't speak, I don't snore, I don't steal sheets. I'm the most polite bed buddy on earth. I don't like that word. But when I came to, I was standing next to the toilet, both hands prying the frozen window open. It was about 2 inches up, and the freezing cold wind on my fingers is what woke me up. I slammed shut and checked all the windows, ensuring that they were locked and sealed tight.
Shout out to.
I dragged one of the living room chairs into the bedroom with me and propped it against the door so that I'd knock it over if I got up again. This did not work. At around 1 p.m., I woke up standing at the front door and found myself pulling it open. The loud groans it issued were what snapped me out of my sleep. I slammed the door shut and looked out the window next to it, praying nothing was out there waiting for me at the tree line. Then I remembered that I'd had a dream. Images of a huge hole carved into the mountain surface to my mind. Snow and branches were caked all around the mouth of the entrance, and an impossible, yawning blackness emanated from within. In the dream, I just kind of stood there, gazing into the vacant face of the deep, listening to Faye's wicked cries. I sat down on the couch and just sort of cried for about a half hour. I thought about what our lives had become and how bad I missed her. I thought about all the dreams we had of our future, things that can never be if I don't figure out how to save her. I thought about all the promises I'll never keep if I die up here. I decided that it would be best to hang the dream catcher sooner rather than later, because the clouds broke for a while and it was fantastically bright out. I got geared up and trudged across the snow with T-Way's gift and hugged it on a branch about 3 feet away from the evil-looking one. That's when I saw it.
Oh shit.
Faye's engagement. It was dangling there right in front of me, as if to tease me. Someone had woven it into the strings of the dream catcher. I stood there for a long time, right between the two objects. I couldn't figure out if some benevolent force was giving me a break or if I was being taunted by whatever beings have haunted my footsteps ever since I arrived on the mountain. Retrieving the ring would require me not only to touch, but destroy the preview dream catcher. I had the thought to go ask No Sleep what I should do, but I feared that if I left for even 1 second, the ring would be gone when I got back. So I just tried to solve the riddle by myself. I wish I'd brought the satellite phone out there with me. After a few minutes of standing there, I reasoned that T-Way's Dreamcatcher would probably do just as well in protecting me, if in fact that was the function of the original one. I also figured that if it would curse or something, touching it couldn't actually be worse than leaving the ring there and allowing Faye to be completely consumed by her madness. If the ring has anything to do with the creatures who are controlling Faye and me while we sleep, then getting it back is a priority over not touching weird stuff in the woods. That shadow under my door keeps moving so sporadic. Okay, well, it's on the house yet. So that's what I did. I broke the brittle thing apart and took my damn ring back. What else could I have done? Okay, in his defense, her ring being in it has to be not good, right?
Well, people have also continuously said you have to find that ring.
Yeah. I don't really blame him for doing that.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? Feels like the worst has already happened, but who knows?
Yeah.
To be fair though, T-Way did say just leave it alone.
Well, that was before the ring was in it. And then he said, is it bad? And T-Way said maybe. So, I feel like the ring being in it's like, also, yeah, this is bad news.
Yeah.
Because no one with good entrance would find her ring and put it up in that without saying something or revealing themselves or whatever.
Right.
And, as if on cue, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. It was a person standing in the snow beside a tree, about 20 feet from my left side. 20 feet?
That's so close.
Does the story realize how close 20 feet is? That's like me to my door right now. That's insanely close. I was so scared I didn't look directly at him. I just watched him in my periphery and prayed he hadn't noticed me. Yeah, dude, he hasn't seen you, I'm sure. He was a man with black, gray hair and dark clothes. Facing away from me, his head was tilted all the way back. He was looking way up at the tops of the trees. His limbs looked mangled and bent and elongated. Even without looking right at him, I slid the ring into my pocket as slowly as I could, trying not to make a sound. And as I did, the man hobbled around and faced me. I really didn't want to look now. Just slammed my eyes shut. I knew he was looking at me. I could feel his gaze on me. He started gurgling and making throaty noises, and said in a voice so threatening I can't even begin to describe.
Felix, I know you, Felix. I know you, Felix. I know you.
Over and over. I took off running and screaming like a bat out of hell. I screamed all the way back to the cabin. I barricaded the front door with the couch and burned up half the sage I had left. I even prayed, like an actual prayer. I've done that since I was 15 years old.
That's good, bro. Wow. That's really good.
It's taking me hours to finish this entry because I keep getting up to distract myself. The ranger
shout out to HEB. I mean,
station. Maybe the power's out. Yeah, maybe, bro. I don't know what I did by breaking the dream catcher, and I don't know what tonight's
shout out to HEB. I mean, shout out to us.
And if something happens to me, don't forget your tenderness.
That's good, bro. That's really good. Shout out to HEB. I mean, shout out to us.
Shout out to us. I have to say this even though I desperately want it to not be true. Oh no, the man I just saw was T-Way.
Oh fuck. Oh shit. Holy fuck. We're going into the last part right now. Get me in there. Get me in.
What does that mean? Does that mean it killed T-Way or T-Way was always that?
I don't know. Right? I don't know.
It has to mean it killed him because if these guys are just like piecemealing like.
Well, yeah, because also he didn't answer the phone. The ranger didn't either, so I'm guessing the thing killed him on the walk back.
Yeah.
Shout out to HEB.
Yeah, probably. Oh man. And they had no protection going down the mountain, I guess.
I'm guessing not. This is it. This is part 10. I'm so.
Was a sea monkey and the nutter? I think I was trying. I guess. To be fair, I did not realize he looked like a sea monkey. I think I was trying to go for a chameleon. See, but to be fair, he does look like a sea monkey. Irontron. So I just learned some horrible news. Peter Cullen has passed away at 85. Yeah, so did Dolly Parton and Tim Curry. It's insane. Yeah. Oh, yeah, kind of. Looks like a sea monkey, but these are the three things, but yeah. That is wild. Like, yeah. Three legends have passed away, like, for now. It's insane.
I hate it here. As you can see by its link, there's no possible way I could have uploaded the cabin on the crappy Wi-Fi. Sorry about my allergies. Oh, he's live? Sorry that this is so long. People have been hounding me for as much
Shout out to
as
H-
possible. This will be my last update. We need to rest. Things have spiraled out of control beyond the mountain. I made a decision that changed everything, and it almost killed me. Only time will tell if it was the right choice to make. But for now, I'm just piecing everything together in my mind, trying to convince myself that I'm one step
Shout out to
closer
HEB.
this.
Shout out to HEB. I mean, shout out to.
Behind the cabin since Faye and I first came to this place. Nobody knows who made it, what its purpose is, or why it's on the side of the tree facing into the woods.
Yeah.
Rather than the side facing the house. I found all the supplies to make another one. Kayla? Don't do this to me. I had the headphones on and I felt the whole house at once, which normally means someone shuts the door. Okay, the GPS says she's here. I found all of the supplies to make another one just like it. Someone tried to hide it.
Feels like it.
Shout out to H.
I saw his likeness, stretched over the gruesome form of the thing that stalks these woods. It was broad daylight, and the look on that, its mangled face, was exactly what I didn't want to accept. Here I am all alone. Several Redditors have speculated this thing only shows itself at night. It always faces away because it cannot convince me it appears human, not without the help of the recently dead. T-Way confirmed this during his first visit to the cabin, but when I destroyed the Dreamcatcher, there it was, proudly masquerading in the skin and hair of my best friend on the
Yeah.
The sunlight, no less.
Been kind of mediocre.
Imagine how son Nathan must feel.
Not mediocre, just mediocre. Yeah.
To the ranger station for the cabin knowing a blizzard was coming. I'm sure that's when T-Way died. I'm gonna go on a limb and say Nathan.
Been a very depressing year, is what I'll say.
Just hypothetically, I don't think it's doing so hot. When I got back inside the cabin, I completely lost it. Barricaded the door and windows with every piece of furniture. Did you check the house? Because there's probably something there. There just isn't enough stuff inside this little cabin to protect me. So I sit there on the floor against the bed, clutching the gun, sort of wishing my dark visitor would come and kill me already. But of course, this is Pikes Peak. That is not the worst thing that can happen to you here. So the mountain kept messing with me. It's getting dark, and I was on the verge of a total psychological break. I've been running on 4 hours of sleep per night and a few naps for the past 2 weeks. My only hope for redemption just got turned into a puppet, and I was about to find out what happens come nightfall when the Dreamcatcher no longer functions. So, what did my brain decide was the best course of action at this point? To fall asleep. Somehow, I nodded off. In fact, I think my brain just did a hard reset because nothing.
I mean, shout out to us.
I just went to a fear coma the minute the sun dipped behind the mountain. And I woke up. I was in bed, with the sheets pulled over me. The lights were off, all of them, and my hands were empty. But before, they held Greg's 357. When I opened my eyes, I suppose it was possible that I climbed into bed myself. After all, I caught myself sleepwalking twice the day before.
Shout out to HEB. I mean, shout out to us.
It took me a minute to.
Wow.
It was an arm.
Wow.
We should do some off.
That's us. Wow.
We should do some off-stream grinding.
Out of bed screaming blood. The first thought I had was, where am I? My parents divorced when I was 3, so as a kid, I'd spend a few nights a week at my dad's house and a few nights at my mom's. Sometimes I'd wake in the dark and not be sure which bedroom I was in. It always took me a second to remember where I was. This is the thought that crossed my delirious mind. Maybe I was back at home in California. Maybe I was at Faye's parents' house.
That's us.
I sort of rolled out from under the arm and tried to figure out what the hell was lying in bed with me. I've been sleeping with the lights on for the past few nights, and never in my right mind would have turned them off after seeing the creature so close to me a few hours ago. The body in bed beside me felt familiar. Its warmth, its texture. I was pretty sure it was Faye. But I still couldn't remember if she was really with me up here. Then she spoke. She reached through the dark and touched my face, said,
What's wrong, Pop-Tart?
Yes, that's actually the nickname she gave me. Love me some s'mores Pop-Tarts. I wasn't really afraid. Just overwhelmed with confusion. I asked her where we were and why the lights were off. She just squeezed my shoulder and said,
We're at Pikes Peak. There's a storm. Power's out. It's done this before. What's wrong with you?
I know
Yeah.
my wife is downstairs like cleaning up right now, but it's just there's someone in the house now and I haven't visualized it yet, and like my heart's racing, my fight or flight's up. I got up out of bed. A feeling of dread was falling over me.
Dang.
Heavier and heavier the more awake I became. As soon as the sheets were off of me, I felt a blistering cold. Colder than it's ever been in the cabin. Heat must have been off for hours. A bit of pale moonlight filtered in through the windows, and it was barely enough to see the object in the room. I stumbled around looking for the flashlight.
Death comes for us all, I suppose. So I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. Alright.
What the fuck is it so cold? Did you screw with the heat?
Faye tried to get me to come back to bed. She told me it went off and came back on earlier and that it would probably be back on soon. Everything about her felt wrong, but her voice was perfectly clear. Her skin felt totally recognizable. It seemed to shake the strange feeling I had. I left the bedroom and walked out into the living room. It was even colder out there. I felt my way around with my hands and noticed a strong, icy draft coming from down the hall. It's a straight shot from the living room to the bathroom at the other end of the hall. From where I stood, I could see the bathroom window. It was wide open. Big 2 by 2 foot gap leading out to the snow. I went to shout.
What the fuck did you...
Faye stepped out of the bedroom, stood in the hallway between me and the bathroom.
Hold on. Let me
She
see.
said something like,
Felix, you aren't feeling well. Do you not remember what's going on? You're sick.
I almost believed her because I definitely felt dizzy and feverish, but I could also have been the mixture of disturbed confusion and freezing cold. The thought that this was not only Faye, that this was not really Faye invaded my mind, and I immediately regretted not knowing where the gun was. The only words I could find were,
Who are you? Why are you here?
Faye just stood there in the darkness of the hallway. The only thing I could see was a little silver outline of her figure. Her face was entirely black, but even though her eyes were hidden, I could feel them burning
Alright.
at me. So anyways, then when I found the ring, it felt like I stood in the eye of a hurricane. Everything was totally calm. I knew hell was about to break loose. There wasn't a single sound outside. No branches snapped, no snow crunch, no voices moaned. It was as if time had stopped completely. Faye didn't move. Even as she spoke, she held herself with the stillness of death. She said,
Felix.
it wasn't to get my attention. It wasn't to convince me she was really my fiancé. It was a threat. She was reminding me that she knew my name. I still don't fully understand what the power is in names, but T-Way and Nathan believed it. Many Redditors warned me about it. When she said my name, I felt smaller than her, even though I stand almost a foot over her head.
Do you remember the 5?
She asked. She still didn't move an inch. Not even her hair kicked up in the drafts that blew in from behind her.
I can't remember. Not in this place.
I didn't know what she was talking about. All I could say was,
Get out. You're not welcome here.
again, Faye didn't move, but she did clear her throat. And the sound she made was about 2 octaves deeper than the real Faye's voice. She inhaled sharply and said,
Tell me about the number 5.
and that's when I knew. I remembered where I was, what day it was, and exactly what had happened up until this point. My visitor had finally come to call, and it no longer needed to be invited. I deeply regretted breaking the dream catcher. My hand instinctively slid over my pocket, and in my relief, the little shape of Faye's engagement ring pushed back against my fingers. There was nothing else to do. I decided to throw down the gauntlet. I figured it was probably time to die anyway, so I might as well go out bravely. I just said,
I know who you are, and you will never be Faye.
She took a menacing step towards me. A gurgle seeped out of her throat. She inhaled again, more slowly this time, and demanded.
I want to know about the number 5. Tell me, Felix.
I looked all around me on the counters for a weapon, but found nothing. The knife block was on the other side of the short wall that divided the living room from the kitchen. There was only a roll of paper towels within reach, but in retrospect, I was so amped with terror that I probably could have beaten her ass to death with it.
I don't have a clue what the number means. In fact, about 5,000 people online don't either. No one knows. Only Faye knows.
My visitor started shaking with rage. Her face was wreathed with impossible blackness. There was an endless abyss in it that stung in my eyes. Then I realized something. This creature, whatever it is, has had access to Faye's mind for several hours every night, maybe for many years. Maybe since she first visited the cabin, she was 5 years old, and in all that time, it still hadn't learned everything about her. It can never perfectly imitate her because she kept something buried so deep in her subconscious, not even this thing defined her. Whatever the number 5 meant to Faye, the deep place is where she kept the secret. She didn't even go there in her dreams. The next part was all a blur. I said something like,
You're the one who speaks to her in her sleep.
the visitor kind of nodded. I said,
You ask her things. She answers you. I hear everything she says.
the visitor didn't react, then I said,
You've asked her this question, just like you're asking me now. She always says, No, I can't tell you.
That's odd.
dragging a hand along the wall. His face had times in her sleeping fits. Raised up on the balls of his feet and twitched violently.
Tell me.
He didn't try to mimic my fiance's voice anymore. Huge breaths to try to control his rage. There's a certain feeling you get when you're about to die. You're in danger. And you might die. Fear completely overwhelms your senses and compels you to flee. To fight, to save yourself, somehow. But past that point, when you know you're going to die, that fear becomes useless and disappears. This has happened to me only once before when I was sucked into a riptide at the beach during an El Nino winter as a teenager. In that moment, I just wondered if my body would come back to the shore.
I don't even know what happened to me.
In this moment, my heart slowed down, and I didn't feel cold anymore. I just stood there, ready to be to death. I was satisfied in the knowledge that I had not given this creature what it wanted, and therefore blocked it from using that knowledge as a weapon against Faye. Whatever 5 meant, Saint needed it to take full possession of my fiancé, and I wasn't going to let that
Hold
happen.
on. I'll be right back.
I actually laughed and said,
Well, you're shit out of luck, buddy.
Hooah.
The imposter laughed right back in my voice of perfect mimicry. Then it said,
Well, then we don't need you anymore.
it lunged at me. I've dodged a rabid German Shepherd like I was a ninja, but this thing was so fast and so strong it knocked me away. I toppled backwards and crash landed on my shoulders on the tiles near the front door. It unleashed a barrage of blows on my face.
All right.
It raked my sweatshirt with razor-like claws. I tried my best to defend myself. It was so dark in my house, I couldn't see almost anything. I managed to flail my way free of its grasp for just a second. I pulled myself up to my feet by grabbing the counter, and in doing so, my hand brushed against the little bundle of sage I've been burning. The imposter was on me like lightning, grabbing me by the back of the neck and pulling me with the strength of a 250-pound man. I very ingloriously whirled around and smashed the sage bundle into the creature's face, burnt him first, and wrapped my other arm around its head. Faye's familiar locks tangled in my fingers. I pulled its head forward and jammed the brittle sage into its eyes as hard as I could, screaming like a banshee. It shrieked and growled in some inhuman language and tried to push me away, but I held on as hard as I could and kept driving my fingers into its eyes, crushing the twigs in them. A memory of Nathan and T-Way's chant surfaced in my mind, and I shouted the only part I could pronounce.
Taniki Adan! Taniki Adan! Taniki Adan!
Who knows if I'm even remotely close to the correct spelling? My hand slid over its face, and the mockery of Faye's appearance fell away. I couldn't see in the dark, but the face no longer resembled my fiance's. The mouth was much too big for humans, and the wet lips draped across the maw of 100 fangs.
Sick.
And that was it. Bastard had had enough. It screamed and growled and took off on all fours. Its limbs elongated as it moved farther away from me. Its shape became recognizably inhuman even in the pale light. It barreled up the bathroom wall and out the window, and in moments, it was completely gone. I'm not afraid to cry. I do it at funerals, at weddings, during the Hunchback of Notre Dame, etc. But I'm a little embarrassed to admit how long and hard I cried after the creature left the cabin. What part of Hunchback of Notre Dame do you cry at? Whatever.
The part where he fucking probably gets the tomatoes thrown at him and shit.
Oh, that's not a cry moment. That's like a boo-hoo moment.
Yeah, that's a laughing moment.
Yeah, exactly. He looks different. Haha, everyone. That's pointed laugh.
Gross.
Look at him. What a loser. I never felt so utterly, miserably alone in my entire life. I only stopped when the power came back on, probably 20 minutes later. The heater kicked on instantly, and I ran over to shut and lock the bathroom window. Satellite phone was gone. Gun was gone. Probably outside in the snow, or under the tree, or down the hole. Peeked out the kitchen window and saw something lying on the porch, right near the front door. When I cracked the door open just for a second, I saw that it was T-Way's dream catcher. It had been destroyed and placed in front of the cabin, mocking me, or reminding me that I was unprotected. I checked the timer on our little baby clock in the kitchen, or little battery clock in the kitchen, and it read 12:15 a.m. I was going to spend another night on this godforsaken cabin. Yeah, because you choked me. But I vowed to myself that at daybreak, no matter the conditions, I would take Greg's truck and get down the mountain or die trying. I didn't care if I slid off the cliff face. I'd never watch the sun go down in Colorado ever again. For a while, I actually considered leaving right there, in the middle of the night. Many Redditors have reprimanded me for not doing this before, but I assure you, even in this situation, driving in the dark on that icy little road next to the 400-foot cliff is a complete nope situation. But the mountain had other plans for me. At one point, I was sneaking outside to determine how deep the truck was buried, but as I approached, I saw that the snow had been dug out around the two front tires and they had been slashed to ribbons. All I could do was let out a grim laugh and trudge back inside. At least it was warm in there now. At around 1 a.m., the voices started up. They rose from far off in the woods, several of them at once, groaning and screaming dark elegies to the night. It was all the same evil gibberish I heard 1,000 times before, but they slowly made their way into the open field and eventually just outside the cabin. I lit the remaining pieces of sage, did a once-over of all the windows that weren't barricaded with furniture. I also donned the medicine pouches and amulet that T-Way and Nathan had given me, hoping they'd be similarly effective in protecting me. Then I remembered T-Way's useless dream catcher and imagined my crumpled corpse lying in the snow beside it. Outside the front door, I distinctly heard my own voice calling.
Faye, it's me, Felix. Let me in. Let me in.
And from near the bathroom window, my voice again saying,
Hi, sweetie. I miss you so much.
He repeated a few other things I said on the phone in conversation with her, and even a few things I said to her while she was sleepwalking back at our home in California. There were footsteps on the roof. 2, maybe 3 pairs of little feet, stomping all over the ceiling. Voices of crying children paired with them. I stood there in the kitchen, clutching a knife and the herbs, waiting for the end. Voices circled the cabin as though a handful of deranged chicks were slowly marching around the perimeter.
Make you a bit smaller, Grizzy.
They begged for help, they laughed maniacally, they whispered and screamed and talked entirely to themselves, all at once. Their dim shadows passed the windows, curtains over and over. I heard glass breaking in the bedroom and then in the bathroom. Then, stomping on the roof grew louder, and the voices at the front door grew more urgent. Someone began knocking on the door, and the others tapped on the living room windows. All started screaming.
Hey, let us in. Felix, are you there?
And then, as if heaven sent, a blinding white light illuminated the entire cabin from outside. All of the window curtains at the front of the house lit up, and the sound of motors drowned out the hellish cries. Someone had driven up to the cabin. I heard doors open and men calling out. Footsteps on the roof thundered overhead to the back of the cabin, and the screams of children drifted off into the woods out back, echoing as they withdrew. The ranger bashed on the front door, calling out my full name, instructing me to come outside. I looked out the window and saw 5 men, some in uniforms, and the ranger. There was a humongous off-road snowplow, 2 snowmobiles, and a big truck. They come to save my life. When I went outside, I just walked up and hugged the ranger. Didn't even grab my winter jacket. He informed me that they were getting everyone off the mountain because of the problem with the power grid. He said he feared I'd freeze to death. The ride down the mountain would have been the happiest ride of my life, except for the view. We snaked across slippery white roads, and even with the truck's high beams on, I could see the biggest I could see the brightest stars I'd ever witnessed. But beneath them, dangling in the trees, were dozens and dozens of human bodies. They swung by rope from their feet or necks. Some of them were filleted or missing parts. The ranger did not appear to notice, and I kept my mouth shut. As I passed overhead on our downward crawl, I could almost make out their frozen faces, lifeless for years, maybe decades. Their black blood stained the trunks of the trees. I'm not sure if these were the spirits Two-Way talked about, or if I had simply been experiencing temporary insanity. Not sure I'll ever know who they were, but I'm guessing that if the ranger showed up any later, I would have become one of them. I'll never forget the haunting image of passing underneath them. We arrived at the ranger station and remained there overnight. I slept on a cot in a room about 15 people, all locals from different places on the mountain. I asked the ranger if he'd heard from Peter, but he said he had not. Next morning, one of his men drove me straight to Denver International Airport, and I boarded a plane without any luggage whatsoever. Didn't matter. I had my ring in my pocket, and I'll never need another jacket again. When I finally got home, Faye let me have it. She kept kissing me and yelling at me. I understood. She was angry that I'd spent so much time trying to take control of the situation, treating her like a child and disregarding her feelings of my crusade to rescue her. What? What do you mean? Treat like a child? What do you mean disregard? She was possessed. Oh, whatever. Is she not still? What? Okay. She was upset that I consigned her to the care of my best friends without asking, but seemed to appreciate their help. You're up. Okay. We're almost done. Whatever. Richard and Jason were very happy to leave my house and never look Faye in the eye again, although they did have some good news for me. They had not sleepwalked or sleep talked or done anything out of the ordinary in over 24 hours. Nothing's been solved. They're still all there. I mean, you took the ring back, but that's it. This corresponds almost exactly with when I retrieved the ring from the Dreamcatcher. After an hour or so of reprimanding me for being a pretended idiot, Faye forgave me and we laid in bed together and talked about everything. I apologized to her for the way I treated her and put the ring on her finger. She looked relieved to have it back on. Yeah, because it's Ethan who decided to take it back. I swore I'd never screw up like that again. We both slept a full night, no strange night terrors, bad dreams, or sleep disturbances of any kind. Yesterday morning, we had Faye's favorite, waffles. At about 11 a.m., I received a call. My great relief.
We should do some off-stream grinding.
I immediately pressed him for information about
We should do some off-stream grinding.
After we left the cabin that day. He ignored my questions and said, very ominously,
Just let me speak to the one who followed you.
that's what I thought. I said something like, to which he replied,
He calls himself Faye.
what did I say? What did I say? My fiance and I had been sitting on the couch watching the most recent Game of Thrones, so I just sort of handed the phone to her, saying,
It's for you.
she put it to her ear and said,
Hello?
and then listened for about a minute. I could hear Nathan speaking, but I could not make out what he was saying. Suddenly, a volcano of black puke exploded from Faye's mouth.
Holy shit.
It absolutely covered the couch and carpet and sent me nearly jumping out of my skin in the process. Faye doubled over onto the floor like a rag doll, coughing and sputtering. Fell to my knee beside her, panicked, asking if he was all right. Picked up the phone, screamed at Nathan, demanding to know what he had said to her. Nathan just said,
Please, Felix, please listen.
then proceeds to recite some sort of chant or incantation. A wave of syrupy vomit rushed up my throat and out of my mouth, and as with Faye, it was oily black. I'm actually a metaphobe, so vomiting sends me into a state of near catatonia. But Faye had been recovered and back to my senses. Faye spoke to me a bit more and explained what he had done. We could get out of bed. Faye and I spent the rest of the day feeling queasy and eventually went to urgent care across the road to get checked out. Yeah, looks like you got ghost in your blood. Sorry to hear.
Well, you're borderline possessed. Thank God you came to urgent care.
Don't worry, we'll get you not fixed up in a jiffy, but you will be gone. They gave us blood tests and checked our vitals and sent us home, telling us that we suffered minor food poisoning.
Those damn waffles.
Those waffles. But I know deep down it wasn't the damn waffles. That's funny. That's fine. Thankfully, for the past several hours, we've been feeling better.
We should do some
While
off-stream
Max and
grinding.
Nathan had a disagreement over who the real Faye was. Whether it was even possible for a duplicate of my fiance to exist. When they hiked back down the mountain from the cabin a few days ago, they had to go up into the forest to avoid the snow collapses all over the road. Out there in the woods, they heard the crying of a woman, followed it to an abandoned mine. Both of them knew that it was very likely a trick, but Two-Way said that it was their duty to explore the possibility that Faye was alive somewhere on the mountain. The blizzard came on earlier than expected. They stood at the mouth of the mine, listening to the begging of a young woman somewhere off in the dark, but concluded that its voice was too unusual to be a human's. Two-Way and Nathan decided...
up a storm.
I am yawning up a storm. Two-Way and Nathan decided to bless the entrance of the mine, which could ward off its dark inhabitants, with their chanting and rage whatever lived in it. Came out of the tunnels and snatched Two-Way. Screamed all the way down into the dark, and Nathan could not follow. Ran away, terrified, but got lost in the blizzard. Wandered for an hour, fearing death, and eventually came upon a skinned body swinging from a low tree branch. It was so fresh the blood hadn't yet fully frozen. Nathan knew it was his father's corpse. Well, that's brutal.
Poor T-Way.
Yeah. Eventually, he found his way back home. He said his father's voice guided him out of the squall. Nathan explained to me that the imposter's goal of taking over someone's mind is different from his penchant for killing people. These creatures hunt and kill at random, salvaging the human parts they need to walk the earth as mortals for a short time. The real pleasure derives from conquering a person from within. Faye was one of the unlucky few that are chosen in this way. The imposter's fixation on her had lasted for decades. After long enough, their continued presence in the body and mind of the victims leave the stain on the soul. This corruption necessitates a purge, hence the barf party we held in the living room. Stains, by the way, have thus failed to banish. Nathan invited me to the funeral ceremony for T-Way. I sadly declined as I'm already on the verge of losing my job and flat broke from this experience. Okay, remind me to come back to that line. But I promised that I'd honor his memory in my own way. I can't go back to that place. Fortunately, Nathan was more than understanding and promised we'd meet again soon. I'm still thinking about all this. I do not yet have all the pieces of the puzzle. If you're looking for all the answers, you're going to have to help me find them. But I think I've part of this figured out. The imposters gave Faye's ring back to me. They wanted me to destroy the Dreamcatcher. The ring was an object of great sentimental value, both to Faye and to our relationship. The creature used it to invade Faye's mind and control her thoughts. Its goal was to convince her that it was me, so that she could welcome it into our house late at night. Home, Nathan says, although it represents the body, so the ring represents our union. To be welcomed into the home is to be granted access to Faye. But because the imposter did not learn everything it needed from Faye to mimic me, it gave up on that project and instead came after me. It returned the ring to me, thus giving up its power over Faye, and I broke the Dreamcatcher to retrieve it. As it turns out, the creepy, mysterious Dreamcatcher was in fact protecting the cabin and everyone inside it, which is why the imposter needed to be invited in. When I broke it, the creature could easily come in and kill me, but it needed information from me before it did. It needed to know one of Faye's darkest secrets to rule her. I'm not sure I'll ever unravel the mystery of the number 5, but I do know one thing. Not knowing what it means actually saved Faye's life. Not sure I ever want to know. As for Faye, she's back to normal and in perfect health. She sleeps soundly, only mumbles a bit, which is pretty normal for her. Her sixth sense of humor has returned as well. Last night as we went to sleep, she turned out the light and said,
Thank you for trying so hard.
then she leaned over and looked at my face. I would kill her.
You sick bitch. Get him all the elbows on her face.
It's like, yeah, just start punching her.
That's the end of the 10-part series.
Hold on. There's 2 minutes.
That's just the edit of him saying,
I am overwhelmed with the reception to your words, and then thank you for the gold.
that is the end of the 10-part series, and there is more, so I know people are going to be bitching, complaining, it still goes on. We get it, dude. Maybe we'll come back to one day. I think this is a good place to stop. I like it. There's a couple things. The ending, I wish it didn't spell it out that much. You know, the thing about him just calling him and then them expelling the stuff.
Oh,
so I'm curious to see the ending if it changed the course of the hardcover book, you know? Because that, it doesn't, it feels all so good. This is, I dare I say, one of the best that we've read, Isaiah. In terms of creepiness, the execution at the end is a little Alfred Hitchcock psycho of like, well, you see it happen because of this. And it kind of just quickly wraps up with a little cell phone chant. How do you feel about that?
All right, so let me say this first before anything I say gets misinterpreted. I love the story. It was great.
Yeah.
That's a solid overall. That's a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I think the horror worked so well. Like I said, talking about like his wife being puppeted around the hallway and stuff. I was in it. I was in the situation. There were parts I was imagining my wife in that position. You know what I would do. The uncanniness, like the beckoning into the darkness and stuff like that. The mimic out in the tree line that's copying her, stuff like that. All that.
All right.
Welcome back to Cream Crew. Oh my God, wrong show.
Leave it. Don't touch it.
Please don't.
Don't touch it.
Please, people will be so
Staying
mad
in
at
the
me.
episode. That is
Please don't.
staying in the episode. We are no. I refuse. We're keeping it. There was such confidence. You were so ready for that.
Please, for the love of God, do not keep that.
That was so good. Oh my gosh. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cream Crew, the show, the other podcast that Hunter doesn't get.
Welcome to Creamcast.
No.
I'm sick. Leave me alone. Today we're talking about psychosis. Psychosis, a staple in the creepypasta lexicon. Once again, as always, my dear listeners, I've never heard this. So if you're along with me in this ride on Spotify, thank you so much for going to Spotify or any of the audio platforms to listen to this episode. And if you haven't done that yet, maybe consider it. It helps us out a lot. Would appreciate that. But I am looking forward to this. Isaiah was the one who said that we should do this one. This is a staple. So Isaiah, why don't you give me a little background into what this episode's about?
So psychosis is one of the classes. By the way, do you even do for Cream Crew? Do you do a big welcome back to Cream Crew, or did your brain fuse both intros?
I do it sometimes.
I
do it sometimes. Please.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, that made me happy. I feel vindicated. Anyway, for me who actually cares about you all, Psychosis is a creepypasta classic. It's one of those that were popular at the time. I've talked about it before, but in like old school creepypasta day, like 2008, maybe like 2012, 2013, there were some that were remembered for being famous, like Slenderman, Jeff the Killer, and there were some that were remembered for being very well done. Stuff like No End House or perhaps Baraska or stuff like that, and Psychosis was among the latter camp. So Psychosis is a classic. I remember everything regarding the setting of the story. I don't remember how it ends, and that may be a good thing or a bad thing. I remember I liked it, but I also remember liking stuff like No End House more because it was more jumpy and pulpy. I think I'm going to appreciate Psychosis more now than I did when I was like 10, 11 years old or whatever. I'm curious. I'm looking forward to revisiting it.
Yeah, I'm curious. You said you like No End House more. I thought No End House was cool. The reception of No End House, I feel like was kind of lukewarm. Like when people were done with it, but I really enjoyed how, like you were saying, very pulpy, and kind of like the little mindfucked aspect of kind of a loopable, almost purgatory of going through these houses and having to endure these trials. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I will say, No End House, I don't think I saw many people recommend that one as much as I've been seeing a lot more people recommend like Psychosis and Stolen Tongues, so I'm super stoked to get into this one.
This video is sponsored by ZocDoc. As I get older, my brain only has enough room to hold on to the important things, like names of cult leaders or embarrassing memories from the 7th grade. So when it comes to things like finding the right doctor in my area and then remembering subsequent appointments and meetings, that's not as high on my list as it should be. And thankfully, now I have ZocDoc to fill in the blanks and find the right doctor that I deserve. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors. Choose the right one for your needs and click to instantly book an appointment. With ZocDoc, I can filter by doctors that are nearby, ones that will accept my insurance, and other patients' ratings of said doctors. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health,
We should do some off-stream grinding.
and much, much more. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. Most of us won't go to a restaurant or even a clothing store unless we know something about it, have a
We should do some
recommendation, or
off-stream
check out
grinding.
reviews online. But when it comes to doctor's offices, we're willing to just walk in and hope for the best. Now with ZocDoc, you can start taking care of yourself the way that you deserve. And let's face it, you don't want to admit it, but you should probably see a doctor. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/creepcast to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Again, that's
Actually.
doc.com/creepcast. ZocDoc.com/creepcast to start taking care of yourself the way that you deserve today. Thank you all so much for watching the show. Thank you so much to ZocDoc for sponsoring the episode. It really does mean the most. Hope you all check them out. Link is in the description. And now we are back to the show.
Hey, hold on a second. Today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped. There was one time I was holding my ankles up by my head, and I had a small Brazilian man shaving my taint and my balls.
We should do
And
some
he naked.
off-stream
Whoa,
grinding.
ow. And I thought, man, I wish I had a better razor for this. And luckily, I came across Manscaped. You know that feeling of trying to walk down a dark hallway at night? That's the same experience I have when I go to shave my balls and taint. There's places that selling wood chippers, and I'm lucky if I
We
can
should
make
do
it
some
out
off-stream.
alive, and my balls and my taint. That's why I turn to Manscaped. The sun is out, and so is more of your body. Whether it's hanging by the pool or flipping burgers by the grill. And Manscaped is here to make sure your meat stays neat this summer with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. The package has it all, like the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0, the Crop Soother Aftershave Lotion for your balls, and the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Urine. But that's not all! As a little treat, Manscaped has also thrown in a pair of the Boxers 2.0 and the Shed Toiletry Bag to keep all your goodies in one place. Make sure you don't turn your meat into a cake with Manscaped. Right now, at manscaped.com, you can get 20% off and free shipping with code CREEPCAST. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with code CREEPCAST. Thank you so much to Manscaped for sponsoring this episode.
The other thing about it is like the modern audiences are pretty spoiled with like the amount of horror content out there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like back in like 2011 when this story was first written, there weren't a ton of stories like that. I just think they're so fun, like Gauntlet style stories. Like I think probably the biggest example we've covered on Creepcast is the Left Right game.
Sure.
Of like we hit a new environment, what's the creature, what's the threat, we hit another environment, new threats, stuff like that. And No End House was one of the first popular examples of that, at least as I can think of right now in like online horror communities. Which of course takes, you know, reference from older stories, things like we talked about 9 Layers, probably a Dante's Inferno reference. There's other examples of stories like that, but as far as like online pulpy horror goes, there weren't that many. So at the time that it came out, No End House was a really big deal. But I understand that now in 2024, if that's the first time you hear it, there's a lot of stuff that does things similar and better. So I understand that part of it. But Psychosis, I'm pretty sure, is still fondly looked back on, like even comparable to modern stories. People like it a lot more. And I went into No End House not with the idea that it was going to be like such a super great story that was going to blow me away. Just kind of more like, I liked this when I was younger. Does it hold up now? And it's still good. But Psychosis, I have higher hopes for as far as writing.
Yeah, we're reading this on creepypasta.com, and I mean, some of these comments, man, are like, here's one 2020, 2021. I mean, this thing was published in 2010, and we're still getting comments that are this recent that are talking about how much they like it, which I think is cool too. Also, at the bottom of the page here, it shows that Matt Demersky, hope I said that right, has a physical book called Psychosis: Tales of Horror. You can still get it on Amazon for only $10, which I really love when these authors have physical books. I love getting them. Say like Pen Pal, and even the Pen Pals offers the authors. Was it Badman?
Badman?
Wasn't that what the
the Badman?
The Badman,
Yeah,
right?
The Badman, yeah.
And I got that on hardcover. It's just cool seeing that like physical representation of these books. I think it's a long way. I mean, I really do think having physical copies of books is just a fucking cool thing to do. So I will be picking up this Psychosis book.
Yeah, it's so awesome because all this was initially for most people was like there wasn't any money in it, at least like 10, 12 years ago. There wasn't any money in it. It was just like, oh, I have this cool horror idea, let me post it online. And then there'd be like in-house sort of writing competitions on websites and stuff like that. And people were just doing it for the love of it. And now to see some of those same ideas be able to publish hard copy works and get notoriety online, it's very cool to see. So yeah, Matt Demersky made this. We're gonna see how we like it, but at least culturally it's very fondly remembered. So be sure to support him. But I'm excited to hear your reaction to it because it is. Knowing what I know about your taste in horror, I think you're.
I am very excited. Like I said, as always, going in blind, I do not know what to expect, so I'm looking. I don't know why, but my mind is giving me vibes of. I haven't even seen.
I'll be right back.
Like the psychological thriller aspect.
I'll be right back. Gotta get some water. Hold on, I'm curious. Yeah. There we go.
Aspect of that. I don't know why, but something deep down is telling me that it's going to be something like that.
I will tell you there is a direction you're going with that. I'll also like you are thinking in the right way. I'll also say I'm so excited for Long Legs. I can't.
It's been a good year for horror so far. Been a lot of good stuff. The last movie I was super stoked to see in theaters was Late Night with the Devil, and that was a lot of fun. So Long Legs comes out this month. I'm very, very excited.
I watched Late Night with the Devil the other night. It was really good. Very, very good.
Super fun.
All right. So on that note, are you ready to go ahead and get into this? Because
I'm ready to jump in.
I'm very excited. Now, I will say, the version we're reading again, it looks like the earliest because it seems Psychosis won online awards in 2012. There was like short film credited 2014. The version posted to creepypasta.com is from November 3rd, 2010, which appears to be the earliest version of it that was at least syndicated around a lot. So if there's any versions that came later that had like edits, like stuff added or taken away, I'm not positive, but we're going off of the creepypasta.com version. For
Yeah, and to specify, the award that it won was the r/No Sleep best. Was it like continuous story or
multi-part story?
Multi-part story, and he uploaded that in 2012. So
yes.
I don't know. We were kind of speculating a bit before the podcast was recording, and we're wondering if this was uploaded to creepypasta.com in 2010, and then while r/No Sleep was happening around then, I don't know if it was super popular yet. So I'm wondering if by 2012, if it's like finally caught a traction to where he was like, oh fuck, I'm just gonna upload it there too.
Yeah, I think by 2012, No Sleep was popping off enough that it was kind of like
Well, I would say that was probably the height, right? Like, that was like the peak of 2012. So, which is kind of cool to think that that's when he got his award because there was so much. There was so much content by then that he probably really had to sort it out. So I'm curious.
I'm excited. Well, without further ado, are you ready to get into this?
Oh yes.
I'm ready to get into this. Let us begin. And again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for the support they've shown. Is the merch still available to get at this point?
I'm trying to think. If it is, please go check it out. If not, the support on the merch has been awesome too, and the reception of people like stoked to get it. We're excited for it to be in your hands. The quality is great, so we look forward to it.
You all supporting the channel like you do, it's awesome. It means that maybe one day I can finally break away from the hellhole hunters and trap you within.
Good luck, bitch.
You won't force me to be in it. But that was better than anything I was going to say, so I'll leave it there. But thank you all for the support you've shown. It means the world. On the audio platforms, on the YouTube channel, on Creep TV, on the merch. It means a lot.
Oh, and I just want to say too.
Hunter doesn't, but I do.
Well, I definitely don't. So I hope you all rot in hell. But the idea is, I wanted to say, Isaiah, you should plug the tour here, the Stalker tour.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. I appreciate that. So, as a lot of you probably know at this point, I made a short film I co-wrote a short film and helped produce it along with Evan Royalty and Stephen Hancock, the creators of the SCP films on YouTube, which a lot of you are probably familiar with. We're so proud of our little egg that we put together that we are taking it on a limited tour. So through August and the first weekend of September, we're going to be going to Brooklyn, New York, Tampa, Florida, Dallas, Texas, and Los Angeles, California. So if you want to come in and stop, say hi to us, meet us, watch the film, and then ask us questions about it, meet the cast and crew, there's tickets available to do that at x1entertainment.com/stalkertour. I think, I'm not sure the exact number of tickets sold out right now. If I had to guess, it's probably 70%. I know people are saying that the VIP tickets were already sold out to some of the shows, and general tickets weren't far behind last I looked. So there's not that many left, so if you're interested, get in on that while you can. Come meet, hang out, and to everyone who's already supported me in that, it really does mean the world. I appreciate it. You all are awesome, for real. Yeah. And thank you, Hunter, for allowing me to plug my shill onto our podcast.
No, I mean, I think
I'll be sure to not extend that
if I can find
the time comes.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. If in the future, whenever the shows are happening, if I can make it up to one, I'm going to try to make it up to one. So we will see. No promises. No promises.
Oh fuck!
Surprise appearance. If there's not a seat, we may drop him into the ceiling, just like straight into the stage.
My girth, my sheer weight will collapse the theater. Children will scream.
We're going to shoot him like an orbital strike.
The Iron Dome.
Shut up!
All right, let's get
I mean, shout out to us.
Yeah. So, Psychosis. So
I know.
it's broken into basically journal logs taken over the course of a week. So, of course, we start with.
Shut up!
I'm not sure why I'm writing this down on paper, not on my computer. I guess I've just noticed some odd things. It's not that I don't trust the computer. I just need to organize my thoughts. I need to get down all the details somewhere objective. Somewhere I know that what I write can't be deleted or changed. Not that that's happened. It's just everything blurs together here, and the fog of memory lends a strange cast to things. I'm starting to feel cramped in this small apartment. Maybe that's the problem. I just had to go and choose the cheapest apartment, the only one in the basement. The lack of windows down here makes day and night seem to slip by seamlessly. I haven't been out in a few days because I've been working on this programming project so intensely. I suppose I just wanted to get it done. Hours of sitting upstairs on the monitor, anyone can do it. I know, but that's it. I'm not sure when I first started to feel like something was odd. I can't even find what it is. Maybe I just haven't talked to anyone in a while. That's the first thing that crept up on me. Everyone I normally talk to online while I program has been idle, or they've simply not logged on at all. My instant messages go unanswered. The last email I got from somebody was a friend saying he talked to me when he got back from the store. That was awesome. I'd call with my brother and like, reception's terrible down here. Yeah, that's it. I just need to call someone. And then there is, assumedly, a breakage in time.
Okay.
Well, that didn't work so well.
211. Alright, we're very close.
Yeah, I might later, but not right now. As the tingle of fear fades, I'm feeling a little ridiculous for being scared at all. I looked in the mirror before I went out, but I didn't shave the 2-day stubble I've grown. I figured I was just going to go out for a quick cell phone call. I did change my shirt though, because it was lunchtime, and I guessed that I'd run into at least one person I knew. That didn't end up happening. I wish it did. When I went out, I opened the door to my small apartment slowly. The small feeling of apprehension had somehow already lodged itself in me, for some indefinable reason. I chalked it up to having not spoken to anyone but myself for a day or two. I peered down the dingy gray hallway, made dingier by the fact that it was a basement hallway. On one end, a large metal door led to the building's furnace room. It was locked, of course. 2 dreary soda machines stood by it. I brought a soda from one the first day I moved in, but it had a 2-year-old expiration. I'm fairly sure nobody knows those machines are even down here, or my cheap landlady just doesn't care to get them restocked.
How do you picture this like little house looking that he's in? I mean, it almost feels like a commercial space.
Yeah, it's kind of like, have you ever seen the hallways like in shopping malls and stuff? Like when you go to the bathroom, the way those.
I'm curious. Nah.
I imagine it's kind of like that with like a stairwell next to it. This sounds really nerdy, but if you ever played Left 4 Dead 2, like the visual in my head is like the back hallways and staircase places in the Dead Center campaign. That someone out there will understand what I mean. That was so hyper specific, but
I have no words.
okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah, like that, like a shop. What's one YouTuber trying to describe shopping mall? It's like a video game I played once.
It was the story starts off with him living in basically a windowless basement. It was probably dirt cheap, and I did something very similar when I was in college, and it gave me flashbacks. And I almost thought for a second someone was writing a story of my life, and it made me very scared.
It gave you a flashback. So do you have a mental picture in your head of like what this looks like? I imagine like there's a stairwell outside of this door.
Yeah. So what?
Like humming machines in the hall. It's kind of dark down there.
I shared an apartment my sophomore year of college with a 53-year-old Mexican custodian who did not speak any English. It wasn't enough. I swear to God, I did. It was split barrack style. It was like an open floor plan thing. I got to live there for free, which is why I did. I lived there for probably about like 6 months. Unbelievable. But when you went down to our room, it was like basically from the kitchen, because it was like an old house built in like the early 1900s. So like it was a big, probably like 6-bedroom house. And in the kitchen there was a door that led to the basement, and we lived in the basement part, obviously. But there was also, like you were saying, a storm hatch door that led from the outside in, so you could like kind of the very stereotypical like wooden doors that open up from the ground. You walk down into the basement. So in my mind, it's something very similar. Exposed cement, probably cracked, fucked up foundation because the house is old. You know, like probably a drain in the center of the room, a storm drain, just in case water leaks in from outside coming down. And then
Didn't you also live like in your car for a while?
So I graduated college. Yes.
Okay. Are you like 38 years old?
I am 42.
You have a never-ending, just like avalanche. Like, well, I was here for a year, and that was of course when I was in a tenement house with a non-English speaker who had like 8 children. Anyway, then after that,
You're giving the definite alcoholic that I lived with far more credibility and character than he had. He had no family, and he would get very angry. Not at me, but he would listen to football on his radio by his bed, and he would scream.
Just start yelling.
Yes, and he would scream.
You spent 6 months living in a basement with a non-English speaker who would scream at the radio.
Yes, sir.
And drink.
Well, he didn't scream at it every night, but he did do that. He did bring. You know, let me finish. He did bring ladies back sometimes, and I would politely leave to give the man some privacy. I don't know how he worked at a college, because I was a sophomore in college. He worked at a college like 3 blocks down the road from the college I was at. So he didn't work at the school I worked at. He worked at one of the like, local schools as well. And yeah, he's a fine guy. One time we got really drunk. We watched The Cable Guy together. Hysterical. I don't even think he knew what the fuck they were saying. It was the craziest part of it. He just every time Jim Carrey came out, you know that part in The Cable Guy when Jim Carrey is at the Matthew Broderick is having that nightmare sequence, and Jim Carrey has like the glow in the dark contacts on, and he's like, "No big deal," and starts sprinting towards the door. The guy, I don't know what his name was Diego, but he sat there and he was like, "Jim Carrey!" He would scream his name and he laughed hysterically, and I'm like, I don't know if he's really drunk and if he's just excited to see Jim Carrey, or if he knows what's going on in this movie.
At some point, you're making these stories up. I swear. Like,
you know what? You can think that all you want. All I know is that 6 months flies by when you're in school.
Okay, I'm telling you. Okay, I asked you as a friend. I know a lot of people don't think we're friends, and
you skew the narrative very heavily that we are not friends.
Yes, now, because of this information, just wait till they see what they do with this one.
Yeah.
I asked him in confidence, I'm like, Hunter, how old are you? And this man, he looks me in the eye and says, I'm 21 years old, okay? And I'm like, no, that's younger than me. I'm like, no way, are you serious? He's like, yeah, start making animations. And at the time, I have no reason to not believe this man. He's my friend, so I thought. And for like a month, I would like be like, haha, right. Then I listened to an interview he does on YouTube, and he's describing living in a car, his time in college, everything. I'm like, oh, okay. So he would have been like living on the road when he was.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
At some point, you're making these stories up. I feel like a little bit. You have a never-ending, just like avalanche. Like, Years old, going off of that map, and then I asked him, to this day he won't tell me. I would have believed it. There's no, unless I see your driver's license, I refuse to believe you. And it's constantly. So when he says he was living with a guy who didn't speak English in the basement of a college that the guy didn't work at, who periodically get drunk at the gym, yell at the video.
You're skewing the narrative. It was in the basement of a house while I was in college, not the basement of a college. He worked at a college. He's a custodian at a college.
It was just
respect those names.
you were both in a neutral basement, unrelated to either college.
We were in a basement of a home, like a 6-bedroom home, that was close enough to both of our colleges. Like our colleges were very close. I went to at our school, and he worked at like basically a private like, state school kind of thing. It wasn't like a state school.
And this would have been when you were by the age
sophomore.
of 9 years old.
Yeah. So if we're going by years, you were I was with 9, almost 10. But no, I was a sophomore.
You were certainly molested.
I can't confirm or deny that. You know what? I'm just going to go with Diego too good of a man. And Diego, if you're listening to this, gay paso.
He can't. He doesn't speak English.
Hola. Well, that's why I'm speaking Spanish, and I would say Google Translate. I miss you, man. I miss you. I have no idea if he's even still alive. I hope he is.
Okay, so that's the basement our character's in Psychosis.
That was a very long tangent. I was fucked up mentally thinking about it. It was so specific.
That was all you, because we were just
No, I know.
the basement.
I know. I'm sorry.
Reference, and you're like, that reminds me of a story.
If I didn't say it, I would have combusted. My face was flushed.
I agree. You need to get that out on the air. You need to put that in the podcast. Don't get me wrong.
All right.
Compilation channels have to find something to throw out, right? Have you seen that guy Darbo? Have you seen him on
Darbo?
YouTube?
No.
Yeah, it's Darbo or something. We will make a Creepcast episode. He will post a highlight reel within like 30 minutes of the episode going live.
Goddamn, Darbo.
Instantaneously.
How do we hire Darbo?
Dude, that guy is a machine. I went and commented on one of them like, "Are you our editor? Like, why are you doing this?"
No, I just see his channel now. This is unsettling. This is unsettling. Well, Darbo, if you're looking for work, let us know. Maybe he could be our official clips guy.
There you go. Get the clips guy going and give him to the TikTok guy, and then the two of them can like kiss and make out or whatever and make videos, I guess.
I completely forgot what's even going on in this story.
Okay, so
he was trying to make a call, and he's like, well, that didn't work.
No, what happened is he went upstairs. Good Lord. Okay, so he goes upstairs to make a call, and then he comes back and he's like, something weird happened, and now he's describing what the exit to his apartment is like, because he lives in the basement of an apartment. With machines down the hall and stuff. So all he was doing so far is he's telling us a story of what went wrong with him making his phone call.
Right.
And then he steps out into the basement hallway with the vending machine at the end of it.
I proved it!
I'm crazy because he's like, I'm going kind of crazy down here. There's no windows. I feel like I haven't talked to anybody, but it's only been like a day. But even days, so it's crazy.
So he goes to make a phone call, right? So a small feeling of apprehension somehow already lodged itself in me for some indefinable reason. I chalked it up to not having spoken to anyone but myself for a day or two. Appear down the dingy gray hallway, made dingier by the fact that it was a basement hallway. Have I already read this entire thing?
You have, but go ahead.
Read this paragraph. Okay,
That's fine.
We're gonna go to the next paragraph.
No, keep going. Just basement hallway. You're almost done. Might as well.
Okay.
It's been 12 minutes since we've actually read this part, so everyone's forgot.
Now I'm just imagining like through all of this, there's just like a Hispanic man in the room.
I'm not gonna lie. In my mind's eye, I did picture Diego there. I was gonna ask you, like, yeah, he's in the basement with them. I'm like, man, where's the guy come in? Oh,
where's Diego?
That was my
Diego, is Diego the vending machine? Is that why he's talking about the vending machine?
Yes,
Is that what?
that's right.
No, Diego will make an appearance, I'm sure. It'll go crazy. I peered down the dingy hallway, made dingier by the fact that it was on one end, a large metal door led to the building's furnace room. It was locked, of course. 2 dreary soda machines stood by it. I bought a soda from one the first day I moved in, but it had a 2-year-old expiration date. Really sure nobody knows if machines are even down here, or my cheap landlady just doesn't have them restocked.
Probably end the stream in a few minutes, so just gonna finish this up.
I have no idea why I chose to do that, but it was fun giving into the strange impulse not to break the droning hum of the soda machines. At the moment. Like, I do get that. Have you ever been to like a really quiet place and for some reason you're like, I shouldn't make a lot of noise, you know?
No. No, I've never done that.
Alright, okay. So I got to the stairwell.
I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of being like, I don't want to break the droning hum of the soda machines. I don't know if people are going to start yelling at me again like the license plate fiasco, but sorry, I don't give a fuck about the droning soda machines.
Okay, hold on. I more so get it in nature, like when I'm outside, and not for like, oh, I don't want something to see me. Just like it sounds so calm that I'm just like light footsteps, like I don't want to, disturb the peace, so to speak. And I could get that in like a more industrial area of kind of like, it's so calm here, why ruin it? I remember being a kid, we went to like a really big church when I was a kid. And sometimes when I'd go downstairs to the bathroom, there were like these long hallways around the church, like in the basement area. And it kind of had that like, the fluorescent hum thing. And I remember just standing down there sometimes and thinking like, man, it is so quiet. Like you can hear so much every little detail. And I kind of get not wanting to disturb that.
Right. Don't want to break the silence.
Yeah. Almost, not a fear thing, more of almost like a social cue, weirdly. It's strange.
No, that makes sense.
I got to the stairwell and took the stairs up to the building's front door. I looked through the heavy door small square window and received quite the shock. It was definitely not lunchtime. City gloom hung over the dark street outside, and the traffic lights at the intersection in the distance like jelly. Dim clouds, purple and black, the glow of the city hung overhead. Nothing moved, save the few sidewalk trees that shifted in the wind. I remember shivering, though I wasn't cold. Maybe it was the wind outside. I could vaguely hear it through the metal heavy door, and I knew it was that unique kind of late-night wind, the kind that was constant, cold, quiet, save for the rhythmic music that made us pass through countless unseen tree leaves. I decided not to go outside. Instead, I lifted my cell phone to the door's little window and checked the signal meter. The bars filled up the meter, and I smiled. Time to hear someone else's voice, I remember thinking, relieved. It was such a strange thing, to be afraid of nothing. I shook my head, laughing at myself silently. I hit speed dial for my best friend Amy's number, and held the phone up to my ear. It rang once, then it stopped. Nothing happened. I listened to silence for a good 20 seconds, then hung up. I frowned and looked at the signal meter again, still full. I went to dial her number again, but then my phone rang in my hand, startling me. I put it up to my ear. Hello? I asked, immediately fighting down a small shock at hearing the first spoken voice in days, even if it was my own. Oh, that's interesting. That's a strange note. I'd gotten used to the droning hum of the building's inner workings, my computer and the soda machines in the hallway. There was no response to my greeting at first. Then, finally, a voice said a clear male voice, obviously college-aged like me.
Who's this?
John. I replied, confused.
Oh, sorry, wrong number.
He replied, then hung up. I lowered the phone slowly and leaned against the thick brick wall of the stairwell. That was strange. I looked at my received calls list, but the number was unfamiliar. Before I could think on it further, the phone rang loudly, shocking me yet again. This time, I looked at the caller before I answered. It was another unfamiliar number. This time, the phone up to my ear, but said nothing. I heard nothing but the general background noise of a phone. Then, a familiar voice broke my tension.
John.
This is Amy's voice, just so you know.
Yeah.
Would you like
Okay,
that?
fine. I'll trade. I like that. John's like John.
John?
There you go. Was a single word in Amy's voice. I breathed a sigh of relief.
Hey, it's you.
Every character we have in this series, you want to make just a toddler off the
Hey, it's you. Sigh of relief.
That's all I proved it.
All right, fine. What is going on? Whose voice is this? What is
Who else
happening?
would it be?
Thank you. She responded.
Oh, the number. I had a party on 7th Street. And my phone died. Just as you called. This is someone else's phone, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Where are you?
My eyes glanced over the drab whitewashed cylinder block walls and the heavy metal door with its small window.
At my building. Just feeling cooped up. I didn't realize it was so late. You should come here.
Oh my.
All right.
I feel like looking for some food for myself in the middle of the night.
All right. Well, I am going to need to head out, unfortunately. I'm probably going to finish the inking off stream, but thank you guys for watching. I will be back tomorrow at a certain time. I'll be back tomorrow. So feel free to follow. Make sure you have your notifications on, and so you can be aware of when I go live. And yeah, I think I'll end it there. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Adios.
You know what? I'm gonna land this shit. Oh my god. He was the first person to approach me. He was in like full father mode, bro. Are you okay? Are you good? Are you good? Get up. And I'm like, I'm fine. As soon as I get up, I'm like, yo. I felt the bones in my ankle move. Because I went to the urgent care and I was like, yo, I need x-rays. I'm pretty sure my shit's broken. They're like, okay. And the x-rays come back to me. They're like, so we can't see your bone. I'm like, what? Did it